Meet Seo Yun-ho, the legendary player known by the codename Spectre. Flashback to 75 hours ago. In the frozen Hell's Cape of Antarctica, he was forced to make the ultimate play, watching his entire squad get wiped out because the mission parameters were brutal. Only one survivor allowed. You'd expect a battle royale, right? Human survival instinct kicking in. Nope, Juno's 4 best friends didn't even flinch. They unanimously chose death, so he could be the one to march forward. So there he was carrying the weight of their souls, standing solo against the final boss. The Frost Queen, this woman, wasn't just a monster. She was a glitch in reality, capable of freezing the entire Pacific Ocean. With a lazy flick of her wrist, she had humanity drowning in despair. Spectre's squad, they were the last firewall, the final torchbearers of hope for the planet, charging into the Antarctic waste. He didn't hesitate for a microsecond. Before drawing his blade, it was go time. Desperate to end the world's nightmare, he clashed with her, trading hundreds of blows in a blur of steel and ice. But the queen was overpowered. She seized the momentum and launched a cataclysmic blast straight at him. By some miracle, Juno managed to sidestep. Instant death, she didn't let up, spamming thousands of lethal attacks to hunt him down. Spoiler alert, the good guys win. She eventually crumbled. Spectre drove his sword deep into her chest, beginning to drain the Frost Queen's power. But the victory came with a massive price tag. His body began to lock up in ice, freezing him in place until he could fully digest her nuclear core. Cut to 25 years later. The year is 2024, and the world is finally chilling in peace. Society is back to worshiping the 5 heroes, those legendary players who saved everyone's skin. These guys achieved the impossible. Now, their frozen bodies are literally museum exhibits, standing as grim monuments. During a boring guided tour, a hairline fracture appeared on Juno's hand. Some sharp-eyed kid pointed it out immediately, but the adults just rolled their eyes until the real deal shattered the ice and stepped out like a boss. The tour guide nearly jumped out her skin. Turns out he had finally finished absorbing the Frost Queen's core. The seal was broken, but let's be real. Juno's body was so atrophied, he couldn't even twitch a muscle. Seconds later, lights out. He collapsed. The media went absolutely feral, pumping out articles instantly. Headlines screamed, "The legend wakes up. Spectre thaws out after freeze." 25 years later, the ghost returns. The goat who took down the Frost Queen was back in the server. The Player Association immediately released a statement. "We are prioritizing the hero's health above everything." Donations to the Memorial Fund skyrocketed, breaking all records in a single day. Please share hope on this Memorial Day. Meanwhile, sitting in a hospital bed, scrolling through the news, Spectre just rubbed his temples. Major headache, 25 years. He tried to make a fist, but his hand shook like a leaf in the wind. "I've been on ice too long. I feel weak as a kitten. I can't even grip the sheets." Staring at his trembling palm, a wave of depression hit him. 25 years gone, and he was broken. Suddenly a doctor walked in. "Spectre, the president of the Player Association, is en route." Junho gave him a blank stare. "Do I know this guy? Is it someone I know?" He thought, if it's a stranger, I'm kicking them out. I have zero patience for politics. "I hate being bothered," the doctor panicked. "Yes. He claims to be your best friend." That made Juno pause. Friend. That was a short list. Flashbacks of his squad from 25 years ago flooded his mind. His eyes went dark with grief. "Thanks for the heads up," he muttered. "I guess I'll know him when I see him." At least the world changed. It's what we all died for. A peaceful world. Juno looked out the window, face pale. "So what's my move now? I'm a weapon if there's no war. Am I just unemployed? Whatever." He reached up and peeled off his signature mask. "Don't need this piece of junk anymore." Suddenly a gasp echoed from the door. "Whoa, Spectre." The doctor looked like he'd seen a ghost. "Why did you take off the mask?" Junho held it up, flashing a $1 million smile. "Because the world is safe now. Nobody needs a hero anymore, right?" The doctor started stammering. "Well, Juno's smile faded. "That's not the answer I wanted." "Hey, what's the vibe?" Why, the long-faced doc was struggling to speak, until a heavy voice cut in. "I'll handle this." Juno's eyes went wide as saucers weight. It took a second to click. "Diag-gu, is that you?" The medical staff giggled at the recognition. Diag-gu cleared his throat awkwardly at him. "Everyone out. I need a moment alone with him." The room cleared instantly. "Yes, sir." Diag-gu looked at his old friend and let out a heavy sigh. Then a low sigh escapes his lips. Juno looks the guy over. Same old vibe. Just vintage. Juno lets out a confused, nostalgic chuckle. "Whoa." Hearing that voice, "It's really Udoku?" Suddenly Juno cracks up, laughing his head off. while pointing a shaky finger straight at his friend. See, what did I tell you? I knew that hairline would retreat. Into a perfect M shape, he screams out breathless you. That's your opening line after all this time. Deok-gu grabs his head, looking totally flustered. Oh hell no, you bastard. I'm an idiot for expecting some tear-jerking cinematic reunion with you. You expected feelings from me then. He grins, asking casually. So even after 25 years, science hasn't fixed male pattern baldness. Deok-gu, clearly triggered, drags a chair over. You haven't changed a bit. Junho sighs again. Looks like you're still you, even if the packaging is a little different. Suddenly his gaze drops, turning deadly serious. So Junho locks eyes with him. The playfulness gone. What was up with the doctors earlier? Why do they look like they'd seen a ghost? Shouldn't this game be over by now? The sudden intensity makes Deok-gu stutter, huh? Well, the thing is, Deok-gu says, resigned to explaining the lore. 25 years ago, right when you guys wiped out the Frost Queen's nest, every single player heard the same announcement. Flashback to 25 years ago. The system message blared across the entire interface. Congratulations, the Frost Queen has been slain. Back then, Daku was celebrating, thinking, Junho, you crazy son of a gun. You actually did it, but the notifications didn't stop. Safe zones are now spawning across Earth sectors. People worldwide were cheering, crying tears of joy, but the world didn't let that happiness last for even 60 seconds. A massive dimensional elevator materialized right in the Pacific Ocean. The second floor is now accessible via the front lines. Civilians were screaming, losing their minds. What is this garbage floor too? You mean killing the Frost Queen wasn't the ending? The game system flashed a cruel reminder. Become strong enough to reach the final floor. After that, the world's top players, guilds and politicians scrambled for a massive emergency summit after a marathon meeting. They deployed an expedition team to the front lines. They called Floor 2 the land of opportunity. Humanity didn't just unlock new magic and tech. They accessed an insane amount of resources. An ancient knowledge, Junho interrupts. Voice low, and then what Doku replies instantly. That's how Earth became the prosperous utopia it is. Today, Juno snaps. Impatient, that's not what I asked. Deok-gu gets the hint and nods. Total floor is 10. The air in the room gets heavy. There are 10 floors total in the dimensional elevator. Juno repeats, it confused. 10 floors. Juno starts running the numbers in his head. My squad took 5 years to take down the Frost Queen. In 25 years, even if they're slow, they should have cleared 5 floors. They should be on floor 7. But aside from my team, the other players were trash. That's why only 5 of us went to Antarctica. So realistically, they're probably stuck around floor 5. He holds out a hand, demanding an answer. So what floor are we on now? Diogo looks down, silent 3. Juno presses him, confused by the silence. Hey, why are you quiet? Deok-gu finally forces the words out. In the last 25 years, humanity has only managed to clear up to floor 2. As the words land, the room goes dead silent. Junho freezes, his eyes widening in pure shock. He slumps back onto the bed, completely defeated. Junho grabs his hair in frustration. Deok-gu mutters at the floor. I don't have any defense for this. Junho covers his face, grinding his teeth as he hisses. It's been 25 years. 25 freaking years. Junho bolts applies demanding insults. After all that time, you're telling me you guys only beat the second floor? Seeing the atmosphere turn dark and suffocating, Diogo stammers, it sounds like an excuse, but there's a legit reason. Okay. Juno forces himself to calm down. Fine. I'll listen purely out of curiosity. He glares, emphasizing every word. Let's see how stupid this excuse actually is. Diogo hangs his head in shame, then looks up to explain the Frost Queen's nucleus. That answer slaps a massive question mark on Juno's face. Diogo pauses, then rushes to explain. Floor 3 is a volcanic zone. Only a handful of players can even survive the magma heat. To scout it after a long grind, we finally found an altar right in the middle of a lava ocean. That altar requires the Frost Queen's nucleus to cool down the environment. Juno stammers, so did you guys find the nucleus? Dogu clutches his head. I'm sorry. It's embarrassing. We raided the nest countless times, but we never found the drop. Juno's face instantly goes pale. He looks away, sweating bullets, thinking, well, obviously you didn't, because I absorbed the whole thing. That's why he lets out a heavy sigh, gripping the guy's shoulder to calm him down. Look, don't beat yourself up, you guys just rolled a bad hand. Nobody's perfect, right? We gotta accept that then. Flashing a smile bright enough to blind someone, he asks, so, hypothetically, if I messed up in the future, but you cut me some slack, right? Deok-gu looks up, totally moved by the sentiment. Tears start welling up in his eyes as he chokes out. Of course, man. How could I not? Meanwhile, Junho is internally sweating bullets. Damn it, when's the right time to drop the bomb? So he does an ear bash me into oblivion, switching gears instantly. He asks anyway, fill me in on your life, how's everything been? Diagu gets all flustered, dude. Don't make me talk about my boring routine. They chat until the sun dips below the horizon, and he finally pauses. It's getting late. You starving want to grab a bite? Juno shakes his head. Kimbap's fine by me. Suddenly he pulls out a flyer and points. The Seoul History Museum, the 5 Sleeping Heroes exhibition. Is that place really that big of a deal? Diak-gu just freezes, staring blankly. Then he abruptly stands up to bail. I'm heading down to the first floor. It's swarming with reporters down there. Probably safer if we stick together. Juno smirks, offering a better plan. Why don't you just sneak out through the side? Emergency exit. Head straight back to the hospital after Diaka nods. Firm got it. Alone now, Juno heads for the museum. The system chimes in his ear. Entry confirmed. He takes slow, deliberate steps inside. Junho looks up at the massive skeleton hanging overhead. Stunned, whoa. They actually put that thing on display. Then something catches his eye. He walks toward the massive double doors, whispering to himself, this has got to be it. A moment later, he cracks the heavy doors open. A blast of freezing air hits him instantly. Junho steps into the chamber, housing 4 statues of solid ice. Staring at his old squad, he casually plops down onto the cold floor. Sorry I'm late, guys. Junho pictures their smiling faces from the old days and starts talking, The world's a hell of a lot better now. We actually protected the peace we dreamed about. So rest easy now. He pours alcohol into 5 small shot glasses. Junho lifts his own glass, forcing a smile. Here's to you. Drink up. He knocks it back in one go, then lowers his head, a wave of sadness washing over him. He looks back up at the frozen figures. Sweet stuff, huh? When the only answer is icy silence. He snaps up. Damn it, Juno pushes himself up. You guys are collecting dust. He reaches out, wiping a thick layer of grime off a statue's head. Suddenly the system alerts him, freezing him in his tracks. Skill acquired, frost mana insufficient. Unseal failed. The info hits him like a truck. With the frost skill, you can actually undo the seal while in a frozen state. He screams out in pure shock. What the hell? Junho starts doubting his own sanity. I can break the seal, he thinks to himself. Trembling, I can actually bring them back. He focuses hard, interacting with the blue interface. Then his brow furrows as he yells, are you kidding me? My magic stat is 18. Is this thing trolling me? He stands there analyzing every line of data, desperately figuring out how to save his old friends. He crunches the numbers. Look, I can't fix this overnight, but it's doable. Mesmerized by the glowing data scrolling on the screen, his eyes narrow. Juno realizes he just found the key. He mutters deeply. Diak-gu always said S rank was the peak. I guess I'm a first one, but the magic stat is the bottleneck. Juno strokes his chin deep in thought. Let's try this angle. He questions himself. Did I snag this buff after taking down the Frost Queen? He pauses, fingers gliding over the info panel. He reads, wait, all stats increase by 30 for every floor climbed in the tower. Dimensional space with this effect. He connects the dots. If I can reset to my base level when I ascend, I won't just be stronger than before. His train of thought races. I can actually wield the Frost Queen's power. Juno slowly reaches his hand out, making a silent vow. And then I can melt this ice and save everyone. His hand clenches into a tight fist, punching the ice surface, a sign of ironclad resolve. His voice is steady, just hang in there a little longer. He promises them, I'm getting you out of there. Cut to the hospital. A man's voice rings out. You want to be a player again? Juno replies, casually, why the shock? You already knew, and what's with the wig? That's the only part one don't get. Diak-gu is losing it. It's too sudden. Back in the day, all you did was sing about how much you wanted to retire. Junho shoots back coldly. That was 25 years ago. Diak-gu scratches his head, looking conflicted. I really don't think this is a good idea. Junho stares him down. Why not? He tries to explain. I just want you to rest, man. He hesitates before dropping the real reason. It's the fiends. Junho instantly tenses up. The thought echoes in his mind. The players who use their awakened powers to commit crimes, killing for sport and spreading terror like a hobby. They're the absolute cancer of society. A panoramic shot reveals the city completely gutted, skyscrapers crumbling into dust, while the night sky bleeds red from a massive explosion. The blast illuminates the darkness. He frowns, genuine confusion in his voice. Those freaks are back in the day. They couldn't even sneeze without us knowing. Deku sighs heavily. That was then. There's zero CCTV coverage on the second floor. Deku leans in, and no nation has the resources left to even make contact with them. They're basically throwing a victory party right now. He pauses, letting the gloom set in. And mostly because you've been gone. Junho cuts an eyes narrowing. Diogo, I think I get it now. I see why you didn't want me suiting up as a player. Again, he casually shovels food into his mouth. Face totally unbothered, Juno's tone drops. Dead serious, they still have a beef with me, don't they? Flashback to demons grinning with bloody knives. Kill him, Inspector Doak. Gu's voice shakes. They froth at the mouth just thinking about ending you. He shrugs, completely unimpressed. Is that so? Delka snaps back firm. So drop it seriously. He presses Juno. The only way you survive this is by burying the name Spectre 6 feet under and living a normal life as SEO Juno. Why are you so desperate to jump back into the fire? Junho interrupts suddenly. The 10th floor, a faint smile plays on his lips. I have to get there. Diogo looks stressed. Why though? Juno sits up, throwing a curveball. You guys still haven't figured out how to cross the magma zone. On floor 3, have you? Diogo admits defeat. Obviously not. Juno pushes his bowl away. Meal's done. He drops the bomb calmly. What if I told you? I know a way across. Diogo's jaw drops. Excuse me? He shoots up from his chair, needing to verify what he just heard. You have a solution, Juno counters softly. You said you needed the Frost Queen's nucleus, right? Clink. He drops his spoon into the empty bowl. He declares flatly, I ate it. Diagu blinks confused. Huh? Oh, you mean you finished the beef soup? Juno shakes his head immediately. Not that. Diagu looks bewildered. Not the Xiaoliang tongue, then what? Diagu's face contorts in pure horror as the realization hits. Juno looks at him like he's being slow. Not the soup, you ate the nucleus. He tries to defend himself. Look, I didn't do it for the flavor. The second I beat her, the thing absorbed into my body. Not my fault. Diagu grabs his shoulders, shaking him violently. Why would you? He groans, clutching his chest. Got my blood pressure. Why am I friends with this guy? Juno looks sheepish anyway. I have the frost skill now. Diagu frowns, voice raspy from yelling. So you can use it to clear the 3rd floor. Juno shrugs. Probably. Diagu's expression tightens, anxiety radiating off him. He squints, suspicion creeping into his voice. Does coming back have anything to do with your old squad? Juno nods. Yeah. Diogo sighs, standing by the bed. Good. He looks upright. Diogo shifts to business mode. I'll handle the doctors who saw your face. Need to keep a lid on this. You're the goat. Juno cheers. Diogo waves it off. It's the least I can do. Juno flops back onto the mattress. Oh, my powers are sealed. I'm sitting at level 1 right now. Diaku freezes. Stats 2. Juno snaps his fingers. Bingo. Diaku clutches his head. My blood pressure. Juno perks up. Oh right. Can you snag me a new player license? Diogo gives him a look. I forgot to mention. He pauses. The guilds have become way more powerful than the association. Juno bolts upright, alarmed. So you can't give me a license? Diogo raises a hand. I can. But the big guild started this tradition. You have to take a test to get licensed, and you can only do it through a public exam now. Diagu shrugs helplessly. My hands are tied. Junho groans. What drag? Diagu stays calm. Compared to the old days, yeah. He points a finger. But this is actually a golden opportunity for you. Diagu explains. Think about it. If I'm going to pour resources into a rookie, I need a solid justification. He asks, how do you think we get that justification? Juno's eyes light up. Oh ho. Gears turn in his head. In other words, I need to crush the exams so hard that everyone fights over me. He sits up, determined. Got it. I'm actually looking forward to this scene change. The Player Association HQ stands magnificent. The main hall is massive, bright, and flooded with a buzzing crowd of hopefuls. A staff member hands June a badge. Number 75, he grimaces internally. That fee was robbery, a staffer calls out. Please wait here for your turn. Junho scans the room, sizing up the competition. The vibe in here is just average. He drops into the waiting chair, telling himself to settle in for the long haul. A flicker of hesitation hits him. Should he tap into the chatter? See what the competition is yapping about? Juno's gaze turns ice cold. A heavy aura ripples out from his body. Ping system notification skill. Night Watchman sensory augmentation engaged. He shuts his eyes, locking onto the frequency of the whispers. Yo, did you catch the news? That ancient maze on floor 2 finally got cleared. And get this, Chairman Sim Diaku himself is judging today. Haha man, if I choke again, that's strike 4. Junho cracks a kripchiki smile. Surprisingly chill in here. Then the screen lights up. Number 1, you're up. The virtual display blares start. Junho snaps his head up. Genuine surprise washing over his face. The guy with the glasses crosses his arms, practically buzzing. Check that fighting spirit. Kid's got fire. He keeps the play-by-play going. Look at that. The mobs are actually backing off. They're terrified. He leans in, glued to the action, a heavy sigh. He's an ace, this no contest. Must be nice. Juno stays mute, eyes deep and unreadable. I wouldn't be so sure he dissects the fight instantly. Spears are king for zoning, keeping that defensive perimeter tight around the user. Juno lets out a sharp breath, his expression darkening as he analyzes. But once they breach that gap, spinning that thing like a baton is suicide. And just like that, the match cuts. The verdict drops, candidate 1 failed. You think so? That's how it's going to be grind on. Back in the arena, the judges are ready to wrap this up. Number 75, 1 judge size. Sounding totally over it finally. The home stretch, honestly. Zero talent today. Nobody impressed me. Another judge furrows his brow. Looking salty, they can't even nail the basics. Diego waves his hand. Let's just finish this. Send the kid in. Juno emerges from the shadows, striding into the arena with purpose. The 4 judges and Diaku freeze, their eyes popping out of their skulls. Pure shock. 1 finally stammers. Who the hell is that? A sword, a bow throwing knives, a dagger, and a spear. Is this guy serious? He brought the entire armory with him. The skeptic crosses his arms. He's a twig. Doesn't look like he could survive a stiff breeze, let alone a dungeon. She glares. Eyes sharp great. Another Spectre wannabe Dioku grimaces, stress level spiking. He thinks I told him to make an impression. A cold voice cuts through. Interesting. Inside, Diogo is screaming. Not this much of an impression. You absolute moron. The speaker crackles. Number 75, Juno. You gotta go. He turns, weighed down by steel and wood, and gives a subtle nod. The judge announces. Commence testing. A holographic footnote pops up. Target dwarf, height 130 centimeters. Physicality, subhuman. Juno silently runs the numbers. 20 bogeys. Graphics look way better up close. He grins, adrenaline kicking in. Even if they're just simulations. Man, this brings back memories. Come get some of Mob Bear's jagged teeth, swarming him from every angle. The dwarf pack closes the net, boxing him, and Juno's knuckles turn white on his weapon. Eyes lock focus. Absolute whoosh. He unleashes a spear thrust, faster than the eye can follow bullseye. The struck dwarves pixelate into nothingness. The survivors don't retreat. They get mad, they lunge. Juno's brain clocks the pattern weight. Every time I drop 1, do more. Spawn in. Is that the gimmick? Fine by me in a blur. He swaps to 3 razor sharp throwing knives. Next wave, let's go. He spins on his heel. 6 o'clock. Juno roars, you dirty rats love the cheap shots. Don't you watching their squad get deleted? The goblins scatter. He draws the bowstring. Cold disdain in his eyes. Running won't save you. He thinks back, channeling the master who taught him the art of the bow. Thwip, the arrow skewers them mid-stride, perfectly syncing with his memory. The legendary archer Rupert Green. Suddenly a lone dwarf locks eyes with him, face twisted in fury, teeth grinding like gravel. Juno watches it charge and nods internally. You're the grand finale. He unsheathes the sword slow. Deliberate ice, cold precision clang. The tip hits the floor. He stands tall, an unmovable object gripping the hilt. The dwarf rushes in blindly. Junho drags the heavy blade across the concrete, a trail of sparks screaming behind him. The beast raises its club, reckless and wild. A smirk plays on Juno's lips, his gaze sharpening into a void of pure confidence. Slash, the lead dwarf drops, just as 2 more flank him. From the shadows, another beast unhinged its jaw, letting out a blood-curdling screech before smashing its foot into the floorboards. Juno's grip tightened around his hilt, locking into a combat stance. He pirouette, swinging his blade in a lethal arc, just as the creature nose-dived from above. His irises flared a crimson red, a cryptic smirk tugging at the corner of his lips. Juno unleashed a storm of slashes, shredding the goblin horde into confetti. Then he gasped, his face twisting in sudden panic. Ouch. The POS system boomed. Number 75. SEO June, ho, you pass, congratulations. Simulation over internally. Junho is groaning, just that little workout, and I'm already hurting like hell. Guess I really need to hit the gym again. Up in the observation deck, an evaluator exclaimed, incredible. The guy next to him chimed in with praise. I'm speechless, the kid is legit. The woman crossed her arms, sinking back into her chair. Deep in thought, my eyes deceive me. He's not just some cheap copycat. The others nodded, gesturing in agreement. He handled the spear, throwing knives and archery with dead on accuracy. Even his swordsmanship at the finale was clean, and surgical. His weapon mastery is god tier. One guy smirked, remarking, never expected moves like that from a twig like him. The brunette tilted his head in confusion, tapping on a holographic profile screen. But look at his stats. His only ability is weapon mastery, and it's hard stuck at D rank. The muscle-bound evaluator's eyes went wide, disappointment creeping in. Donc seriously, not even a sub-skill. If his sole main skill is capped at D, training him is a waste of resources. He's gonna hit a hard ceiling when he tries to level up. The curly-haired guy rested his chin on his hand, eyes intense. His combat instincts are something to die for. But the blonde woman cut in with cold logic. Not worth the investment. She stared at the screen. Voice cautious best to cut our losses now. No need to choose the thorny path. Diaku did the mental math. This actually works out perfectly if we pull him into the association. He took an elegant sip of tea. I think we've reached a verdict. Diaku set his coffee down, gently thinking. Feels kind of scummy faking his records though. But Juno's falsified profile had passed security without a hitch. Outside the association's massive headquarters, Diaku closed his eyes, managing a smile that was equal parts relief and stress. Meanwhile, Juno was sprawled out on the sofa. This novel is absolutely bonkers. Looking at the trash heap on the table, Dayogu felt his soul withering away. Reality was depressing. The world's most legendary player, the hero everyone worshipped, discharged from a hospital after just 2 days. And the specter is this guy. Diego clenched his jaw, chanting internally serenity. Now I have to be patient, I have to be patient. His train of thought was derailed by Juno. Cackling like a maniac, Diogo's voice dropped an octave, dripping with murderous intent. Hey, Junho. He was suppressing pure rage, sweat beading on his forehead. What exactly are you reading? Junho answered with zero shame. The main character is a priest, but instead of healing, he just beats the crap out of everyone. Dioka looked baffled. Is he nuts? You really haven't moved an inch, have you? He slumped into a chair, his expression softening anyway. Get up, I brought the intel you asked for. Dioku probed cautiously. Why do you need info on the uncleared gates? You aren't seriously thinking of going there. At your current level, are you? Juno didn't hesitate. Obviously I am. Whilst when I ask, this stuff is sick. Diokyu gasped, totally flabbergasted. Excuse me. Diokyu's voice trembled with anxiety. Do you even understand what uncleared implies? Juno turned, casually replying. You think I got amnesia? He started listing facts. Gates crawling with monsters, and death traps attacking humans on sight. Some are so lethal that players go in and don't even leave a corpse behind. He continued, the dungeons that have never been wiped clean. Those are the uncleared gates. Juno added, but the catch is, these gates only allow entry for total rookies. Dioku raised his voice, warning. That makes them even deadlier. Veterans are banned from entering. Rookies go in chasing the loot, and every single one of them ends up dead. He looked genuinely distressed. And with your body in this state, isn't that suicide? Juno looked up, smirk returning. Why are you sweating it? You know who I am, right? Besides, aren't those uncleared gates a massive migraine for the association? Dioku grudgingly admitted. Well, yeah, he pleaded, but I can't just send my best friend into a meat grinder. Juno said his name solemnly. Doku. He was blunt. I know this is supposed to be a touching bro moment, but I'm going anyway. I have way too much to gain from this. Doku couldn't believe his ears. Gain. Junho explained suavely. Dungeon rewards compound over time. A gate that's been festering for years. That's an XP goldmine. Diogo asked one final question. So the only reason you're risking your neck is to power level a little faster. Juno gives a deadpan shrug. Yep. Ducko practically screams, losing his mind. Did you forget you literally died already? Is the word safety not in your dictionary? Juno lowers his head, his voice dropping an octave. My team is frozen in time, waiting for me to set them free. They would do the exact same for me. Diokyu tries to cut in, totally not buying it. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you gotta choose a suicide mission. Juno's expression hardens instantly. That's not the only reason. He looks down, his tone turning grim. Now that I'm back in the game, clashing with the fiends is inevitable. I'm out of time. Juno emphasizes every word. When I face them, I need to be a monster strong enough to crush them. Diok freezes, staring at him. Totally stunned, he rubs his temples, looking exhausted and guilty. I didn't think that far ahead. Diok shakes his head, beating himself up. I didn't realize how much pressure you were under. Juno thinks to himself, I wouldn't call it pressure, but let's keep him in the dark. A beat later, Doku steps up to help. Least I can do is find you a gate. You can actually enter. Doku scans the data, eyes widening seriously. Nope, there is literally only one gate available. For your current level. Juno raises an eyebrow. Alright. Lay it on me, which one? Doku pulls up the file it spawned 7 years ago. 142 people try to clear it. He points at the screen, grimacing. Only level 1s can enter. That's why they call it the intern graveyard. Juno scans the specs. Clear conditions look like a piece of cake. Dioku shrugs, totally assured. I mean, I'm pretty confident in you. Suddenly his watch pings. He checks the notification. Oh, sweet, your deposit just hit. Juno nods. Got it. Dioku points a finger at him. Grinning, with that cash comes the catch. Association contract, baby. You're my subordinate for a year. The world-famous SEO Junho is officially my lackey. Eyes wide, mock shock. Excuse me, lackey then. Juno's voice drops to 0 degrees fine. I'll show you exactly how a servant behaves. Diokyu flinches, waving his hands. Whoa. Chill out, so Juno. Junho instantly switches modes. Speaking of work, can I crash here? The association has housing for players, right? Diak-gu nods, immediately solid plan. You'll be safer here, Juno smirks. Make sure it's a penthouse suite. He doesn't skip a beat, you got it. You do a good job, and I'll give you the entire floor. Junio Teazis, since you're the big boss, calling the shots now. Dioga laughs, nervously shifting focus, ha ha ha. Just open the box already. It's your new armor. Juno eyes the box skeptically. Armor, you didn't pack me something weird. Did you? Why is it boxed up like that? Diako urges him on, just open it. Juno pulls the armor out, testing the weight. Whoa. It's light. He inspects the fabric. And durable. Juno's jaw drops. This is insane quality. Where did you even find this? Diak-gu grins, looking incredibly smug. Of course. It's top tier. He leans in to explain. That masterpiece was crafted by Quan Noya himself. Juno freezes. What? That old grump is still alive. He mimics an old man, pounding his back. Oh, my aching back. Doug-gu nods. He turned 98 this year. And he passed the workshop to his grandson. But let's be real, he's still the one hammering away. Juno makes a decision. I should go thank him in person. Dioku's voice gets sharp. Juno. He looks helpless. You can't. Juno frowns, annoyed. What? Why not? Dioku is firm. We have to be paranoid about your safety right now. Juno shoots back. You suspect Quan Noya. Dioku shakes his head instantly. I don't doubt him for a second. Juno goes quiet, processing. So the fiends have eyes inside his workshop. Daka nods grimly. Bingo. The fiends know Quan Noya. Inspector, we're tight. If you show up there now, you're basically announcing to the world that you're back. Juno looks thoughtful. Voice calm. You're right. If I travel abroad as a lowly intern, just to meet Quan Noya, it'll paint a target on my back. Diak-gu grips his shoulder reassuringly. I told him I'm sponsoring you. So he gets a Juno size. Sounding disappointed. Guess there's no other way. I'll get stronger, then go see him. He looks at Diak-gu. Pass on my thanks. Will you? You got it. Leave it to me. June. Ho dive back into the box. Excited now. What weapon should I use? Diak-gu leans back, relaxed. Warehouse is stock. Grab whatever catches your eye. Junho grins. Can't wait. Diak-gu warns, just don't expect Quan Noya level gear. Okay, then he asks, so when do you leave? Juno gets serious. Well, I wanted to leave right now, but my stamina is trash. I need to fix that first. He stretches his arms, thinking, just that little test completely drained my battery. If I can't last, I'm dead meat against the fiends. And these clothes, I'm swimming in them. Diogo straightened up, barking out the question. Looks solid. What's the timeline? A month. Juno shook his head, already calculating too long. Seriously. Diogo's face twisted in disbelief. You think a month is dragging it out? 10 days. Juno shot back, voice brimming with confidence. That's all I need. Cut to the rugged wilderness. 10 days later. Namyang province. Mount Shanawa, a warning sign loomed. Restricted area danger. Thanks for your cooperation. Juno strolled up to the barrier, pausing just before the threshold. A cocky smirk played on his lips. Let's roll. A holographic interface flickered to life gate. Curse of the Dawn, clear. Conditions survive until sunrise. Difficulty level 6. Junho stood alone in the desolate wasteland. A harsh wind whipped up blinding dust. He tilted his head back, gasping for air, hand clutching his chest as a smile crept onto. His face actually feels kind of cozy. He thought a shattered tombstone stood lonely. Against the dying sunset, his smile turned jagged, yet calling this place cozy. I must be losing my mind. Juno's eyes locked onto the mission panel. According to the intel, this gate isn't technically hard. He stared thoughtfully at the horizon. The objective is straightforward. Just stay alive until the sun comes up. My timing is impeccable. Juno's brain went into analysis mode. I crunched the data. The teams that entered at dawn survived the longest. He added, mentally time flows differently in here. The guys who entered at noon, they had 0 time to adjust to the lag. Probably got jumped instantly. Juno finalized his assessment. Total wipeout, but they were just level 1 players. His internal monologue brimmed with arrogance. Me, I've been through hell and back. Come on, show me what you got. The full moon hung heavy in the sky. Cold pale light washed over the withered trees. Juno leaned back against a trunk, waiting. A creeping sensation crawled up his spine, gross. Heavy, like being haunted. He scanned the perimeter, senses dialed to 11. He grabbed his head, hunching over. Probably undead, this is going to be a drag. Suddenly the earth beneath him shifted. A rotting hand burst through the gray soil. Twitching mud-caked fingers clawed at the air. Junho peered down at the zombie dragging itself up, called it without missing a beat. He swung his sword, smashing the flat of the blade right onto its skull. Bonk. Nope. No, thank you, go back to sleep. He rested the blade on his shoulder, unfazed. I can feel them, they're everywhere. Juno triggered his skill. Night of the Hunter activated. He straightened up, his eyes glowing with predatory light in the darkness. Every sense sharpened instantly, surrounded by a rising horde. Junho grimacedão. That's a lot of ugly, a zombie shrieked, lunging straight for his throat. Undead are a nightmare for rookies, especially zombies they don't feel pain. Juno's grip tightened on his hilt. He struck with lethal precision, even with critical hits. They ignore the damage mechanics. They just keep coming. He dropped one, and two more would scramble over the corpse. Rabid and hungry, but the result was always the same. They met his blade and went down permanently. Monster corpses littered the ground like carpet, perfect for panic-inducing gameplay. Without a healer, rookies get overwhelmed fast. Blood splattered across his cheek, eyes heavy with exhaustion. I get it now. This place earned its nickname. The rookie graveyard just then. One last straggler clawed its way out of the dirt. Junho spun around, delivering a bone-crushing kick. Too bad I'm a rookie twice over, pal. I ain't weak enough to lose to trash like you. Suddenly a chill ran down his spine. Something was behind him. Wait. Juno gasped, shock coloring his voice. There's more. He slumped, panting, grimacing from the exertion. Am I hearing things? A faint voice drifted through the air. Who? Is someone there? Juno muttered. A voice. He shot up. Where are you? The voice stammered back, trembling. A human over here. Juno sprinted toward the sound. He could hear sobbing coming from right under his feet. He stood atop a mound of dirt, looking down. You down there? A weak, muffled voice replied. Yes, I'm here. Juno frowned. How did you even end up in this mess? The survivor's voice cracked. I trusted my friends. We came in together. Everyone else, they're all dead. Junho seguid Jesus. The survivor pleaded, please just get me out of here. Junho nodded. Oh, he got it, but first, I need you to scream as loud as you can. The survivor paused, confused. Scream? Why? Need to pinpoint your exact location. A wooden plank vibrated violently as a desperate scream tore through the silence below. His voice cuts through the tension. Found you. He unloads his clip directly into the coffin lid. Bang. Bang, bang. Brass casings rain onto the floor like hail. Junho lowers his head, eyes icy. I knew something was off. This gate, wiping out over 100 players that easily. You're the one, turning this place into a rookie graveyard. Aren't you? He roars, veins popping. You dirty scammer. The monster croaks out. How did you figure it? Whoosh. Before the creature can finish its sentence, Juno blurs into motion, closing the gap instantly. A single flash of steel bisects the beast, clean cut as the two halves slide apart. He drops the hard truth. There's no way anyone could survive inside an uncleared gate. Junho breaks down the dungeon logic. Once the raid timer starts ticking, the exit stays sealed, even if there's only one survivor left. He recalls the gruesome history. The players before me probably knew the rules too, but panic makes people do stupid things. Glancing down at the monster's dissolving remains, it clicks. No wonder the zombies were trash mobs. Barely a threat, it was all this fraudster's doing. A holographic interface pings into existence. All hostile entities eliminated. Congratulations. You have successfully conquered the curse of the dawn. He nods, a smirk forming. Leveled up 4 times. Nice. Then a frown. Wait. Stats only went up by 5 points per level. Kind of stingy still. Better than nothing, but disbelief lingers seriously. That's it for real. The system chimes in again, interrupting his complaint. Clear reward. Confession of the dead obtained. His mood flips instantly. Yes. Man, you nearly gave me a heart attack. I thought I got stiffy grins. I was expecting some rare loot dropped, but a new skill even better. The interface expands with the details. For Confession of the Dead, rank C effect allows you to view the memories of the deceased. Juno's eyes go wide. Whoa. Memory reading, that's huge. He rubs his chin, calculating. So I can only use it on corpses. Did I unlock this? Because I whacked that undying scam artist. He shrugs. Conditions are niche, but the potential insane. He clenches his fist, hyping himself up. This isn't a Spectre skill. This belongs to me, the player. Seo Yunho Tino. He gazes at the virtual sky, a satisfied grin spreading across his face. The adrenaline is real. I'm pumped. Diagu is beaming, dude. Oh my god, finally. He continues, ever since you came back, the whole world's gone nuts. I haven't had a single day off. Juno takes a chill sip of his coffee. You don't look too upset about it. Diagu leans back, gloating. It's just hilarious watching those stuck-up guilds running around like headless chickens. He adds they're desperate to find the player who solo cleared the curse of the dawn. Juno raises an eyebrow. Guess that works out for you. Usually guilds ignore uncleared gates because the Roy sucks. Why are the paparazzi suddenly so interested? Diagu gets serious. By the way, Juno, are you really going to stay in the shadows? Juno's answer is instant nope. Not yet, he warns. If they find out you're the one sweeping these impossible gates, every guild in the country is going to be banging on your door. Juno kicks back, relaxed. Diagu, let me ask you something. Why do people drop stacks of cash on luxury brands, even when they come from the same factory as the cheap stuff? Diagu guesses. Because the price tag. June Ho points a finger. Bingo. They're special because not just anyone can have them. Diak Gu connects the dots. Wait. So you're turning yourself into a luxury good. Yunho smiaks confidently. Not just luxury, I'm talking top tier. Something everyone craves, but nobody can find. A legendary limited edition. Dioku raises an eyebrow amused. So basically your plan is to troll the entire industry. He sighs Jesus. Junho doesn't hesitate exactly. Dioku hops onto the desk defeated. You could be a real jerk sometimes. You know that, let me guess. Your blood type is S for sadist. Junho ignores the jab, but I can't keep them waiting forever. He leans and listens. Dioku, the sharp ones, are already putting the puzzle pieces together. They'll start asking, isn't this the same mystery player? Clearing all the other impossible gates. The rumors will start. Dioku nods slowly. And the reporters are going to start camping out at every uncleared dungeon. Juno lifts his chin, radiating pride. I don't need to chase the spotlight. When I finally introduce myself, the world will realize what they've been missing. Dioku pouts, teasing him. Oh please, since when did you give a crap about dignity? Juno tilts his head, feinting innocence. Excuse me then. He casually looks away. I'm just educating you on marketing. Dioku waves it off. Whatever. You up for a session? Juno shoots back. I literally just finished. Dioku crosses his arms. You need more reps if you want to. Junho vezes barelli audible servente. 71. His arms are trembling like leaves in a storm. 72. He's fighting for every inch. 70. He collapses forward, face twisted in agony. Sweat pouring off him in buckets. 2-0. He screams out the final count. With everything he has left, he hit the deck hard, chest heaving like a bellows. Totally spent. The system interface chimed. Strength stats just leveled up. Junho let out a relieved gasp. Finally, he sprawled out on the cold floor, muscles trembling from the grind, dragging himself up against the wall. He downed a bottle of water in one go. Eyes closed, pure bliss. I feel alive again. He wiped the sweat from his brow. Tapping his smartwatch, he muttered, let's check the score. Juno sat there, scanning the massive holographic system panels floating in the air. His voice was steady as he read. The Garden of Luff. This place popped up on the radar 9 years ago. It is the oldest uncleared dungeon in Korea. Here's the deal: if a gate is ignored for too long, the monsters inside get restless and spill out. That nightmare scenario was dubbed a gate break. The government and the association put a massive bounty on this place. We are talking life-changing money for anyone who could clear the Garden of Luff. Naturally, hunters from all over the country jumped at the chance. But here is the kicker: 124 attempts, 124 failures. A total graveyard of ambition. They ran out of options and had to outsource the job to foreign talent. They dropped a fortune, hiring a super rookie from India to Sharvashi. The kid was an absolute genius with a bow. Junho looked down, genuinely impressed by the guy's stats. He was probably on Gilbert Green's level. He mused, maybe even better. But then the harsh reality hit. Even to Vishy wiped out, and that killed the last shred of hope for clearing the garden. A 22-year-old prodigy with a golden future, just gone snuffed out like a candle. What a waste, he thought, shaking his head. Then the darker realization crept in. That could easily be me. That is why I cannot slack off. I need to be over-prepared. Juno clenched his fist. I just boosted my physical stats through insane workouts. Everything except magic is over 30 now. He nodded, satisfied. That should do it. His stats were maxed out for his level. But he paused. If a rising star like Tashar couldn't crack this gate, there has got to be some nasty surprises hiding in the shadows. I need to calculate every possible outcome. He stretched his arms overhead, feeling the burn in his lats. However, he held up his hand, watching it glow with a mystic blue aura. A confident grin spread across his face. Now that I have unlocked frost skills, I'm starting to get the hang of this magic stuff. Wonder how it handles in a real fight. Cut to Juno, standing inside the Garden of Luff, scanning the mission details. Clear condition. Eliminate all hostile targets. Simple enough, no intel on how many Luffs are out there. But if a 4-man squad got wiped, there's definitely a trap. Gripping his weapon tight, he scanned the perimeter from his high vantage point. The place looked like a giant twisted maze. What is it? He whispered, eyeing a strange structure. Better steer clear of that sketchy area for now. He found a spot to chill and lean back. Luffs are nocturnal, so I've got time. Just gotta wait for the sun to drop. He camped out until the dead of night. Total silence, just the wind, until a sickening crack echoed from the earth. Something was crawling out of the ground. 2 beasts materialized in the garden. Junho dead, Avaki Jesus. Give a guy a heart attack. You could at least send a text before popping up. His passive skills kicked into high gear. Nightfall triggered his sensory boost. Leaning casually against a pillar, He taunted just two of you seriously. He smirked kind of underwhelming. Suddenly one monster lunged at him with savage speed. Junho dodgy, effortlessly, launching himself into the air. He spun around mid-flight. Muscles coiling, he gripped his spear and hurled it with everything he had at the beast. Below his eyes were cold. Locked on the target, the spear flew true, skewering the monster instantly. He stuck, the landing boots hitting the dirt with a solid thud. He grabbed his spear, yanking it free. This is it, he said, inspecting the weapon. Oh yeah, that feels good. The Ice Queen's power is no joke. Suddenly, a blindside attack knocked him off balance. Juno frowned, regaining his footing. A wave attack. He whipped his head around to check his 6. Figure 2 was too easy. He dropped into a low combat stance. Ready to brawl, he charged. The monster's spear raised high. He moved like a blur, not giving them a second to breathe. 3 monsters dropped in rapid succession, but he clocked one last straggler behind him. No time to waste, Juno spun for a back attack. His spear, carving glowing lines of light through the air. Dead center on the target. Juno scans the perimeter skeptically, raising a brow. That's it. Game over already. Way too fast, a wave of unease hits him. Since when did they mob up like this? The numbers are off. Should be at least double that crowd. Juno forces a jagged grin, sweat dripping down his jaw. Don't tell me these freaks have a respawn mechanic. From the horizon, a bone-chilling screech rips through the air. Junho clenches his jaw. For God's sake, he sprints forward, blurring into speed and roars. How many of you vermin are there then? He sees at the alpha. He's sparching a massive mane, lunging with glowing yellow eyes. Going for the kill, Juno weaves sideways. A perfect dodge and instantly spins for the counter. His hand ignites with a ghostly blue aura, weaving sharp ribbons of energy boom. An ice barrier materializes out of thin air. Intercepting the rush, the impact is catastrophic, triggering a blinding neon blue explosion, shattering the shield into jagged energy shrapnel. The ice wall is toast, but he improvises, seizing the debris, turning the shards into projectiles, and unleashing a high-speed barrage. Junho sees his window and thrusts the spear slash. Slash slash. Deadly precision, the monsters drop like flies. Let's out a grown ugh. I'm cooked. How many hours has it been? His voice is thin, totally drained. But hey, not enough to stop me from wiping the board. But one thing's bugging me. Yunho limps foe. I'm rocking S-class frost skills. But if the difficulty level is this low, his voice drops. A 4-man squad would have cleared this easily. Juno starts piecing it together. For 9 years, elite players try to crack this gate. We're talking heavy hitters with serious potential. Not just randos. Super rookie Tusa was in the mix. He analyzes the facts as he moves. That kid was a beast. He should have soloed half this map. And with a crew, he should have crushed this raid. He pushes his exhausted body toward the alpha brain, still racing. Juno's attack lands. A streak of blue energy slicing the wind. He wonders, how did he choke? System alert, you have conquered the Garden of Love. Juno stares at the ruins amidst the flower field and exhales sharply. Who saw my life flash before my eyes there? He relaxes. Well, I'm still breathing, so that's a win. Juno stands there brooding, talking to himself. Now, why did I even come here? Wasn't part of the plan. What is this place anyway? He drifts into the shadowy labyrinth. Suddenly, he freezes, looking up in pure shock. Walking along a moss-covered cliff, his shadow stretches under the weak sunlight. At his feet lies a skeleton clutching a weapon, draped in a delicate shroud of cobwebs. Juno grimaces. I can literally smell the death in here. Soldier corpses litter the blood-stained floor. Were they trying to bail? Too many squads went down here. Juno thinks, eyes filled with gloom. This may just chew them up and spit them out. He makes a grim assessment. If he can't hold back the wave, this place is just a dead end. Then something clicks. He says calmly, no exit. June. Ho turns to a body slumped against the wall, eyes locking onto a glowing artifact. Junho gasps. Is that the bow? He steps closer, inspecting it. If memory serves, that's Tempest. Juno kneels before the fallen archer, bowing his head in respect. He brushes the weapon, whispering, forgive the intrusion, Tempest. June. Ho recalls the lore. One shot from this thing, and the arrow dances like a butterfly in a hurricane. Unpredictable, violent. Just like the name, he wonders. The Indian government loaned this to Tusa, so this pile of bones is him. He spots a diary under the skeletal hand. Junho asks himself who did this belong to. He reads the entry, April 7th, 2044, 12:40 p.m. Assigned to conquer the Love Gate in Korea. Flashback, Tusa grinning with fire in his eyes. For real you're asking me? I'll get it done. No matter what a shadowy figure warns Tusa reconsider. Kid, that gate has been undefeated for years. The man's voice is stern. It's a one-way ticket. Tusa places a hand on his chest. Beaming with pride, the Koreans traveled all this way. Just to ask for my help, how can I say no? That goes against Vishnu's teachings. Tusa has made up his mind. I'm sitting at level 10. This is my only shot to enter the Garden of Love. I have to do this. He turns sincere. You really gonna ride with me? Zaya smiles softly, absolutely sure. Yeah, of course I'm going. She looks at Tusa with total faith. I believe in you, Tusa. I'd follow you into hell, Zaya beams. If you said you were going solo, I would have just snuck in anyway. I'm just happy you invited me. Thanks, Tusa. She leans in, blushing slightly. Plus I gotta protect you. She insisted. He blinked, confused. Protect me? Seriously, why? Tusa's voice softened, dripping with affection. I'm just glad you're riding shotgun on this one, Zaya. He said, total trust in his eyes. You're the only one I can count on. You know that, right? She hit him back with a gentle vibe. Of course I know I'm your partner for life. Tusa cracked a relieved smile, yeah. Then they leaned in, heads resting together against a backdrop of a blazing sunset, wrapped in each other's arms. They swore a blood oath we're taking this place down. Whatever the cost. Meanwhile, little Nisa padded barefoot across the floor, screaming daddy. He threw his arms wide, flashing a heartwarming grin. Hey, sweetheart. Innocent curiosity filled her eyes. Daddy. Where are you going? He replied simply. Just heading to work, baby. He made sure to add, I'll be back in a flash. So you be good for grandma, okay? Hearing that, Nisa's face fell. Disappointment written all over it. She nodded obediently, okay. Then came the bribe. When I get back, we'll go see the animals, promise. He pulled Nisa into a tight hug, planting a kiss on her cheek. You bet. Listen to grandma and finish your dinner every night. Tusa stood silently in the shadows, watching the heartbreaking goodbye. Isa's dad sharpened up, voice firm. Tusa, let's roll. Guilt nodded him. I'm sorry it came to this, man. The older man brushed it off, reassuring him, first time I've taken a trip this long. Actually, but my mom's got things handled. He chuckled softly, tone warm. Besides, I couldn't say no when you asked. Tusa looked at him, truly grateful. Thank you. Nisa's dad hyped himself up, traveling with a famous super rookie. I better get a sweet payout for my kid. Tusa laughed. Deal. Just you wait. Cut to New Delhi. Indira Gandhi International Airport. Tusa and Nisa's dad hustled their luggage through the crowded terminal. Zaya and Jam were already on deck waiting. Tusa reached out for a handshake. Jam, been a minute. Thanks for showing up. Jam kept it polite but real. Zaya wouldn't stop bugging me about it. Timestamp, April 23rd, 2044, 4:12 p.m. Tusa was locked and grinding hard. Tomorrow was do or die. He let an arrow fly, cutting through the air toward the target. Thwack! For arrows clustered dead center in the bull's eye. Not bad for today. He eyed his grouping with satisfaction, thinking I've got a good feeling about this. Fast forward to April 24th, 2044, 11:37 a.m. A note scrawled in the log read, we have entered Love's Garden. Tusa's eyes went wide, absolutely, stunned by the surreal landscape surrounding them. It's gorgeous, never seen a gate like this before. Suddenly he froze. A single drop of cold sweat rolled down his temple. Tusa locked back, and this is a dungeon. Can't lose focus. He signaled the squad to scout the perimeter. Darkness fell. April 24th, 2044, 8:33 p.m. Monsters with glowing crimson eyes stalk through the bioluminescent flowers. 8 of them seems kind of light, right? Suddenly Nisa's dad screamed out a warning. Here they come again. Count is 32 this time. He bellowed, watch out. A beast launched a vicious sneak attack straight at Tusa's crew. 1 split second of distraction, and Nisa's dad took a critical hit. Tusa whipped around, staring at the pure despair on his face. Tusa barked in order, grab the others and run. Go, Zaya. Panic rising in her voice urged him, run head for the maze. Tusa move it. His mind was racing. Panic setting in. Every time we wipe a wave, then multiply. Are they doubling? Every single time. This dungeon is insane. The sun began to peak over the horizon. The deep blue maze stretched out under the golden morning light. Nisa's dad lay on his back, soaked in blood, whispering Wiki Tusa. He used his final breath for one last request. Take care of my little girl. His voice faded. Please. The 3 survivors gave him a proper burial. April 25th, 2044, 5:29 p.m. The air was thick with grief and hopelessness. One of my teammates is dead. Succumbed to his wounds. Tusa knelt beneath a tree, staring into the nothingness. April 25th, 2044, 7:12 p.m. The sun was dipping below the horizon. He clasped his hands in prayer. Almighty Shiva, have mercy on us. Please let me live to write in this journal tomorrow. Tusa's eyes were hollow, focused on nothing. Nearby Zaya and Jam were passed out on the dirt, trying to recharge for tonight's slaughter. He cracked open the notebook. Tusa's hand trembled violently as the pen hit the paper. We survived the 4th wave of love monsters last night. Wave 5 hits today. We're looking at least 120 of them. Tusa scribbled frantically. It's a fight for sheer survival. If it were just 40, I could solo that many. He shifted his gaze towards Zaya. Sleeping peacefully, Tusa's face was gaunt, totally drained of life, with hollow eyes, screaming exhaustion. He looked up at the sky and whispered, "We're finally getting out of this hellhole tomorrow." Tusa screamed into the void, "Please, not a 6th wave." But reality didn't care. He crushed Zyra's cold, lifeless body against his chest. Agony stole his voice, leaving only silent sobs. He choked out, I swore we'd conquer this place. But what's the point of winning if you aren't here?" Zhang's vibe instantly shifted. "Tusa," he muttered, silence following as he unsheathed a razor-sharp dagger. Showtime. A twisted thought crossed Jayam's mind. "You're dead meat, but..." The reflection in the orb on the ground gave him away. Jayam lunged from the shadows. Tusa shoved his grief aside, snapping into full combat, alert instantly. Reflexes kicked in just in time to twist his body, the blade barely grazing his arm. Now they stood face to face. The tension in the air was thick enough to choke on. GM flashed a psycho grin, gripping the blood-stained knife. "You actually dodged that India's #1 rising star. Really lives up to the hype." Tusa stared at him, gasping through the pain. "Those eyes, Gayam. You're a straight-up monster." Betrayal stung worse than the wound. He screamed, "How could you play us like this? How can you be a demon? Zyra was the one who brought you into our circle." The traitor let out a dry chuckle, face full of arrogance. "That is literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's simple math, because your girlfriend was an idiot. Just like you," he sneered. Mocking him, though, I got to admit, I didn't expect a lizard mosh pit of that size. Figured I'd lend a hand before your squad got wiped. They were total trash, died way too fast. Even I almost got clipped back there. Tusa roared, "You scumbag." Guillaume smirked, taking a victory lap. "Thank for the carry, by the way, Tusa. Just hand over the storm plant, and you can go join your little club in the afterlife." Tusa stayed silent, grinding his teeth in pure rage. He froze, sweat mixing with the blood on his face. Jean straightened up, looming over him, smirking like he owned the place. What's with the face afraid to punch out? Tusa slammed his foot into the ground. With everything he had, he spun around and bolted. Not even looking back, Jean sighed, sounding bored out of his mind. "Wow. Didn't peg you for a runner, whatever." Jean's voice turned ice cold. "The poison's gonna finish the job anyway." He cocked his head, crimson eyes narrowing in suspicion, waiting for the inevitable drop. Clutching his shredded arm, Tusa thought there's a 6th wave. He kept his head down and sprinted. The venom was coursing through his veins. Damn it, Tusa panicked. "I can't feel my arm anymore." He stumbled blindly into the labyrinth. It can't end like this. He forced his legs to move faster. Zero hesitation, a loud blood dripped, leaving a long, crimson trail soaking into the dirt behind him. But it was too little too late. The maze gate sealed shut right in front of him. Tusa let out a scream of pure despair. "No, I refuse to go out like this." He hung his head as the shadow swallowed him whole. The only thing visible was the gash pulsing on his arm. Tusa collapsed. "My right arm is dead weight." That psycho definitely laced the blade. He accepted his fate, whether the lizards got him or the toxin did. "I'm a dead man, walking either way." Tusa clung to one last shred of hope. If anyone finds this journal, the final entry read, "Tell our families. We are so sorry," finishing Tusa's final words. A look of pity crossed Juno's eyes. He kept flipping through the bloodstained pages. Is that it? No, wait. There's more. Junho zeroed in on the remaining entries, scrolled with a trembling hand. Tusa's last thoughts appeared. "If the rest of my team is still out there, could we have actually made it?" The words turned furious. "It's all that devil's fault." Tusa must have been gritting his teeth, eyes wide with rage. "Damn those cursed demons to hell." A final prayer, "O Lord Shiva." Tusa had fallen to his knees. Let this broken body return to the eternal flow, his breathing fading fast, and drag all those sinners down to the deepest pit. Someone, anyone, I beg you, exact vengeance for this dying warrior. Juno stood in silence, processing the horror. Then, calmly, "Thanks." Message received. Junho broke it down logically. So the mob density scales with the party size. Since I'm running solo, the spawn rate was low. Pretty much a walk in the park for me. He closed his eyes, face turning grim. If I had dragged 3 other people in here. Juno cut that thought off instantly. Just saying it out loud makes me sick. Nope, not going there. He crouched beside Tusa's body. I'll take this burden with me. Junho's eyes locked onto the bow. And as for this beauty, he made the call. I'm just gonna borrow it for a while. Junho knelt, his voice sincere. Don't get it twisted. I'm not swiping this as some kind of payment. Consider it a blood oath too, sir. But mark my words, I'm gonna rain absolute hell on those cursed demons. In your name, Junho slowly rises to his full height, eyes burning with resolve. Catch you on the flip side. He spins on his heel and stalks off, dropping one last farewell to India's young prodigy. Cut to the Player Association HQ, where Diogo's voice is already booming with unadulterated hype, but you called it. Diak-gu slams the newspaper onto the table with a heavy thud. He's grinning like he just won the lottery. We kept our mouths shut, and now the whole world is buzzing. Juno is slumped on the bed, cradling his head like he's nursing a massive hangover. I told you this would happen, man. I'm absolutely drained, honestly. I almost spilled the beans, right at the dungeon entrance. He frowns, looking annoyed at the memory. Fists clenched, he sighs, whatever. Why the crack of dawn visit, dude? You could have just hit me up on Vita. Diego just laughs, shaking his head. No bad manners. Gotta deliver news like this face to face. His expression shifts, eyes going cold and serious. Besides, the Indian government sent a message for you. Diak-gu continues strictly business now. They wanted to thank you for the diary. To Charles' family, they've been informed about everything. Juno stays chill, voice flat. Is that so good for them? Diogo steps up, looking exasperated. You little punk, it's okay to be hyped about this. You know, he shoots back, pointing aggressively at the headlines. Scattered on the table, look at this. You're famous too bad about the other thing, though. Mind if I leave these papers here? Junho blinks genuinely confused. Too bad about what, the Tempest? Diogo starts explaining. That national defense superweapon. It was supposed to be in Tishar's inventory, but it's gone. Realization hits Juno. Oh, that thing. He sits up straight, casually flashing a massive weapon. You mean this bad boy? Feast your eyes. Suddenly the entire room is bathed in a blinding, electric blue aura pulsing from a weapon. Diak-gu's jaw hits the floor. Or have you lost your mind? He lunges forward, literally screaming, why is that in your hands? Juno winces, tilting his head and covering one ear. Geez. Volume control my eardrums. Diogo is hyperventilating. You should have buried that thing. You know that property belongs to the Indian government. Juno shrugs, looking awkward. I'm just borrowing it indefinitely. Diogo rubs his temples, looking like he's about to have a stroke. So what's the story? You gonna tell them that Tishar magically airdropped it into your inventory? And he shrugs, giving up. Whatever. That's a you problem. Juno leans back, confident. Relax. I'm not gonna go waving it around in public. Stop being such a drama queen. Drama queen, Diak-gu roars. They think it's lost forever. Juno cuts in, waving a hand. No. That's not the point. He pauses, eyes narrowing. Its bait. I'm luring a specific demon. Diak-gu whispers, confused. But didn't that guy die inside the gate? Juno shakes his head. He wasn't the only one hunting for this bow. Juno smirks darkly, and whoever else wants it. They've definitely seen the headlines by now. But they're not dumb enough to trust the media. Cut to a shadowy figure, watching the news feed on a glowing screen. The figure's eyes are cold as liquid nitrogen. This guy, Junho's voiceover cuts in, is a total psycho, values legendary gear more than human life. He knows I have it, and he's coming for me. Diak-gu nods grimly, checking his watch. Yeah, that tracks. I've got a suspect in mind. Diogo drops the name without hesitation. Damunbo Signe, the guy with the legendary bow collection. Even other fiends fanboy over him. He's got style, I'll give him that. Style or not, he's got a bounty on his head in every continent. Diogo goes into analysis mode. He was too high level for Luke's garden. That's the only reason he didn't raid the dungeon. Himself, Juno nods. So if he wants the Tempest, Juno says, eyes sharp as a blade. He won't come alone, he'll squad up with other fiends and ambush me at the next uncleared gate. And trust me, he's way deadlier than Tishar ever was. Diogo gasps, are you insane? That's suicide, just give the weapon back. Juno holds up a hand, chill out. If we prep now, we'll be ready for them. Nos Widbisites. He flashes a cocky grin. Do I look like an easy target to you? Diogo stuffs his hands in his pockets. He looks at Junho, hesitating now. He admits awkwardly, you're well. You're you, but still. Diogo skies Junho shoulder. Voice dropping, just promise me you'll stay alive, okay? Juno smiles, genuinely appreciating the concern. Bro, who do you think you're talking to? I'm the one and only SCO. Juno, relax. This isn't gonna end like it did 25 years ago. Diogo sighs, resigned. Fine. He groans, you haven't changed a bit. Have you? Juno chuckles. I'm just being me. Suddenly, Doku's smartwatch starts blowing up with notifications. Ping, ping, ping. He answers, annoyed. Shimduck, Goose speaking. Yeah, look. I get it, but the answer is no. He hangs up with a heavy sigh. Get rid of them. Juno looks up. What's going on, reporters? Diogo grumbles, swarming the place like flies on trash. He explains they found out you cleared the gates. Everyone wants a piece of the new hero for an interview. Juno's eyes light up. Deca, wait. Don't kick them out. Deca blinks. Excuse me, why? Junius mirks decisivel. If we're gonna scrap with demons, let's at least pick the right stage. He drops a bold proposal. Let's hold a press conference. The venue is packed, flashbulbs popping everywhere. A reporter speaks up. Association player SEO Junho. His debut gate was the Curse of the Dawn. The reporter continues hype building. Then came the Garden of Lost Souls. It's been ages since we've seen a rookie with this kind of juice. A female reporter whispers in awe. Korea might just be birthing another superstar player. Up there with legends like Kim Woo-jung and Shin Sung-hun. The praise is endless. And the guy knows how to steal the spotlight, even surrounded by diamonds. This kid shines the brightest. The crowd roars, demanding his appearance. He's here to get the shot. Wait, what? The reporter gasps, dude. Is he wearing bedroom slippers on stage? His outfit is a total disaster for a public appearance. The crowd starts whispering, confused by Juno's lack of drip. Is that really the guy who cleared 2 unconquered gates? Did he just wander in here by mistake? Junho thinks to himself, quite the scene. Maybe I should have changed clothes. He muses back when I was Spectre. I used to dress to kill, now it's just a hassle. He recalls Jia's advice. Did you seriously just wash your face? Do whatever you want, man. You earned it. Stifling a yawn. He grabs the mic. I'm SEO Junho. I'll be taking questions for exactly 30 minutes. Starting now, the reporters look absolutely stunned by his casual vibe, then chaos. Hands fly up everywhere, everyone desperate for a quote. Please give us the details about your experience inside the gates. How did it feel? Is there a reason you debuted exclusively in Unconquered Gates? Junho answers, clearly commanding the room. Let's start with the Curse of the Dawn. The reporter next to him frowns. What is this vibe? It feels like this kid has handled media circuses 1,000 times before. He's way more seasoned than he looks. Junho glances at his watch, managing the clock like a pro. He announces, I'll take one final question. Someone shouts out the $1 million query. Have you decided on your next target? Junho smiles soft. A little reckless, completely unbothered. Nope. There's one I want, but my level is too low. A reporter leans. In which gate is it? Junho drops the bomb with zero hesitation. The West Sea Gate. Gasps echo through the hall. What? The camera flashes go blindingly bright. They double-check. Frantic player SEO Junho. Did you just say the West Sea Gate? The questions come like machine gun fire. That's the last unconquered gate in Korea. If you pull this off, that's a hat trick. 3 unconquered gates swept. That's unprecedented. Junho, just give the calm nod. Yeah. That's right. The room freezes. The reporters are floored. One female journalist stammers. Rumor has it there's a boss monster in there. Any comment? Another reporter jumps on the pile. The association is debating upgrading it to a grade 1. Hey, don't you think you're biting off more than you can chew? Junho starts feeling the pressure well. Can't blame them for being negative. Boss monsters are nightmares. A boss is in a totally different league from normal. Trash mobs, we're talking catastrophic power levels. I'm even enslave other monsters and rule like kings. But Junho just offers a gentle smile. He looks up, eyes steady. If I fight a boss monster, I win. Cut to the aftermath. Junho is all over the news. Boss monster, I'll win anyway. Shocking statement from player CEO Junho. Confidence or arrogance? I see no storm in the maze. Somewhere else. Shin Sung-hyun reads the breaking news in silence. He sighs, unimpressed, making all this noise over a rookie. I'll win anyway. Shocking statement from SEO Junho. His secretary chimes in immediately. It just proves how critical those unconquered gates are. Sir Soon-hyun chuckles. Been a long time since I heard something this amusing. From the first floor, he asks if you're interested. Should I contact him? Sung-hyun waves it off. No, I'm not that interested yet. He speaks, slowly, philosophically. Listen, if something extraordinary happens once, people call it fate. If it happens twice, they call it skill. He drops a sugar cube into his coffee, watching it dissolve. But I think we should wait until the 3rd time before we judge. No need to memorize every name. Most fade away before they make it that far. The secretary goes stiff. He answers with a tremble. Understood, sir. If SEO Junho pulls off another miracle, he'll get a personal invite from Shin Sung-hyun, the guild master of Korea's #1 guild goblin. Meanwhile, Junho is staring blankly at a stack of files. Pass, reject. Skip this one too. Diak Gu scratched his head, looking puzzled. How about this one? But Junho shot it down instantly. Meh. Not terrible, but it doesn't spark joy. Pass. By the way, are all these gigs direct commissions? Diogo grinned, leaning back. You bet that press conference made you viral. You're trending everywhere right now. Diego squinted at a document, muttering high experience points, balanced difficulty, and a payout that screams cha-ching. Finding a unicorn quest with all three is impossible. Suddenly Juno looked up honestly. I think we should just bail on the search and just pick that last one. Genius Diak shook his head violently. No way your debut mission sets your entire market value. Then he slid a specific file across the table. Check this out. It's a plea from a father. He's desperate for a cure for his daughter's terminal illness. Diaku's voice dropped, getting serious. The key ingredient is an ash fox core. Juno hesitated, his eyes widening. Ash fox, that's a blast from the past. Duck-Gu snapped his fingers, remembering. Didn't you clash with one back in your rookie days? Juno nodded grimly. Barely made it out alive. Diak-Gu tapped his smartwatch. It'll be easier if I just show you the visuals. It's a national grade gate. Heaven Fox, Juno blinked confused. Say what? Diak-Gu immediately projected the holographic data. Burning sand, dunes level requirement 5 to 15. Raid party size 30 players clear. Condition total annihilation of all ash foxes. Difficulty hard. Diak-Gu pointed at the glowing stats. It only spawned 3 months ago, so it's not officially an uncleared gate yet. But the body count is already 7 parties. Juno looked tense. The level requirements are even stricter. In the Ash Fox Gate, I cleared back in my Spectre era. This is going to be way tougher. Suddenly Doku burst out, laughing. Relax. It's not as hardcore as you think. Player standards have skyrocketed, and gear stats are way more op now. But that only made Juno chuckle cynically. Since I woke up, I haven't seen a single player worth a damn. But hey, I trust you. Doku handed him the commission sheet. Fine. If you want to test drive my junior skills, take this gig right. Actually, a buddy of mine commissioned this. Junho raised an eyebrow. A buddy? Who we talking about? You know, Myung-ho Group. He's the CEO. Junho guessed so. Manhyok's son Dioku waved his hand. Nope. The second son, Choi Pil-ho. Just then a sharp knock echoed from the door. A woman in sharp heels clicked into the room. She spoke calmly. Chairman. You rang. Diego introduced her immediately. Congrats, Miss Cha Sion. Starting today, you're SEO Juno's secretary and handler. Juno glanced at her, thinking, even if I'm a hotshot rookie, it looks sketchy if the chairman does all the grunt work for me. She walked over to introduce herself. I'm Cha Sion. I look forward to working with you. Yunho politely shook here and likewise. Duke-Gu jumped in. Juno. I'll handle the big wigs at Myung-ho Group. You coordinate with Miss Cha. She's top-tier talent, so you'll be relying on her a lot. She nodded professionally. Thank you for the compliment, sir. Duck-Gu waved them off. Get going. You two make me proud. They both responded. Roger. As they hopped into the car, SEO asked curiously, Mr. SEO Jun, how are you familiar with the Myung-ho Group? He nodded. Yeah. They're the top dogs in Korea. She filled him in. They're famous for a squeaky clean tax record and fiercely guarding the royal family's privacy. Their life was picture perfect until tragedy struck. Choi Pil-ho's eldest daughter was diagnosed with 9 severance. It's a congenital curse found in people with overflowing yin energy. The only fix is a transplant. They need to pump massive young energy into her just to buy time. One of the few known cures is the Ash Fox core. 29 years ago, the Spectre, the greatest player of all time, hunted an Ash Fox and proved its medicinal effects. I'm actually a huge stan of the Spectre. Hearing that, Juno rubbed his nose awkwardly, catching his reflection in the rearview mirror. You asked him, why are you blushing? Juno stammered. I'm just moved by your story. The car cruised for a while before pulling over, standing in front of the gate. Junho sighed. It looks exactly the same. CEO blinked in surprise. You've been here before. He hesitated. Well, ancient history. She stepped forward. Please wait here. I'll go in first. But suddenly, someone walked out. Are you player SEO Junho? An older gentleman flanked by bodyguards, threw the gates wide open. He smiled warmly. So glad to meet you. I've been expecting you. I am Choi Pil-ho. Seo, I looked totally shook. He came out personally. Junho bowed. Seo Yunho. It's an honor to be greeted by you directly. Right then, Pil-ho let out a hearty laugh. Gripping his hand tight, here stood the hero, who had swept through the impossible gates. For the safety of the people, I'm the one who's honored. Junho felt a jolt of surprise. His eyes widening. The older man's hand was trembling, but that shiver came from raw emotion. Choking back a sob, he confessed, this is my only wish. Tears welled up in Pil-ho's eyes. Please, he bowed deep, his body folding in desperate supplication. Save my beloved high son from this cursed disease. Juno stepped inside, cutting to the chase. All right. Let's talk strategy. You need the Ash Fox's core. Pil-ho nodded, solemnly correct. After scouring every scrap of available data, I found a case in France where a patient made a full recovery. They claimed it was thanks to the Ash Fox core. A gentle fatherly smile touched his lips. I'll give it to you straight. My commission offer is 15 billion won. I'll also supply any item or material you require for the gate run and anything else you demand, as long as it's within my power. Hearing this, Si-un froze instantly, calculating the value. That commission fee is astronomical. He'll definitely say yes. But Juno's voice cut through the air. Ice cold, I'm sorry, but I have to decline. Both of them were floored. Mr. Juno, she cried out in panic. Pilho squeezed his eyes shut, wrestling with the decision, then exhaled like he was ready to risk it all. 25, no. I'll give you 30 billion. Is that still not enough? Juno raised a hand to stop him. I'm not asking you to up the price. 10 billion is more than enough. Seo-un whipped her head around stunned. Pilho looked equally flabbergasted. Totally confused, he stammered, May I ask why so? Junho broke it down. When Spectre took a request from a French client, he accepted 100 million. That client was ready to sign over his entire fortune to save his daughter, but Spectre refused and only asked for 100 million. My reasoning is the same. He recalled his own words from the past. You shouldn't exploit someone desperate to save their family. Outside, twilight began to settle over the city. I'll park the car, you go ahead. Si-un offered. Junho kept it brief. Got it. That's when curiosity got the better of her. Did you hear the story about Lord Spectre? From the association chairman. The question made Junho freeze in his tracks. Oh well, Chairman Sim Diagu is best friends with Spectre. You know, he deflected. Do you believe that story? Secretary Cha. Spectre is famous for being cold and robotic. She answered instantly, no hesitation. No, actually, someone as kind as him would definitely do that. Yunho stared at her blankly. He's a kind person, Spectre. Si-un flashed a knowing smile. I think so. And I'm even more sure after hearing what you just said. Lord Spectre watched his parents die right in front of his eyes. The client had enough money to offer 10 billion won. If that wasn't the case, I think he would have named a price. Someone who couldn't save their own family. Wouldn't want others to suffer that same pain. Juno let out a heavy sigh, impressed. Wow. Nobody else figured that out. Once they were inside, Diak-gu grinned. So how's Cha-sung-ho? Ducked his head. We've only been together for 2 hours. Well, she's amazing at summarizing intel. Diak-gu immediately hyped her up. You'll realize her true value soon enough. With her skills alone, she could have landed a gig at a top guild or a major corporation. She decided to work here solely because the association is looking after Spectre. Juno paused, looking around. Where are we anyway? That made Diak-gu burst out laughing. Dude, don't change the subject just cause you're embarrassed. He placed his palm on a scanner, and the heavy door slid open. Diogo started his pitch. If you want to take down a monster on the Ash Fox's level, you need to pack something useful. The room inside was a cavern of high-tech gear. He walked in playing the tour guide. Our tech has improved insanely. Over the last 25 years, we've created weapons from materials you couldn't even imagine, totally changing the game for players. Diagu grabbed a sword and tossed it to Junho. Then he issued a challenge. Try pumping some magic into that blade. The request left Junho looking a bit lost. Into the sword still. Junho channeled his magic into the hilt. A blinding light engulfed the blade, leaving him totally shocked. Diogo explained, if you use even a tiny bit of magic, en artificial aura blade manifeste, it can pierce an orc's hide like butter. He gestured around the room, showing off his toys, and that thing generates a shield. If you feed it magic-o, and those are magic bombs. Juno sounded a bit underwhelmed. So players these days just rely on these gadgets. Diagu paused, then shrugged. Yeah, I mean, high-tech weapons are super efficient. So why not? Juno pressed him. Even the rankers. Diagu hesitated. I'm not sure rankers usually rock custom-made gear. Then he frowned, assessing the situation honestly. These gadgets are straight-up toys. Junior Skolfit, flashes of his brutal death match with the Frost Queen, flooding his mind against a true apex predator. Useless. High-tier monsters would shred through this tech. Like tissue paper, he threw a curveball at Diak-gu. Why do you think scrub-level monsters spawn in the beginner zones? Diak-gu blinked confused, but took a shot because a boss mob would instant-kill a noob. Juno snapped his fingers. Bingo. Ironically, the system is actually pretty fair. It forces players to grind against opponents in their weight class. That way you build the muscle and XP needed to survive the nightmares waiting. At the top, the light bulb went on for Diagu. So you're saying these high-tech weapons are trash? Against the big bads, yep. Juno shrugged, a smirk playing on his lips. Spot on, buddy. Players leaning on sci-fi gear will never reach the Hall of Fame. This junk only works for speed running low-level gates. So now what? Diaco asked. Ignoring him, Juno drifted toward a pile of discarded gear. In the corner, he fished a dusty blade out of a crate. What's the story with this one? Diagu glanced over. Oh, that. Made from some new alloy, but the stats were garbage. I tossed in the junk pile. Is that so? Juno channeled his aura into the steel. Whoosh, one casual swing unleashed a shockwave. That rattled the windows, the whole room vibrated. Diagu's jaw hit the floor. Eyes wide as saucers, Juno grinned, staring at the vibrating blade. This world is hilarious. Real player growth is being stunted by all these fancy toys cut to outside. High noon. A wall of camera lenses focused on a single point. The gate was pulsating inside the van. Kian scanned the crowd. Looks like a media frenzy out there. And a ton of players. Everyone wants a piece of that Ash Fox core. Juno included 27 raiders were suiting up. Most were corporate guild pawns. But Junho, he was chilling, sipping hot tea like he was at a cafe. Damn, he murmured. Eyes lighting up, this is actually good. Kian beamed, it's lavender blend. You dig it. Juno set the cup down gently. Have another cup ready for when I get back. Oh, and set your alarm early tomorrow. Kian blinked early wide. Juno flashed a cocky $1 million smile. Because after I crush this raid, my inbox is going to explode with commissions. The moment his boot hit the pavement, the press swarm descended. Mister. So is it true? The Myung Ho group personally headhunted you for this. This is your debut team raid. How are you feeling? The Ash Fox is a notorious raid boss. Are you confident you can actually take it down? On the sidelines, other players glared with green-eyed jealousy. Look at him, strutting around like he's a top-tier ranker. Regular guys like us get ignored, while the cameras drool over the super rookie. They're gonna plaster his face everywhere. The murmurs turned into trash talk. Did that twig really solo? 2 uncleared, gates no shot. Look at his gear, it looks like thrift store trash. He's gotta be hiding the real loot in his inventory. You think he's gonna raid with that rusty piece of junk? Finally, the photo op ended. Interviews over. Min Woo barked, his voice sharp. Gear up around him. The raid team tightened their grips. Minwo took point, marching forward like a general. The squad fell in line, stepping into the shimmering vortex. Go time, 11:28 M location. The burning dunes crunch. Boots sank deep into the scorching earth immediately. Damn it, someone cursed. It's a desert biome. How are we supposed to fight in quicksand? It's boiling out here, Min. Wu clapped his hands loudly. Listen up, the commanding tone froze the complainers. Who's the suit? Someone whispered. Min Wu flashed a practiced corporate smile. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Cha Min Wu from Chunghei, the nation's number 13 guild. A ripple of shock went through the crowd. Chunghei City OCD. The Chunghei guild is here. That's the elite-only guild, right? Min Wu raised a hand to silence them. Now, as you all know, flying solo in a gate of this magnitude is suicide. But with a squad this size, chaos is our enemy. We don't want friendly fire or reckless moves getting us killed, right? He paused for effect, so I'm putting a deal on the table. A player frowned. A deal. Min Wu held up a single finger. 1 million won, that's the cash bonus, for anyone who follows my orders to the letter. In exchange, his eyes narrowed slightly. My guild claims the boss drop. The Ash Fox core is ours. That sent shock waves through the crowd. Say what? Why is everyone screaming like that? You guys seriously gunning for the core? You haven't even coughed up the 30 million won you owe us yet. How exactly do you plan on snagging the Ash Fox's core? Without Kyan, he's back up. Minwoo smoothed things over with a slick corporate tone. Look, our guild is already being incredibly generous here. Anyone gets cold feet. The offer drops to 500,000 won. Take it or leave it. That threat sent the mob into another frenzy. I'm in. Hey, Mr. Kim, count me in too. If we sign up, you guys are providing hydration, right? Just then, Juno strode past the commotion. Eyes fixed forward, Minwo stared at his retreating back. Totally bewildered. Hey, player Juno, aren't you rolling with us? Juno shot him a side eye. Cool as ice, nah. I work alone. Minwoo was left speechless. A nearby player scoffed, watching the scene. Called it the rumors were total hype. People call him a prodigy. But deciding to solo a hellscape like this, that's just a death. Wish don't waste your breath on him. Captain Minwo snapped back defensive. Who said I cared? Minwo barked out orders. All right. Lock and load. Meanwhile, Juno's footsteps didn't falter, carrying him deeper into the wastes. The relentless desert sun baked the landscape, wrapping him in suffocating heat. Juno analyzed the situation as he walked. The Ash Fox, a hybrid nightmare. Part monster, part myth. A raid boss that sprouts 9 tails after a millennium. Once those 9 tails manifest, it ascends to become a celestial fox. A guardian of its kin. More tails mean more firepower. Literally, it commands the fire foxes. I don't know if the Ash Fox in this gate has reached its full potential yet. Need to find a vantage point and scout first. Meanwhile, back at the main group, Minwoo felt a sudden tremor beneath his boots. He whipped his sword out, pointing it dead ahead. A massive pillar of sand erupted from the ground. A swarm of firefoxes burst from the dunes. Manhwa yelled, "Incoming firefoxes." He quickly switched to damage control. "Stay calm, follow protocol. Vice Captain, give me a head count." The Vice Captain responded instantly. Roughly 30 tangos, the beasts roared. Jaws unhinged, charging with savage intent. The players gripped their weapons. Knuckles' white Manhwa held his ground, waiting for the perfect split second. Right now the trap was sprung. Everyone channeled magic into the devices, planted in the rear. From massive pylons slammed into the sand. Energy crackled, arcing violently toward the firefoxes. The lead beast got zapped, body contorting in agony, creating a chain reaction that fried the rest. The players watched in suspense. Did it work? Manhwa smirked internally. Ego-inflating, watch and learn. You freaks, this isn't the Stone Age anymore. No weak weapons or trash traps here. He projected a shield as he charged. Witness the power of second-floor technology. The Vice Captain shouted over the noise. "We've wiped out over half of them." Captain Shaw, at this rate. The Ash Fox is in the bag. Manhwa laughed, satisfied. Less talking, more killing. Keep the pressure on. A player in the back line kept firing spells. Sighing with relief, man. I was sweating bullets about the Ash Fox. But this is a cakewalk. The ball player next to him grinned. That's the Chionhei Guild Advantage, baby. But their celebration was cut short by a massive shadow. It engulfed the two men, leaving them gasping. The bald player looked up confused. Why did it get so dark all of a sudden? His eyes went wide with terror. A majestic, terrifying Ash Fox loomed over them. He screamed, It's the boss." The beast landed, smack in the middle of the slaughtered firefoxes. Bodies were piled high on the sand. Blood soaked the dunes. The Ash Fox trembled with pure rage. It threw its head back and let out a roar that shook the heavens. System alert, the boss of the scorched dunes. The Ash Fox has spawned. The bald guy frantically counted 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. 9 tails, you gotta be kidding me. It's a 9-tailed fox the one Spectre barely beat. Was only a 6-tail version. Manhwa tried to salvage morale. Chill out, hold formation. Focus fire. But the players in the back were shaking like leaves. Captain Cha, Manhwa-chan, he is with us. We can take this thing. Manhwa gripped his sword. Calculating, doesn't matter what kind of monster it is. Heart and head are still the weak points. He stared down the Ash Fox, radiating confidence. My traps are next level. Stronger than anything we've used before. Once you step and you're not checking out. He grinned, eyes full of ambition. Today's the day I bagged the Ash Fox and surpassed Spectre. The fox locked eyes with Manhwa. It opened its maw and unleashed a hellish torrent of fire. A wave of flames crashed toward the players. Everyone hit the deck, burying their faces in the sand. Manhwa looked up, and his heart sank the pylons. His high-tech traps were shattered. He gritted his teeth, hissing. None of our weapons even scratched it. Manhwa hit absolute rock bottom. Every trap, every strat useless. Staring down the Ash Fox, he felt completely lost. How do you even begin to hunt a monster like this? It seemed impossible. Meanwhile, the Ash Fox began charging up a fresh blast of hellfire. Manhwa lowered his head, accepting his fate. This was a game over. But then, a shadow stepped into the light, blocking the kill zone. Junho had appeared out of nowhere. Manhwa looked up, totally confused. Sayo. Junho, he screamed. Losing it, are you crazy? Get out of the way. But Junho just casually drew his blade. Cool as ice, I got this. That calm demeanor only made Manhwa freak out more. The Ash Fox cranked up the energy, forming a massive fireball in its maw. It snapped its head forward, launching the orb of destruction. The blinding light forced Manhwa to look away. It's over, he thought, but a split second later, Junho sliced that fireball clean in half. With a single stroke, his face was stone cold. Total focus, showing zero fear. Manhwa's eyes popped open, unable to believe the scene. Juno's sword hand trembled just slightly. From the impact, he glanced at his hand, thinking we were doomed from the start. Looking at the squad battered and bleeding, waiting for heals, he asked himself, is surviving enough? Juno's voice cut through the noise. Cold and commanding, get the living out of here now. Manhwa was helped up, stammering. But what about you? Juno glanced back, a smirk playing on his lips. Juno pointed his blade at the beast. Oozing confidence, I'm going to handle business. The Ash Fox dug its massive claws into the sand. It threw its head back, letting out a roar that shook the earth. Juno didn't blink. I said go. A teammate grabbed Manhwa. Captain, let's move. The squad retreated, leaving Junho alone in the arena with the beast. A satisfied grin spread across his face. Finally, the dead weight is gone. He turned to the Ash Fox, eyes gleaming. Shall we have some fun? The beast hissed, furious. Every single one of its tails lit up, blazing with intense fire. Juno launched himself into the air. weaving through the barrage of fire orbs like a ghost, pushing forward, but the fox wasn't playing. Another wave of heat-seeking missiles locked onto him. Instantly, he spun around, conjuring a wall of ice to block. The thick frost absorbed the heavy hit from the energy, deflecting the fireball. Juno gritted his teeth behind the shield, analyzing. Just as I thought, it's zoning me out. Still, he danced through the chaos, skating on ice trails to close the gap on the ash fox. The beast's eyes narrowed, locking onto him with lethal intent. Then the fox reared back, charging a sphere of destruction way bigger than before. Juno's eyes went wide. That thing is colossal. He froze for a microsecond. One hit and I'm toast. And then that giant fireball slammed into the ground. Right where he stood, boom. White smoke and sand blasted everywhere. Debris flew across the arena. The smoke slowly cleared, but the ash fox stood still, watching, waiting. Its nose twitched. It sensed something. Suddenly, Jun-ho flashed out of the smoke, delivering a wicked slash across the fox's body. Fur drifted down like snow. The fox realized too late. Jun-ho was right on top of it. He landed squarely on its now hop. Jun-ho vaulted high into the air as the fox unleashed a breath of fire. He created midair ice platforms to step on. He was doing everything to get in close. The fox's power scaled with its number of tails. Jun-ho focused his mana, coating his blade in absolute zero frost. He made a snap decision. So what happens if I drop the tail count? No hesitation, he swung hard, severing one of the tails. The ash fox shrieked, rearing up in agony. The stump froze over instantly. Juno smirked, confidence surging. Bingo. Its power level is definitely dropping. Night had fallen outside. A crowd of reporters was camped by the gate. Desperate for a scoop, one guy slurped his cup noodles, checking his watch nervously. Man, 10 hours since the players went in. The last team survived 2 days. He muttered. His buddy slapped the back of his head. Furious, shut your mouth. You jerk, don't jinx them. He stared at the glowing gate, solemn. All we can do is pray they make it out alive. Meanwhile, back inside the dungeon, Juno rained down ice shards. They pinned and froze the fox's remaining tails, making the monster howl in pain. Junho stood back, cold and calculating. First time feeling pain, huh? He walked forward, voice dripping with menace. You have no natural predators. You just hunt players. It never occurred to you that one day you'd be the prey. Did it? The ash fox snapped, eyes burning with rage, desperate. It swiped its razor-sharp claws at him. A final lethal strike meant to kill. One hit and it's game over. But the beast whiffed it now. It's scrambling. Desperate to locate him, Junho bursts out from below. Total ambush, he swings his blade with lethal intent. Taunting, hey, were you looking ugly slash? The blade cuts right across the ash fox's eye. Blood sprays everywhere like a geyser. The beast reels back, howling in agony. But it's not done. It starts conjuring a barrage of fireballs. It launches them like a machine gun. Juno charges through the flames, locking onto his target and swings for another strike. This time he slices right across its massive snout, before backflipping away to safety. The ash fox rears its head, charging up one massive energy sphere. It's pouring every last ounce of strength into this final desperation move. Juno looks up with a cold smirk. Tragic. Why struggle when you know you're already dead? He extends a hand, frost energy swirling around his fingers. You feel that he clenches his fist, snap. Instantly, absolute zero freezes the ash fox from the inside out. Pure agony, it's over. The monster dies mid-scream. Frozen solid, Jun-ho lets out a heavy, exhausted sigh, then his legs give out, and he face plants into the sand as he blacks out. The system notification pings. You have defeated the ash fox. Reward: ash fox core acquired. Outside, the sun starts to rise. Reporters swarm the area like vultures. Whoa, they're out. No way. Did they actually clear it? The gate turns green. Success. The crowd goes wild. Only 13 hours. That's insane. They cleared it. That's faster than the last team's failure record. Reporters are shouting into microphones. Players are exiting the green gate right now. One reporter screams, it's him. The first one out is Cha Min-woo. Cha Min-woo from the Cheonghae Guild. Seeing him carrying a teammate, the press mob surges forward. We need a statement. Meanwhile, medics are shouting, move. Injured coming through, as they rush stretchers to the players, while the walking wounded get bombarded with questions. Jun-ho is quietly loaded onto a gurney. Out cold, a medic patches up Min-woo. First aid is done. You heading to the hospital. Min-woo looks up, hesitating. No. He glances at the wall of cameras and freezes. I think I need to clear something up first. The crowd is chanting his name. Jia Min-woo, Jia Min-woo. Blinding flashes pop continuously as they grill him. Did you lead the raid? Give us a statement. How does it feel to be a hero? The questions keep coming. Did the fox really have 9 tails? What was the difficulty level? You're trending #1 right now. You always said you wanted to be a hero. How does victory taste? Min Woo goes silent. He looks over at the unconscious Juno. Guilt written all over his face. So this is what it feels like. He thinks the adulation, even when it's undeserved. It's intoxicating, it's addictive. His mind drifts back to a classroom memory. A simpler time today, we're talking about dreams. The teacher smiles warmly. Minwoo, why don't you start us off young? Minwoo beams when I grow up. I'm gonna be a great hero. Just like Spectre snapped back to reality. Shoulders slumping, he looks down. Then he faces the cameras. I'm not the one who should be standing here. Let me tell you what really happened inside that gate. Time skip. Junho groggily opens his eyes. He spots the 4-drip hospital. Just then Sian walks in. You finally awake. Junho blinks. Secretary Cha, she doesn't waste time. It's 6 in the morning, you're at Hankook Hospital. How are you feeling? Junho sits up. Rubbing his temples, I'm good. SIO nods while you were out. I reviewed your commission requests. You were right about the early bird getting the worm. Junho swings his legs off the bed. Is that so? SIO panics. Hey. Where you going? Dragging his ivy pole with him. He replies casually to see Chairman Choi Pil-ho. He's probably outside. Un chases after him, yelling, Mr. SCO, you haven't recovered yet. Yunho waves here off her legs. I just passed out from exhaustion. He flashes a satisfied grin. I'll rest after I visit the real patient. Let's roll cut to Junho arriving at Pil-ho's residence. The chairman welcomes him with open arms. I appreciate you coming really, but are you sure you're up for this? I heard you collapsed inside the gate. Junho scratches the back of his head, laughing awkwardly. Yeah. Guilty, just a power nap. I was a little winded. Pil-ho looks relieved. Well, if you say so. This is it, the old man whispered, gesturing toward the heavy oak door. My daughter's room. Junho didn't hesitate. He pushed inside. The first thing that hit him was the sound. The rhythmic haunting beep. Beep of life support. A web of 4 lines snaked into the girl's pale, fragile arm dam. Juno's gaze darkened as he scanned her vitals. She's fading. This is way worse than I expected. He reached into his inventory, pulling out a pulsating orb of raw power. Clock's ticking, he thought. Urgency gripping him, but the moment that energy flared, Gilho recoiled in the doorway, eyes wide with pure primal terror. Crap. Juno shoved the orb back into his pocket, looking genuinely flustered. My bad, totally forgot the heat radiating off this thing. It's toxic for civilians. You need to clear the room now. Gilho stumbled back, trembling, his face drained of color. I trusted you, the father's stammered voice shaking. But using something that lethal on my dying girl, is that actually safe? I'm terrified. Juno kept his voice steady, cutting through the panic. Look, you're right. Most people would burn up instantly, but I'm using the exact technique Spectre used. Trust me, I've got this. The mention of a legendary hero finally seemed to calm the old man's nerves. Chairman, Sim, he filled you in. Rumor has it he was tight with Spectre. Junho nodded, his face unreadable. Yes, something like that. Relief washed over Gilho. He gripped Junho's hand, desperation burning in his eyes. Please just save my little girl. It'll be over before you know it. Junho flashed da confidência maio. The door clicked shut, leaving him alone with the silence and the patient. He resumed in the Fox core. The crimson glow illuminated her ghost-like features. This is bad, even worse than the last case I handled. Gotta play this smart. I'll use the core's inferno to carefully thaw out that frost curse. Wait, Juno froze mid-motion. A holographic window shattered his train of thought. The system pinged, detected concentrated energy from target. Absorb utilizing skill frost. Juno stared at the blue text. Say what now? The notifications kept scrolling. Absorption will permanently increase magic stats. Juno blinked, brain short-circuiting. You gotta be kidding me. Frosty X, the ultimate ability. 0 weaknesses, perfect offense. Perfect defense, but this. Are you telling me this skill can actually feed on energy? To buff my stats, he glared at the status screen, trying to process the impossible logic. Even the S-rank Shadow Watch couldn't pull this off. This was uncharted territory. No, this was evolution. Frost was doing something brand new. Unless, memories of the ancient dungeon on the 2nd floor. Flashback. The Shadow Watch had found a similar incantation. Back then, is it the dark attribute connection? He gritted his teeth. Screw it. This is too good not to test. He glanced back at the unconscious girl. He's done research later. Saving her life comes first. The 19 frostbite isn't waiting. Clock's ticking if I stall. She dies. He hovered his hand over her chest. Gold purge every ounce of that icy energy. Junho locked in showtime. He pushed a stream of mana directly into her core. Flashback when he was Spectre. He used to brute force this, blasting yang energy to shatter the curse, like a hammer hitting glass. It was risky, brutal on the patient's body. But back then, it was the only way. Not anymore. His movements were precise, surgical. This time is different. I'm not just pushing the cold out. I'm eating it. Beads of sweat formed on his forehead. Absorbing the excess, it balances the thermal shock. Way safer than the nuke option. In the hallway, Gilho was a wreck, mumbling prayers into his hands. Cian stood like a statue, watching, waiting. A soft tap on the shoulder snapped the old man back to reality. The door creaked, opened, Juno stepped out. Gilho's head snapped up well. Gilho's voice cracked. Junho wiped a sheen of exhaustion from his brow, exhaling sharply, then the $1,000,000 smile. Nailed it. She's 100% clear. No side effects, nothing. Gilo crumbled, weeping openly, dropping to his knees in pure gratitude. Later in the limo, just a reminder. Yun said, checking her tablet. Your vacation activates the second we hit the association HQ. And try to avoid them. Strenuous activity. Juno rolled his eyes. Yeah, got it, Mom. He leaned forward, flashing a grin. Honestly, I only pulled this off because of you. Secretary Cha couldn't have done it without the assist. Sun actually froze for a second. Before she could retort, Gilho chimed in. Juno, I've been thinking about how to settle this debt. My first instinct was to just throw more cash at you. But somehow I feel like that's not your style. Junho shrugged, playing it cool. Just doing the job, sir. Modest, I like that. Gilho grew serious. So here's the deal. If you ever find yourself in a bind, the entire Myung-ho group will have your back. No questions asked. We're talking about the #1 conglomerate in Korea. Their fingers are in every pie politics, media tech, but they're real ace in the hole. Gilho's eldest son runs the Red Tower Guild, ranked #5 in the entire nation. Having a heavy hitter like that on speed dial, that's a game changer. Junho suppressed a grin and bowed. I'm honored. I'll handle this with kid gloves. Wouldn't want to tarnish Myunho's rep. Junho flashes a $1,000,000 grin. Just say the word, man. You're the savior of this family. Cut to the association headquarters. Diego burst into laughter, clutching his phone. Just got off the line with Chairman Choi Pil-ho. Dude is absolutely shook. His daughter is bouncing back, but he's obsessing over your health. Juno sinks deep into the plush sofa. Just a little muscle soreness. Nothing major. Dayaku's jaw drops to the floor. You gotta be kidding me. You chugging secret elixirs on the sly. Juno taps away on his interface, shaking his head as if massive level up, plus a stack of Regan skills. Simple math. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. He whips out the 9-tailed fox core boom. Dayaku freezes, hit by a wave of raw power. Is at the core. John Ho shrugs. Yep. And I didn't waste it on the chairman's kid. He breaks it down calmly. I use my frost skill to siphon off just the EN energy. Diego slams the table, shooting up. That's actually possible. Juno chills out. According to the system, yeah. Jacked up my magic stats too. Frost creeps over the core, sealing it in a layer of ice. Stumbled on a neat little hack. Frost can drain EN energy from literally any target. Deca leans and eyes wide awake. If that's true, Juno cuts him off. It's not just for weird diseases like Severdeen. I can probably drain artifacts too. Dayaku tilts his head, gears turning as he processes the info. So you're telling me to go shopping for specific gear? Juno smirks, eyes glinting. Who's a good boy? That's the Daku I know. But here's the kicker, the energy level. That's severed EN condition. The system only flagged it as intermediate energy. Diego frowns deep in thought. An incurable curse is only intermediate. Seriously, so trash tier items won't do a thing for you. Juno nods. Pretty much. The realization hits all right. Loud and clear. I'm on the hunt for the premium stuff. You hit the market. Juno chuckles, looking wistful. Man, the player market. It's been a minute. Daioku points a warning finger. Do not cause a scene. Junho recoils dramatically. Mistar drama. Where is this coming from? Cut to the player market. The massive hub connecting all Korean branches. It's a global nexus. You grab gear at the gate and trade secrets in shadows. Even civilians flock here, making it a total zoo. Junho blends into the crushing crowd, thinking how long to the Insadong branch. This place is way more packed than the old days. He scans the bustling streets. After the gates opened, everyone was just fighting to survive. Economy tanked. This place was a ghost town. A genuine smile touches his lips. Glad to see it alive again. Focus target. Black market. He spots a cinema. Sound of a concert drift out. Freeze up, never melt down. Ignoring the pop lyrics, Ho slips inside. Row 8 seat, G10. The VIP seat, not for movies, but for business. It's a war point straight to the black market. He settles in, cool as ice. This warp tech is high-tier stuff. Sky's voice echoes in his memory. We have infinite energy gate tech everywhere. And teleporting still gives you motion sickness. And it's so dim I'd rather just blink there myself. Juno grins at the old memory. Soon he closes his eyes. I'll see you guys soon, Flash. Welcome to the underground city, Etopia. The black market vibe check. Totally different, no VIP status. No entry, it's a dark harbor, where the scum of the earth dock. The global drain for loot suddenly, oi. Watch where you're looking, brat. My bad whispers float through the smog. Here, that sword saint. Kim Woojung is Mia. Is the association covering up the Nightshade sighting? No tour guides here, no civilians allowed. It's the underworld, laws don't exist. Suddenly a voice cuts through the noise, yo. Check it at 6 o'clock. Is that SEO Junho? The Frostgate guy, a chill runs down his spine. Safety is definitely not guaranteed here. Junho scans the crowd, smirk returning. He's ready the odds of running into anyone who actually poses a threat. Slim to none, he calculated the risks in silence. The real top-tier players have already ascended to the upper floors. The scrubs left down here. They're either too weak to clear the second level, or they cracked under the pressure and came crawling back either way. I could solo this entire lobby without breaking a sweat. Against this caliber of trash, please. He shot a cold glare at the obstacle in front of him and dropped a single command move. But the two goons just stood there, frozen like statues then. After a tense beat, the intimidation worked. They silently stepped aside, totally folding under the pressure. Junho raised an eyebrow, genuinely surprised, huh? They actually listened as he stepped inside. The shopkeeper was already rolling out the red carpet. The old man took one look at Junho and practically squealed, well, look who it is. If it isn't the most famous man in all of Korea. Junho just kept it cool. I'm just here to inspect the merchandise. The owner pointed toward a corner display. The artifacts are right over there in that cabinet. Knock yourself out. Junho scanned the shelf and running a mental appraisal. Not what I'm looking for, but this is some serious high-end gear. System notifications started popping off. Inflicts low-grade frostbite on impact. Inflicts minor energy damage. Inflicts light frost aura. Even a low-ranked noob could get a serious mana boost equipping this stuff. Also, he cut the silence. His gaze suddenly sharp enough to cut glass. I heard a rumor he grilled the shopkeeper. Word on the street is you've got a private stash. The really rare stuff. Something an intern accidentally sold. The accusation hit home. The shopkeeper slammed his hand on the counter, rattled. He screamed, that's a lie. Total fake news, who told you that garbage? Junho just smirked, I know it's true. That's why I'm here. He could tell the guy was sweating. This dude has zero poker face. Junho pulled out an item from his inventory. Tell you what, let me take a peek. And I'll clear out some of your display stock right now. Plus, this little trinket is yours. Hush money, the greedy merchant finally caved, grumbling as he stood up. Geez, which big mouth leaked that intel? He punched a code into a keypad. As the hidden door slid open, the merchant changed his tune. Right this way. He stepped aside, revealing the treasure. This is the cream de la creme, our absolute top-tier inventory. Junho scanned the room with a critical eye. Kept in mint condition, but nothing with dark attributes. Figures dark items are ultra-rare drops. Suddenly something caught his eye. Ice attribute, the shopkeeper shrieked. Don't touch that. He was hyperventilating now. It's cursed. That thing has a massively powerful hex on it. Anyone who equips, it gets frozen solid. But Junho slipped it on, and absolutely nothing happened. The shopkeeper stood there, jaw on the floor. It was the sealed gauntlets of the Ice Queen's sorrow. The system interface flashed. Effect emits minor frost aura. Item can be purified through absorption. A small smile played on Junho's lips. If I can get this to mid-tier, the frost energy will sync perfectly with my 9 severance. He was satisfied. This could help me farm mana, just like back then. Making up his mind, Junho announced, I'll take this and everything I looked at earlier. The shopkeeper, sweating bullets, bowed profusely. Thank you. Transaction complete. Junho headed straight for the bar. The bartender did a double take as he approached. The regulars inside stopped their drinking to eye the fresh meat. Junho ignored the stares and slid onto a stool. Give me a teleport to Incidon Market and pour me something strong while I wait. The bartender polished a glass, nodding. You got it, boss. Teleport system has a 10-minute cooldown, but in those 10 minutes, Junho had already drawn aggro from the guys behind him. Heavy footsteps se produjo. A thug loomed over him, voice dripping with mockery. Who do we have here? Isn't this the famous player? CEO Junho, we've heard all the stories. Haven't we, the talented rookie? All us veterans in the industry. We're betting you're gonna die a real, spectacular death. Junho just sipped his drink, unbothered. Done with the black market. I need a bounce. He knew how this world worked. Reputation was currency for players. Cloud is everything bloody sword. Kim Chul-suya, never heard of this clown. It determined whether you got the good quests or the top guild invites, however. If you can't flex actual gate achievements. To build hype, some losers resort to cheaper methods. Getting ignored set them off. One guy smashed his glass against the wall, Myung-jong drew his blade, pointing it right at Juno's face. A senior is talking to you. The hell is that look for? The rest of the mob started yelling. Blood boiling, you disrespectful little punk. We're going to teach you a lesson today. You only got to grow up safe, because I was out there clearing the dungeons. You get that? The guy thumped his chest high on his own supply. If I could just let my body do the talking. The mention of his 5 years of peak performance. That just cracked Junho up. He doubled over, clutching his stomach, laughing so hard he was practically vibrating. The gang of thugs stepped back, totally freak out. What was with this guy? Was he a total psycho? Juno let out a cold snort. Paving the way, he looked up, eyes dripping with mockery. That's what the Generation 1 players did. Not gutter trash like you guys. He straightened up, towering over them. You punks only have the guts to prey on rookies. All just to get your name in a single line of some cheap rag. The thug's face went ghost pale as he cursed. Hey, you bastard! Juno immediately snapped back, taunting him, quit barking. Come catch these hands. He stood there, completely unarmed, radiating pure menace. I need to teach you street rats a lesson. Only then will I feel better. But in a blink, the mob swarmed him. The onlookers started whispering, throwing shade. Is that SEO Junho? The guy trending lately, yeah. If he gets wrecked here and can't get up, he'll be headline news for sure. An old man watching from the back couldn't help but sigh, bullying a newbie for clout. Truly pathetic, the thug smirked. Full of arrogance, keep yapping. After the beatdown, everyone's gonna know the score anyway. Junho secretly gloating. SEO Junho, the guy who took down the fox, was about to get folded by the Gangnam trio. Junho suddenly turned to the bartender. How long until the warp? The bartender stammered. 4 minutes. Junho immediately stepped forward. 4 minutes, huh? He flashed a provocative grin. Just a light warm-up. Myung-jong spun his scythe, trying to flex, then he slashed the air violently. He spoke up, dripping with disdain. I am Jun Myung-jong of the Gangnam trio. Be honored you get to fight me. Wait, what's with that butter knife? Junho explained calmly, just checking the durability. Oh, this thing. He smirked with absolute contempt. Why would I need a blade to squash 3 roaches? That snapped the thug's patience. Myung-jong screamed as he charged. You piece of trash! Junho's eyes sharpened, tracking the attack, just a gentle movement. A simple head tilt, and he dodged it clean. In the same motion, Junho grabbed the guy's weapon. Barehanded, he yanked Myung-jong forward, throwing him completely off balance. Junho seized the opening, slammed a brutal elbow straight into his face. The players watching dropped their jaws, totally stunned, dead silence. No one could speak. Myung-jong was laid out flat in just 2 moves. Blood gushed from his nose and mouth. The hat-wearing thug screamed in frustration. Hey, moron, you challenged him and choked. The guy next to him started sweating bullets. Can I actually take him? But then he unleashed a storm of shurikens at Juno. The power and speed were undeniable. Juno spun, weaving through the projectiles effortlessly. Seeing Juno hold back, the thug yelled, "Fight back, coward!" The moment he spoke, he slashed at Juno. But no matter how many times he swung that blade, Juno blocked every single one. The last thug stood back, analyzing. He's still just a chick, he's dropped a few monsters, but he's never PvP'd for real. Those who think they've won, they always hesitate, and that split-second hesitation gets you killed. He chuckled to himself. Do you see it now? That's the skill gap between us and trash like you. From the start, we never planned to play fair. You arrogant prick, but reality hit different. The thug was the one getting owned. In a flash, Juno stomped his shoulder, snapping the arm. The thug could only scream and shake in agony. Juno turned back, eyes cold. The thug's face was drained of blood. He wondered what the hell just happened. He's just a noob looking at his 2 partners. Terror set in, he actually dismantled the Gangnam trio. But he kept fighting. No, this can't be. He threw another volley of darts. It wasn't over yet. Juno dodged them one by one. Closing the distance, he thought coldly. Back in the night, Goblin era, I dropped countless demons, all by reading their breathing patterns. Juno countered while dodging. In a split second, he was in the thug's face. The guy panicked, mouth hanging open as he stumbled back. Juno raised the dagger. Your breathing is way too loud. He stabbed straight through the thug's palms. The pain reduced the guy to gibberish. Pinned to the wall, he just screamed in shock. Junho walked over to where Myung-jong was lying and looked down. He dropped a cold question. Guess you don't need to save face anymore, huh? The thug's eyes widened in pure horror. Myung-chan scrambled onto his back, shaking like a leaf as he stammered. You God, I swear on my life, I won't even dare look at your shadow ever again. Satisfied, Junho slowly turned his back and walked away. Suddenly, the surrounding players erupted into screams. Snapping June, Ho's focus back to the crowd. He actually won. The crowd went wild, hyping up the moment a total rookie just wiped the floor with 3 players who had 5 years of experience. Insane, right? Someone get the press on the line. As the crowd chanted his name, Junho couldn't help but feel baffled by the reaction. This world is twisted. You've got scumbags willing to crush others just to feed their own greed. Yet instead of checking on the injured, everyone's too busy worshiping the guy who threw the punches. And right on cue, the bartender signaled. The teleportation system was prepped. There are only 3 ways to survive in this madhouse. First, you go crazy like the rest of them. Second, you turn off your emotions. Or third, you embrace solitude. With a cold expression, he stepped into the portal. Junho emerged on the other side, stretching his limbs with a lazy yawn. He let out a helpless sigh, tilting his head back to gaze at the high sky. He murmured softly, "Man, I really miss you guys." Meanwhile, a photo of Junho, pinning a thug's hands to the wall with a knife, was already going viral inside a sleek car in. Ho analyzed the data while driving. This shot was snapped at the black market. Just minutes ago, rumor has it, 30 players, all level 20 or higher, were completely decimated by a single person. With overwhelming power, in my opinion. This guy's got serious potential. But what do you think, Princess? Beside him, Yuha silently bit into her ice cream, humming thoughtfully as she chewed. A moment later, she turned with a grin. "So what's his name?" Junho narrowed his eyes, barely tolerating the situation he was currently stuck in. Say cheese, he stared at the girl's phone in confusion, completely bewildered. Why the hell am I doing this with some random girl? He wondered. I can't even sneak away properly. She smiled brightly. Oops, sorry. Suddenly the crowd behind them erupted in rage. Hey, how long are you going to take with that photo? People are waiting in line here. Hearing that, Junho jerked his head up and shouted in panic. What waiting? Alarm bells started ringing in his head. If this keeps up, I'm never going to make it home before dinner. Suddenly a voice cut through the noise. Player, SEO Junho. He spun around to see Yuha and Inho waiting for him. She lowered her sunglasses, flashing a charming smile. Hey, got a minute to chat? Junho paused, confused. Who is this? He quickly sized her up. Bright orange hair, radiating intense heat energy. I can feel the power just standing near her. Only one person fits this description. A member of the Big 6 guilds. The Dokibi Princess Gong Yuha. Right then, she extended a business card toward him. "All right, here's my card. I'm not some weirdo, promise." Internally, he rejoiced. I knew it. Junho took the card. Hiding a smirk, approached by the Dokibi Guild. "Is she scouting me? This feels pretty damn good." Yuha broke his train of thought. "If you're free, want to grab coffee nearby and talk." He accepted immediately. Sounds great. Let's roll. Perfect. He thought, I need to get the hell out of here. The long line of people started shouting protests. What? He's leaving? That's SEO Junho. Man, famous players have it easy. Mission accomplished. Escape to Cafe Eden. Yuha couldn't help but let out a dramatic sigh. I'm literally dripping sweat. She ripped off her sunglasses and mask, complaining, I hate going outside. I despise the heat, but I'm stuck wearing all this gear. Junho raised an eyebrow, curious. Wait, don't you have fire abilities? She frantically fanned herself with her hand. That's exactly the problem. I actually like cold things. Rumor has it even demons are terrified of her. Is this ordinary looking girl really the Dokibi princess? Inho set a glass down. Here's your ice, princess. Yuha lit up your lifesaver. As Inho handed Junho his water, Junho thanked him quickly, then turned to face Yuha head on. So what does the Dokibi Guild want with me? She didn't hesitate for a second. You want to join us? Junho blinked. Taken aback, you make it sound so casual. It's the Dokibi Guild, not a grocery run. Yuha took a sip of water, shrugging. The Vice Guild Master ordered me to recruit you. Going through the official process takes forever. She looked up, pointing a finger right at him. I plan to make the final call after meeting you face to face. And congrats, you passed. Junho was still totally lost. Passed in what sense exactly? Yuha tapped her chin, thanking him. Well, first off, your achievements. They're more than enough to warrant a personal visit to the so-called super rookie. Hearing the praise, he remained indifferent, thinking true. There's no one else at my level who could even touch me. Not with the skills I've got. She continued listing his stats. You also scored insanely high in tactical, thinking close quarters combat, and future potential. It clicked for him. Wait, so you heard about what went down at the market? Yuha tilts her chin up, locking eyes with him, as a satisfied smirk plays on her lips. I dig it, you're a total savage in a fight, but there is one final thing I gotta check. Is your main skill legit? Just D rank weapon mastery. Junho lowers his coffee cup with deliberate slowness, looking completely unbothered. Yeah, that's right. At least that's what the fake profile says. Yuha doesn't even blink instead. She leans in closer, hearing that. Just makes me want you on my squad even more. She keeps layering on the charm. Try to hook him, just think about the flex. You're dominating at this elite level, with nothing but a trash tier skill. That is wild. Imagine the possibilities. If you leveled up your arsenal, sign with us, and you're not just getting a membership. You're getting access to a library of God tier skill books, and it gets better. Our coordinator will personally curate a training regimen tailored specifically for your growth. Junho eyed the book on the table, feeling the weight of the offer impressive. Inside, the gears were turning and hesitation began to creep in. It wasn't just the insane resources and benefits. The incentives and salary completely blew the association out of the water. No wonder all the heavy hitters were jumping ship. Top-tier guilds don't reach the summit by accident. Yuha pressed her advantage, leaning in above all else. Remember that. We are one of the mightiest guilds on the planet. Our intel on the second floor makes the association's data look like scribbles on a napkin. Don't you agree you'd be better off with us than stuck at the association? She flashed a radiant winning smile, her inner monologue screaming victory. Zero chance. He walks away. We are Dokabi for crying out loud, and I didn't just send a grunt. I came here personally as a captain. But right then, Juno bowed his head slightly. I'm afraid I have to decline. You are running on autopilot. Waved her hand dismissively. Yeah, sure. Speak freely from now on, but the second the words actually registered in her brain, she slammed her palm against the table. Bam, she shot up from her seat. Excuse me, why? Inside, Juno's mind was already made up. Sure, joining Dokibi means swimming in cash and glory. But there's no such thing as a free lunch in this world. Their orders are absolute. I'd be nothing more than a cog in their machine, forced to run whatever errands they throw at me. It looks shiny now, but eventually those perks become chains. Yuha stared at him, completely blanking. Did you misunderstand what I said? Juno didn't skip a beat. I know Dokibi put a fantastic offer on the table, but have you ever heard the saying, better to be the head of a snake than the tail of a dragon? Yuha threw her hands up in defeat. I get now. But internally, her assessment of him shifted instantly. Head of a snake over the tail of a dragon, huh? He's sharper than I gave him credit for. Even if he joined Okabi, he'd spend ages grinding, just to climb the internal ranks. A place packed with the elite of the elite is a shark tank of competition. After all, still, she couldn't resist one last check. So you're really not going to join us? The answer, however, remained cold. I'm sorry. Yuha stood up, smoothing out her clothes. Well, my hands are tied. I can't exactly drag you in by force. Just a piece of advice, watch your back moving forward. Junho smirked, teasing her immediately. Is that a threat, planning some revenge? She practically shrieked, frantically waving her hands. No, absolutely not. We aren't that petty. Then her expression hardened. Listen, demonic activity has spiked recently. Even on the first floor, Juno locked eyes with her, his playful demeanor vanishing. You mean they're plotting something? Yuha hesitated. It's highly likely. The association is probably in the dark, which is why I'm tipping you off. I'd be pretty disappointed if you got jumped by them, because you were clueless. After dropping that bombshell, Juno gave her a genuine smile. Thank you, she waved casually as she walked out. Catch you later, Mr. Snakehead. The new nickname amused him, Mr. Snakehead, huh? Later back at the association, he filled Dioku in on the meeting. Dioka looked rattled. The demons are making moves again. Junyo nodded firmly. Dokibi has no reason to lie to me about this. It's gotta be legit. A heavy silence filled the room. After a moment, Dioku spoke up, his voice somber. I knew their intel network was faster than ours, but to this extent, he turned to Junho, concern written all over his face. By the way, no regrets turning them down. Gong Yuha practically begged you to join. Junho leaned back, looking totally unbothered. Not really sure. I could have had the money and the fame if I tagged along with them, but honestly, that stuff doesn't hype me up. He glanced at Diogo. Wait, why the long face? Did you want me to leave? Daiku lowered his head, looking like a kicked puppy. No. I thought they could offer you way more than we can. Juno turned bright red before letting out a dramatic sigh. Look, big guilds are suffocating you and the association. Let me do whatever I want. That's what matters. Daiku's eyes welled up with tears instantly. Junho, he happily shoved a document toward him. All right, then let's renew your contract right now. I'm moving you to the penthouse suite too. Junho blinked, startled. Wait, like, right now, I appreciate the love, but is that actually allowed? Without a shred of hesitation, Dioku slapped the contract into his hand. Absolutely. You're the guy the big six are chasing. Our budget isn't exactly pocket change. You know, and as for the intel gap, we'll work our butts off to catch up. Hearing that, Juno couldn't help but smile. He scribbled his signature on the paper. Thanks, man. With the deal sealed, he asked, one more thing, which floor should I hit? Dioku shot back instantly. Floor 77, without missing a beat. Juno spun on his heel and walked off. Cool. I'll start packing the gear then. But before stepping out, Juno paused, glancing over his shoulder. almost forgot schedule the West Sea Gate raid. For exactly 1 week from today, Diogo blinked totally confused. A whole week? Why drag out that long? Then it clicked. He stared at Juno suspicious. Wait a sec, are you planning to hunt down those demons? Juno just gave a calm, dismissive wave. Bingo. Once the bait is set, you have to be patient. He said, a subtle smirk playing on his lips. That's the only way to reel in the big fish. Breaking news flooded every screen. SEO Junho attempts to conquer the East Sea Gate. The anchor was practically vibrating with excitement. This is absolutely unprecedented, folks. If he pulls this off, Korea will officially become the world's first safe zone. Imagine a country with 0 unconquered gates. The Korean Player Association just confirmed. They've renewed their contract with player Chio Juno, cementing their alliance. Rumor had it Chio Juno had straight up rejected an offer from the Dokkaebi Guild to stick with the association. That's right, the super rookie went on record, saying he's challenging the East Sea Gate. The whole world is watching, desperate to see what happens. Meanwhile, deep in the shadows, Signer sat alone in a dark corner. Suddenly his voice cut through the silence. Get over here, Guff materialized. Looking rattled, you summoned me. Master, a holographic interface popped up, leaving the demon stunned. Guff stammered, unsure of what he was seeing. This guy Signer's voice was ice cold. He's the one wielding Tempest. Hearing that name, Guff couldn't stop a shiver from running down his spine. You mean the weapon that was supposed to be in Tusovic's inventory? Signer leaned back, unbothered. Obviously, he hid it from the public. This guy found proof that Tusovic was wiped out by demons. He's onto us. He's going to be watching his back. Guff asked urgently, should I head down to the first floor? But Signer shut that idea down immediately. We have 0 proof, and risking a head-on collision with the association. Right now, not worth it. True, who else can we use then? Guff's mind raced. If it's the first floor, what about the Shadow Brothers? The ones we were saving for the Vegas showdown. Those guys are thirsty for power. They stand out even among top-tier players. Senior mulled over then, made the call fine. Dispatch them to the East Sea Gate. Doesn't matter if they actually kill SEO Junho or not. Just as the words left his mouth, Signer whipped around, eyes locking on the horizon. Something massive shook him to his core. A distant mountain literally exploded. Murderous intent flooded his gaze before he turned away. Seething, damn it, it's the Sword Saint. He was ready to bolt. Guff didn't need telling twice. He vanished, instantly understood. Senior's hand clenched at his side, pure frustration radiating off him. He bowed his head, anxiety eating at him. Sword Saint Kim Woo Jung of the 9 heavens. Even as an archer, I can't touch him yet. If not for him, Tempest would be mine. He's mocking me in the deadly silence. Saner hissed. Seo Yunho E. Saner, we'll be watching you until your luck finally runs dry. Juno looked up at the info board. Brows furrowed. He took the bait. The Shadow Brothers Americans joining as support medics. That's SUS as hell well. I can have Secretary Cha run a background check. He paused, looking up. All right then. His eyes snapped open, glowing with intensity. A massive surge of power erupted around him, then just as quickly dissipated. Standing in the center of the energy field, he muttered, I'll ground this energy into the floor. To train magic is a bit risky, but this method Sky taught me. It gets the best results. The energy formed a small, wagging tail. Juno touched it. Amused, look at that. It's like it's saying hello. His expression tightened, shifting back to business mode. I won't be able to use my shadow soldiers. Inside the East Sea Gate, East Island of the Forgotten Dragon. Just looking at the name, the boss is 100% a dragon. Dragons are high-tier nightmares. Clear condition, defeat the nameless dragon. That's a boss monster rookies can't even scratch. Juno fell into thought. I fought them a few times before, but honestly worst matchup for me. I can't fly. My only options are clinging to its back for a rodeo, or dragging the beast down to earth. Suddenly, a notification pinged, making him pause. Intel from SIN. Damn, she works fast. The Shadow Brothers Vincent and Eva. A 2-player team from the States. Veteran VIP escorts. Over 200 successful missions under their belt. Extremely rare case, where both siblings awakened shadow abilities. The file included their interview about joining the East Sea Raid. Dozens of camera lenses were shoved in their faces. Why are you going to the East Sea Gate? The duo answered in perfect unison. We felt SEO Jun Ho's passion calling to us. Jun Ho frowned as the reporters pressed on. Does this mean you're guaranteeing a victory? Vincent let out a teasing laugh. Just call it fanboying. The guy eats impossible missions for breakfast. Eva chimed in with a grin. We're honestly honored, helping him clear Korea's final unconquered dungeon. That's a career highlight. Juno stared at his phone screen, letting out a dry chuckle. Is this piece of junk actually going to work? High above, a flock of birds circled the sky. Below them, a literal dump reeking of decay. A rusty fence blocked the path, plastered with a sign screaming restricted area danger. BC Gate Raid Day. Gyaku scanned the chaos on the monitors. Local press is standard, but international paparazzi. It's a total zoo out here. The world was watching Gyaku panted, wiping sweat from his forehead. You nervous, Junho? Junho kept a poker face, terrified. Gyaku nodded, falling into his usual rhythm. Yeah, you're not. Wait. Gyaku jumped, eyes wide. You're actually nervous? Juno held up his phone, explaining calmly, this trash game keeps lagging. I'm stressing out, Gyaku snapped, turning to him. I told you to upgrade that brick ages ago. Why are you still using that ancient tech? He balled up a piece of paper and chucked it at Juno's head. Hey, focus up. We've got 500 million eyes watching this raid. I'm not distracted or scared. I took down the Frost Queen, remember. Why would I sweat over a nameless dragon? That doesn't even rate a proper title. Dioku paused, realizing he had a point. Fair. But you're not solo this time. The Knight siblings, no other team will touch them. Rumor has it they made a deal with devils. Their powerhouse is sure, but I don't trust them watching your back. Diak bit his lip. We don't have proof, but my gut says they're bad news. I want to abort this raid. I'm getting bad vibes, man. Juno lowered his voice, eyes sharp. Relax if they decide to turn on me. I've got a contingency plan. When they met, Vincent was all smiles, mister. Juno, Eva extended a hand, radiating fake warmth. We're huge fans. The guy stepped into Juno's personal space. We heard you swept 2 unconquered gates. Legend status. Vincent looked him up and down. With that skinny frame, wild. Juno just offered a polite, practice smile. No big deal. Vincent scratched his head, feinting awkwardness. Whoa. Polite too. Didn't expect you to speak such crisp English. Juno replied smoothly, I have a friend in the UK. Eva shot Vincent a side eye. Our translator app is slow, so I was worried. Vincent smirked back at her, signaling all good. Well, looks like we're set. Eva turned to Junho, expression serious. Korea's last unconquered gate. We know the stakes, we won't hold back. Junho nodded, don't worry. I'm ready to do whatever it takes. Meanwhile, reporters hyped up the international squad. On camera, the team looked like best buddies. If this raid succeeded, Korea would officially become the safest zone on the planet. When does a hunter feel true fear? The second they step into the abyss. No intel on the terrain. No clue what monsters are waiting. Senses are dialed up to 11. But hyperfocus is a double-edged sword. You get tunnel vision on the threat ahead, and you leave your back wide open. Eva's expression twisted into a predatory scowl. Now he's exposed, but at the last second. Vincent hesitated. He looked at Eva, panicked. Eva's face went rigid. Wait. Vincent stared at Juno's back and felt a primal terror grip his chest. Was that really an opening? Or a trap? Juno's aura turned pitch black. Eva went pale, sweat beading on her forehead. The killing intent vanished. Vincent hung his head, frustrated. Damn it, we missed the golden window. Vincent looked up, changing the subject. Is this an island? Eva whispered frantically. Mission aborted. We wait for the next chance. Let's find another opening. She switched instantly to a cheerful mask. Wow. Pretty windy in here, huh? Didn't expect a beach vibe inside a dungeon. Vincent scanned the area on edge. Where's this nameless dragon? I don't see a single mob. He cupped his hands and shouted. Junho, you see anything? Junho frowned, looking down. Something's wrong. The boss here doesn't even have a real name. Does this really feel like a one-star threat to you? Suddenly, a massive gust ripped through the air, dissolving the illusion. The siblings froze in their tracks. Juno stared at the ground, confused. Vincent looked up and screamed. What the colossal beast materialized out of thin air. Its gaze was pure, concentrated rage. A giant, I snapped, open, staring directly at the trio. Eva stammered, backing away. Is that the nameless dragon? Vincent was totally thrown off. What the hell was that vibe? He tried to play it cool, keeping his voice steady. Target locked. We found the location. So what's the play to take it down? SEO June. But when Eva glanced over her shoulder, the spot was empty. Junho had completely ghosted them. That shattered Vincent's composure. Instantly, he started freaking out. That little rat, where did he vanish to? Suddenly, a voice dripped with ice from the shadows behind them. Seriously, you guys can't even sense me standing right here. A massive shadow eclipsed the duo. It was Mumu the Beast, unleashed a roar so furious. It sent raw electricity crackling through the air. The system flashed a crimson warning. The forgotten dragon has descended. Mumu coiled back, its lungs filling for another deafening scream. Boom. A lightning bolt incinerated the ground, where they just been standing. Meanwhile, Junho chilled in a dark corner, watching the two of them scramble like roaches. He casually stood up, dusting himself off. All right, spill it. You two are working with the demons. Aren't you? While he spoke. The duo was struggling to survive the chaos. Eva snapped her head back, grit in her teeth, damn it. She planted her feet, flaring her aura to trigger Shadow Soldier. Then she barked a desperate order. Vincent, I'll draw the aggro, you go find SEO Junho. Vincent hesitated, his voice trembling. You sure you can solo this thing? She screamed back, furious. Do you know who I am? Just find that punk and drag him back here. Vincent didn't need telling twice. Copy that. Eva squared up against Mumu, unleashing a barrage of attacks while screaming, "Over here, you overgrown lizard." Meanwhile, Vincent sprinted into the tree line, his mind racing. Crap. When was the last time we botched a job this bad? If this ends up like the Las Vegas auction fiasco, we are literally dead meat. Suddenly, he froze mid-step. A silhouette was blocking his path. Vincent gritted his teeth, analyzing the figure. Just a rookie. Can't even mask his presence properly. Is Joe? Is that you? His knuckles turned white around his sword hilt. Listen, I'm holding off the dragon. We need backup. So he trailed off, then lunged forward with a vicious, lethal slash to intimidate him. Quit stalling and get moving. But his blade sliced through empty air. His eyes widened in pure terror as he looked down. The anxiety started to claw at his throat. The dense canopy turned the forest pitch black. This should be my home turf. My shadow skills thrive in the dark. But the atmosphere was heavy, suffocating. Why do I feel like prey right now? The shadows deepened, pressing in on him, sending Vincent into a spiral of confusion. What's happening? I felt his mana a second ago. He frantically scanned the perimeter, but the signal was dead, gone out of the void. Juno's voice whispered right behind his ear. So you really are a stooge for the dark forces. What a waste. Vincent spun around, leaping back to create distance, heart hammering against his ribs. His mind reeled. When did he get behind me? He stammered, playing dumb. SEO Junho, what? What are you talking about? Junho didn't buy it. He mentally ripped off the hero mask. I'm speaking plain English. Aren't I your fiend? Cut the act. Vincent tried to laugh it off, sweating bullets. Oh, come on, you're accusing me. Just because I got mad and took a swing at you. I only did that because you bailed on us first. Juno stared at him with dead eyes. Solid logic, really. But next time, you might want to hide those glowing red eyes first. Only fiends have those crimson pupils. Vincent flinched, instinctively slapping a hand over his face. Did I lose control? He'd been so careful. No one had ever suspected him. So he got sloppy. Juno pressed the advantage. What's the matter? Can't keep the monster on a leash. Vincent dropped the facade, his expression twisting into a sneer. You think I'll beg for mercy just because I'm busted? But please, that's for losers. He tossed his sword aside and let the dark aura explode. True demons rarely spawn in gates, but if you kill one and chug its blood, you mutate into one of us. The trade-off, your humanity rots away, replaced by pure, unadulterated cruelty, and you unlock the power of demonic energy. Every time I tap into this, he grinned, I get a rush better than any drug. A thick, corrupt mist enveloped him. Vincent sneered, murderous intent spiking. Let's start by chopping off those useless legs of yours. Yeah, he flicked his wrist, sending a volley of shadow spikes, screaming toward Juno, but the hero didn't flinch. He didn't even blink. Junho stood there, head bowed, face hidden in shadow. Then he snapped his gaze up, locking eyes with the monster coldly. He activated his signature tech, Night Walking. Vincent blinked, and the target was gone. He screamed. Where the hell did he go in a nanosecond? Juno materialized directly behind Vincent's spine. His voice was a low rumble. Back in the day, I could only mask a fraction of my presence. Vincent froze, goosebumps erupting over his skin. You silence swallowed the forest. Juno leaned in close. But I've had a lot of practice since then. Now I'm invisible. He's mastered at all senses acoustics, scent profiles, even the subtle flow of Mona's signatures. So take a wild guess, what's his next move? High above the chaos, Munmo hovered like a deity. Eva, fighting for his life, was fuming. Damn it, that thing is staying way above the cloud line. Suddenly a sharp rustle broke the tension behind him. Vincent popped out of nowhere, panic written all over his face, screaming, Eva. Eva glanced back, keeping his cool. Vincent, why are you flying solo? Where the hell is SEO Junho? Vincent stammered, breathless. Listen, the guy, he's sketchy. He knows we're with the dark faction. I tried tracking him with magic, but he ghosted me, that bastard. He's been sandbagging his true skills this whole time. Eva frowned, suspicious. Wait, if he's that good, how did you make it out alive? If he's really a monster, why let you just walk away? Vincent screamed again, desperate to be believed. No, I saw it with my own eyes. Eva snapped back, furious. You idiot, you got played. He bluffed you. Why wouldn't he crush us when we were split up? Whatever, he's gone now. So forget it, help me out here. I need a striker to take down the Void Dragon. I'll draw the aggro. Vincent blinked, confused. Huh? Is it really that op? Eva started breaking it down. It's not just strong, it's a nightmare. Any attack from the ground is literally useless. However, dragons have one fatal flaw. The reverse scale is called that, because the scales there grow in the opposite direction. Hearing this, Vincent pumped his fist, confidence surging. Bet on it, I'll use Shadow Step to get the high ground. But right then Manhwa unleashed hell. The beast's maw gaped open, charging a massive lightning blast. Eva screamed, incoming. Move the pressure from the impact was catastrophic. Everything in the vicinity was wiped out. Eva doubled over, spitting a mouthful of crimson. God damn it. Took massive backlash damage, because my shadow summons got vaporized. Seeing this, Vincent yelled in terror. Brother. Eva's eyes were blazing scarlet as he pointed forward, barking in order forget about me. Eyes on the prize, Vincent hesitated for a split second. A roger that. He immediately started charging a skill. Vincent locked in, sweating bullets as he aimed. He hurled the projectile, sending the attack flying straight at Manhwa. Boom. The explosion detonated right in the dragon's face, but the damage barely a scratch. Eva screamed in despair. You whiffed it. But look, it forced him to drop altitude. Vincent started spamming Shadow Step. In a blink, he landed squarely on Manhwa's spine. Pure rage filled his eyes. Vincent scanned the massive back of the beast. Is the spot higher up? Moments later, he spotted the anomaly in the armor. Bingo, found you. Vincent sprinted across the dragon's back. He gripped the reverse scale, his knuckles turning white from the sheer exertion. With a grunt, he yanked the scale free. Got it, but instantly the air crackled with static. Vincent froze, confused. Huh? No way this is. A voltage surge slammed down, leaving Eva watching from below in absolute horror. Vincent, meanwhile, Junho remained a statue in the shadows. Observing the chaos, he scoffed coldly. Absolute amateurs. Eva craned his neck, completely lost. What the hell is happening? Just then, Vincent plummeted from the sky, body ravaged by the blast. Eva screamed. Vincent, gritting through the agony. Vincent managed to choke out, brother. We screwed up, it's all over. Eva panicked. What are you talking about? Meanwhile, Manhwa let out a roar that shook the heavens, turning his gaze on them. Another bolt of lightning struck the exact spot. Juno watched the fireworks. Nonchalant as ever, you touch the reverse scale, you pay the price. Classic rookie mistake when raiding a dragon. Technically, the reverse scale is a weak point, but here's the catch: if you expose it, the dragon feels threatened and goes full berserker mode. Aggression levels spike through the roof, trying to tank a dragon in rage mode. We don't have the gear for that. Juno analyzed the situation calmly. Guess it's time to pop the ULT. He drew his bowstring tight. Hey, demon boy, don't kick the bucket yet. Buy me some time, I've got a shot to line up. Vincent was still scrambling for his life. Damn it, brother. Eva yelled back, equally stressed. Quit yapping my name, you're breaking my focus. Fear was starting to creep into his voice. Is this nightmare ever gonna end? Does this nameless dragon have infinite power scaling? We're cooked. Suddenly, a streak of light tore through the sky. The arrow pierced Manhwa's hide, eliciting a howl of pure agony. Eva blinked, stunned. Could that be Vincent? Equali shokid vispirid, seu junho. They exchanged confused glances. Eva clenched his fist, a realization hitting him right. He needs us alive if we die. Juno loses the game, because there is no way he can solo a void dragon. This is a 3-man raid or nothing. So the guy leans in, plotting with Vincent. If Junho keeps spamming attacks like that, he's gonna draw all the aggro from that dragon. That is our window to bail. Just hang in there a little longer. Meanwhile, Junho watches from the back, grinning like a predator. Oh wow. These guys leveled up their agility, huh? Not even bothering to fight back. Just straight up sprinting. Do they seriously think this nameless dragon is gonna switch targets to me? Hate to break it to you, but that rosy future you're dreaming of. Total fantasy. This place isn't an oasis, boys. It is a mirage. Juno locks in. Raising his bow one more time, he channels Ramona into the shaft. Juno is fully in the zone now. A beat later, he lets it fly. The arrow screams through the air. He does not hesitate, knocks another one, takes a breath, aims, and fires again. The force behind it is insane. He sizes up the situation. This should be enough to drop the beast. While this is going down, Eva is panting while running. Let's bag the hounds and dip. Yep, but inside he is fuming. That jerk Junho. Why did he suddenly stop moving behind them? Junho is just chilling with that cocky smile. Open your eyes and look, geniuses. He sits there totally mocking them. Why aren't you guys doing your jobs? Call this a hunt, you guys are playing tag. Vincent spots him and instantly loses it. You psycho, why are you here? Eva starts screaming too. You're supposed to be providing cover fire. From the back, Juno points casually. I mean, I already did. They look up, the sky is empty. Panic sets in as they yell. That dragon, we can't touch it. Did he really one-shot it that easily? Turns out Junho's arrow found its mark, right into Munmu not once, but twice bullseye. The old man finally collapses. Munmu's body is basically a pin cushion now. Staring at the corpse, the duo is absolutely shook. They snap their heads back to Juno, disbelief written all over their faces. No way dude's main weapon is a sword, right? Since when does he snipe like that? Juno cuts and cool as ice nope. He stands there radiating main character energy. He sighs Stormmaker bow, combined with my frost aptitude and confession of the dead. It just works. The two goons exchange a nervous glance. Eva switches up his vibe real quick. Hey buddy, we are on the same monster hunting team, right? Let's chat. Vincent puts on a fake smile too. You know how it is, we're just small fry. We will give you the signal locations. Just let us walk, okay? Juno does not even blink scram. I don't negotiate with trash. His inner monologue runs cold. You guys saw way too much. No loose, and the two realize he is serious and get mad. Alright then, Vincent snaps, screaming, "You gonna kill us?" He abandons reason and lunges straight at Junho. Junho's eyes are pure steel. In a split second, he deletes Vincent before the guy even knows he is dead. Vincent freezes, When did Eva screams from the back, Vincent? The guy completely loses his mind. He charges in, blindly screaming, "You bastard," before he can even land a hit. Juno sidesteps and counters. He skewers Eva without a shred of mercy. The guy's eyes bug out, muttering in shock. Why would you? Junho leans in, whispering the coldest line ever. "If scum like you get next life, spend it repenting." Eva gasps his last words. How would you? Junho just speaks calmly. Next, he turns his attention to Munmu. The body is wrecked, writhing in pain on the ground. Junho stands in the middle of the freezing battlefield. Step by step he approaches. That look in his eyes, zero empathy. He raises his blade high. Munmu's eyes snap open. Staring him down, Juno delivers the final line. See, the sword swings down. Thwack buries the steel deep into Munmu's skull. The old eyes stay open, but the light is fading. Life is draining out fast. Unable to hold on, Munmu finally closes his eyes. The system ping echoes. You have defeated the nameless dragon. Juno swipes it away. Check the loot later. He looks satisfied. Finally get to test drive that skill. Juno feels a surge of pride. The ability he snagged from the Curse of Night. Confession of the Dead, he thinks. It lets me stream the dead host's memories like a movie. He speaks slowly. Alright then. Junho commands with authority. Spill your guts. The interface updates. You have activated Vincent's memories. Confession of the Dead has started. He rests a hand on the corpse's forehead. Downloading the data. Juno sounds amused. Oh, it works like that. He taps the holographic screen. Cinematic mode, nice features. Junho is hyped. Okay, search. Show me his recent history. The visions start flooding in. A man on his knees, sobbing and begging. Why are you doing this to me? Blood-curdling screams follow, echoing as they get slaughtered. So many victims sharing the same fate. Take it all, take the money. Please spare a man, mom, dad. Beg him, a mother watching the horror unfold in agony. Stop, the words caught in his throat. Juno shook his head, looking totally bummed out. Man, I took them out way too fast. Switching to boss mode, he barked. Scan everything. I want every scrap of data linked to the Monster Union. Now boom. The feed cuts to Eva standing outside a laundromat. A second later, the guy pushes the door open and steps inside. It's sketchy inside, rows of ancient washing machines. The messenger stands there, like a statue under the buzzing lights, clutching an iron ice in his veins. He drops the intel. Got a new order. Infiltrate the Rookie Player Association Korea. The East Sea Gate. Eva's jaw hits the floor. So we just geared up for the auction in Las Vegas. The messenger shrugs, completely unbothered. Don't shoot the messenger. I just deliver the mail. Juno hits rewind, click. So that's the spot. That's where the hit on me came from. He thinks connecting the dots. Is this one of their little hideouts? Juno mutters, eyes narrowing as he analyzes the screen. Gotta be more juice here. He digs deeper. Suddenly a voice cracks through the footage. You guys related or something? A shadowy figure speaks up. I like the look in their eyes. Then cold as steel. I'll turn them into specimens for the second floor. The voice drops a promise. I'll give you power over everyone. Junho freezes, dead stop. His eyes go wide, total disbelief. Juno grabs his head, reeling as the info hits him like a truck. It's all flooding in at once. He can't take it. System alert flashes warning. Skill level 2 low, full memory retrieval failed. Emergency shutdown initiated for user safety. He gasps, voice barely a whisper. Who was that final memory fragment? Some high-tier boss monster. He wonders, damn it, if I want a full picture, I gotta grind this skill level up first. Fair point, he whispers. He glances over at Munmu's corpse weight. This skill doesn't have a cap on human targets. This beast Yunho deduces. He's strong, but he ain't Cinder level. Gotta have a name worthy of that strength, though. Show me. He snaps his fingers. Junho's dying to know the human behind the monster. A hazy hologram forms a monk. This is the monk speaks. Voice calm as water. 5 years since the Three Kingdoms War ended. Do you hear them? The people singing your praises for your reign of peace. A man cuts in sharp and questioning peace. You call this peace, we know the truth. The old king continues this war. The final bell hasn't rung yet. His voice drips with bitterness. That massive dynasty is still eyeing our northern lands. So tell me, what is this so-called empire of peace worth? He winces in agony. My body. It's failing. The monk panics. Your Majesty, the king wheezes out. Mage. You know the legend of Sinvian, the dragon god protecting the prosperous era. He pauses, skeptical about the lore. Probably just a superstition, but still it keeps me up at night. The king gazes out over his kingdom. If that holy dragon is real, my people need it. Listen to me. When my time comes, cremate me. Scatter my ashes in the East Sea. I will become a true dragon to shield this dynasty. The monk screams, Your Majesty, how can you abandon the cycle of reincarnation? Your karma. The monk pours his heart out. I've lived a lavish life. The king muses on his destiny. Eventually I'll fall. I'll become a monster. Is that my fate? Snap back to reality. Junho stands silent next to Munmu's body, putting the puzzle pieces together. This nameless dragon was human, and if he really became the true dragon to protect this place. Realization hits him. This guy. He's King Munmu of Silla, and I just ping. System update. You have witnessed a fragment of history. Through the confession of the dead. Skill level skyrocketed, but Junho feels sick. I just frag a national ancestor. He drops to his knees, head bowed in respect. Your land is safe now, he prays sincerely. Please rest in peace. Sunlight hits the dragon's scales, making them shimmer like diamonds. Munmu's spirit drifts up from the carcass. Juno looks up, watching the soul ascend. The spirit turns back one last time. Thank you, Ding. A new notification pops up. Hidden quest completed. The Nameless Dragon Island item acquired. Flute of the Tidal Breath. New title unlocked. Helper of Ascension. The system flashes again. You cracked the hidden code of the Dragonlands. Hidden code Yunho blinks. Mind racing, so I didn't just power level. The game tossed me a unique item too. Never thought I'd score loot this tier. He stares at the horizon. Guess making a mistake wasn't so bad after all. Meanwhile, at the press conference, the EC gate is clear. The crowd goes wild. A guy in glasses adjusts his frames. Stunned. Wait. Seriously, wait. Junho's flying solo, a spectator whispered. Skepticism dripping from his voice. Does that mean the brothers are toast? A brunette reporter shook her head. Not buying it, no way. The Dark brothers getting zeroed. I don't believe it, her neighbor shot back grimly. Doesn't matter how op your class is. Death comes for everyone eventually. They aren't invincible. The crowd's energy spiked. Yo. It's starting. Another shouted. Go get the scoop from him. Juno stood center stage, radiating isolation and cold sorrow. He spoke, his voice heavy. I stand here alone because the audience leaned in. Hungry for the truth, Juno dropped the bomb. Pain in his eyes. It's entirely my fault. He spun the narrative. We were swallowed by the gate's labyrinth. Completely lost, the maze twisted, throwing us miles off course. By the time I found an extraction point, his voice cracked perfectly. Juno delivered the final blow. An unnamed dragon, it tore through the Dark brothers. Before I could do anything. If only I'd been faster. He clenched his fist. I will never forget their sacrifice. A masterclass in acting singer watched the live stream. Scowling kids got the devil's own luck. He knew the brothers had died for nothing. A minion stepped up nervously. Sir, what's the play for the auction now? Singer stayed, silent, mind racing. I cut the brothers loose. Singer calculated. I need a new strategy, and I need to move fast. Whatever the cost. What about the floor? 2 security details, sir. Management said they're overkill for the lobby. Singer snapped, send them down. The subordinate bowed, understood. Then he hesitated, but the CEO specifically ordered Singer cut him off. Voice dangerous. Did you forget who you're talking to? The monster union only cares about the bottom line. This auction cannot fail. Nothing gets in our way. He smirked darkly. Maybe I'll catch a beating for this, but at least I'll keep my head attached to my shoulders. Get the guards to the Las Vegas auction now. Meanwhile, Junho let out a tired sigh. Secretary Cha Si Un stared at the paper mountain, exhaling softly. Why is the schedule a disaster again? I thought you filtered the personal requests. Juno asked, eyes popping. Wait, is this all just personal stuff? Yep, see you in dead bond. That's the fallout from your rampage at the East Sea Gate. Juno slumped in his chair, smiling awkwardly. I just lent a hand. That's all. Si Yin wasn't having it. According to the data, she went full philosopher. For player, luck is a skill too. She paused, squinting at him, then leaned in close look. We really need to fix your hair. Juno panicked, a drop of sweat rolling down his temple. Is it that deep I'm not an idol or anything? Yes, it is. She insisted. You look like you had a bird's nest on your head. In the press photos, see. She projected a hollow screen from her watch, flashing images of top-tier celebrity players. Check out the competition. She roasted him smoothly. They might be useless compared to you, but at least they groomed themselves. You're off today, right? She asked pointedly. June, host side defeated. Yeah. She shoved a VIP card at him. Go to this salon, please. Her eyes were practically begging. Do it now, immediately. Yunho koinu intonity. Give me a break. I miss the mass days. He relented. Fine. Since you're so worried, you can clock out early too. Her eyes went wide for Real. Yeah, you crushed that paperwork mountain. Si-un beamed, literally vibrating with pure joy. She bowed deeply. You're the best, boss. Have a great day. She bolted for the door. She popped back in for one last nag. Don't ghost the barber. Juno wiped his forehead. She's way too hyped about this. He touched his bangs self-consciously. Is it really that long? He glanced out the window. Guess a trim wouldn't hurt. Juno pulled his hood up, stepping into the street. Fancy salon it is. Life was simpler when I was just Spectre. He walked slowly, letting out a breath. Back then nobody cared which barber I went to. He stopped staring up at a massive billboard. Games changed now. He stood there, soaking it and gotta adapt to survive. The door chime jingled as he stepped inside. He scanned the room, ghost town, as usual. Disappointed, but relieved. He pulled down his face mask. He slid a book off the shelf. Eyes narrowing, this silence feels like a trap. Are they plotting something? He flashed a satisfied grin, humming a little groove, finally back at his sanctuary. Then it hit him, he needed Noodle. Stat Juno strutted into the reading lounge, spotting a figure seated up ahead. Her back was to him. She rocked a messy bun, blowing on a steaming mountain of noodles. Juno stared at that loaded ramen bowl. Totally shook, he thought. Isn't that a lot of grub for a light reading session? It felt like deja vu from years ago. He couldn't shake the feeling. He'd seen this vibe before. Maybe back in school, then it clicked. No freaking way. He leaned in. Secretary Cha, that shattered her peace. She literally sprayed her noodles everywhere. She wiped her mouth, stuttering. Senior Juno, fast forward to 7:25. Juno was just chilling with his book. Sweat beaded on his temple as he felt the awkward tension. Juno turned to Si-un, his voice firm. You can glare all you want. I'm not budging. Her expression hardened, eyes narrowing with pure suspicion. Si-un slammed her book down. Face burning crimson, she shouted her defense. I don't think there's anything wrong with reading. Mature literature, it's educational. Even the ancients said the whole world can be found within the pages of a book. Right, Juno replied deadpan. You make a solid point, but I'm just saying. He pointed at her cover. I don't think that specific volume holds the secrets of a universe. Does it? Sehun snapped back, voice dripping with sarcasm. Oh, and what sophisticated masterpiece are you reading, Mr. Yunhulis? He shrugged effortlessly. I'm just admiring the cover art. But inside he was panicking. Truth is, my book is just as trashy. He tried to de-escalate. Let's call it a draw. She wasn't having it. Show me the title. Then where even Juno hid behind his book, eyes darting around at him. Sohn giggled, victorious. See, exact same taste as mine. Juno sat there defeated and cleared his throat loudly. The hours melted away until the clock hit 8:40. Suddenly he slammed the book shut. Juno stretched his arms, grinning. Man, that was a ride. He glanced at seeing you wrap yours up too, secretary. She beamed, totally hooked. He gave her a warm smile. I gotta be honest. This is kind of surprising. Cian blinked. You mean finding me in a comic cafe? He chuckled, offering a compliment. Yeah. You're always so elite. I figure a place like this was way below your pay grade. Cian looked down, thoughtful. Everyone assumes that she shrugged it off. But I love it here. I can just get lost in a story without anyone bothering me. She lit up. Plus, I love the feeling of turning actual pages. Digital just isn't the same. Juno gestured, totally getting it. And the smell of the paper, right? Saying closed her eyes, inhaling the memory exactly. And old books have this noble scent, like they carry the weight of time. Suddenly her smartwatch buzzed. She stood up abruptly. Look how late it is. I should head out. Junho stood too. Want me to hail you a cab? No need, she smiled politely. I live right around the corner. He waved as she left. See you tomorrow. Watching her go, he thought, Secretary Cha really is a hard worker. I can't let her show me up. Cut to the Player Association HQ. Diogo was freaking out. America. He stammered. Are you going for the Shadow Guard brother's funeral? Juno just lounged on the sofa. Why would I go to that? Juno asked casually. Diogo leaned, and then why the trip stateside? Juno didn't hold back. I got intel from the Shadow Guards. I know where the fiends are, holding their secret meetup. Diogo yelled, what? Seriously, where? Juno smirked, top secret. I'm flying solo. Diogo slumped back. Looking uneasy. I'm worried about this. Juno blinked worried about me. Yet Gu closed his eyes, rubbing his temples. No. For the fiends we need to interrogate them. But I'm terrified. You're just gonna wipe them off the map. Chill out, Juno said confidently. I'll bring back all the intel you need. Doka thought to himself, he looks like a slacker. But the guy actually knows his stuff. He leaned forward again, his voice turned serious. Fine. I'm trusting you on this, but if things go south, call me. Junho scrolled through his phone. I always need your help, buddy. Here, take this. He dumped a massive pile of bones onto the table. Gu pointed at the heap. What exactly are we looking at? Bonus Yunho explained casually. Loot from the red gate. I already used half. I used the rest to commission a sword from the elder. Artisan Deoga points at his wrist. Chill. Is Ice alright? I'll hit him up. You got any last-minute requests for the old man? He's in a nag about specs. Blade length, weight. The works. Juno just shrugs. Totally unbothered. Just tell him to make it exactly like the old days. He'll know. Dayaku shoots him a skeptical look. Bro. The guy turns 100 the day after tomorrow. You really think his memory is still intact? Juno adds one final instruction. Tell him this. A cocky half-smile curls his lips. If he forgot that sword, he might as well retire right now. Silence fills the room, bathed in the faint neon blue glow of the city outside. Junho collapses onto the plush bed. Completely drained, he taps his smartwatch, pulling up the hollow messenger. Yo. Secretary Cha, do me a solid and bump my flight to Vegas up. Make it tomorrow. He smirks, satisfied when a confirmation pings. Time to check the inventory. Let's see what we got. His fingers graze the Manpatiak, the legendary flute that calms all chaos. A literal peace bringer system. Pop-up item will be destroyed after 3 uses. Juno raises an eyebrow. 3 charges and it breaks itself. That's kind of harsh, but he knows the score. It's still an S-tier artifact though. He eyes his title ascendant assistant. That XP boost is no joke. It ain't spring opener level, but it's definitely good enough for now. Voice dripping with hype, he whispers finally. The day my magic stat reigns supreme is actually here. Juno is vibing with his growth speed. He drifts into a daydream. The day I unleash those sword arts is right around the corner. Sword arts require serious mana mastery to pull off. With my magic stat this high, I'll basically speed run the enlightenment phase. Juno thinks, brimming with confidence. Might even master it faster than I did in my past life. Mental math time at this level. Floor 2 is going to be a cakewalk. If I unlock sword arts by floor 3, his eyes snap open, piercing the darkness. Pure ambition, but a shadow of doubt lingers. Am I finally on the same level as the 9 great heroes from the underworld? He wonders. 25 years is a long time. Just how busted are those guys by now? Then a sigh. Or are those fiends still just a bunch of disorganized scrubs? He sits on the edge of the bed, gazing out the massive window. Can't wait to find out. Cut to one of the most electric cities on Earth. Las Vegas, the city of sin. Gambling and entertainment that never sleeps. Running 24/7. Junho trudges down the street complaining. Are we there? Yet walking everywhere is literally a pain. Nostalgia hits a man. If Sky were here, she'd just teleport us instantly. Sky, I actually miss you, kid. He glances at the chaotic crowd swarming around him. He yanks his cap down, shielding his eyes from the brutal sun. And it clicks, is this mob here for that? A massive, glowing orb displays the text artifact auction. MGM Grand Hotel, he reads the fine print. The big artifact auction. Exclusive to VIPs and celebs worldwide. Juno sighs, dipping his head. Taps his watch, admitting defeat. Not my scene. I don't know the first thing about auctions. A hollow map flickers into the air. Way further than I thought. Juno mutters to himself. Let's wrap this up so I can crash. Meanwhile, outside, a gritty laundromat with a faded sign. A hand smashes a remote control. The AC unit stays dead. The fiend slams his fist on the table, screaming, damn it. Where's the mechanic? He's losing it. Nothing works in this dump. First the Shadow brothers fail. Now the AC is busted. He clutches his head. Looking defeated, I thought we could lay low and avoid those psycho inspectors. The other fiend asks psychos, are they that bad? The leader shudders. I met him because of him. I haven't smelled blood in ages. He's the guy who wiped out my superior. The underling gasps, huh? Suddenly, the laundromat door blasts open with a deafening crash. The leader freaks out, tearing at his hair, sweat pouring down his face. Hello, the inspection team is here. Sniper walks in, dripping with disdain. What is this? She growls. Why is it so hot? You have a death wish. The two fiends bow frantically. So sorry, we are truly sorry. Sniper barks, in order, Tusk. Just give me the briefing papers. She snatches the sheet from the trembling fiend. and unfolded eyes narrowed in suspicion. She scowled, voice dripping with rage. Look at this. Can they seriously switch the mission on us? Bones' jaw dropped, completely floored. Unbelievable. So the second floor infiltration plan is toast. Sniper shoved the paper at him. Don't take my word for it. Read it, and Wheat Bones scanned the text, crumbling the note in his fist. With pure aggression, Sniper turned to the devil. Reporting General, you know the higher-ups officially blocked us, right? And now they want us tailing that thing seriously. She spat totally over it. The Nine Skies weren't even our bosses to begin with. They froze, waiting for the devil's move. His eyes were ice cold, unfazed by Sniper's rant. He just extended a hand toward Bone. Bone caught the vibe instantly. He smoothed out the crumpled note and handed it over, like it was a sacred relic. He took the paper, whoosh. In a split second, the devil incinerated it to ash. He barked out, look closely. His voice commanded absolute authority. Are there any other orders besides this trash? The demon trembled. No, sir, none. Face still a mask of indifference. He turned on his heel, signaling Sniper and Bone to move out. Clang. The shutter slammed shut. The guy collapsed to the floor, legs turning to jelly, gasping for air. The other demon asked nervously, "You good, bro?" Was that the monitoring squad? The younger one looked clueless. Scary vibe, sure. But that captain dude was low-key handsome, right? Are you blind? The older demon snapped. Why are you yelling at me? The kid whined. The older one dropped his voice. Deadly serious, listen, because I'm only saying this once. You know the 9 best players in the world. They call them the Nine Skies. And the captain of that squad, that's the devil himself. He's one of the 9 Skies. And a high-ranking exec in the demon organization. Nazar Hollow's personal disciple. The kid's eyes went wide, stammering, wait. The Scotin witch from 6 months ago. The guy behind the turkey massacre. Bingo, the older one confirmed. That dude is a total psycho. Picking up a fallen chair. The demon continued, rumor has it. The monitoring squad used to have 5 members, but 2 of them ticked him off, so he turned them into skeletons. Suddenly a shadow loomed at the entrance, The demons jumped, startled. What the hell, you scare the crap out of me. You the AC repair guy, he groaned. Wiping sweat took you long enough. I'm literally dying of heat here. Actiniu. Juno raised an eyebrow, extending his hand. Yeah, I can definitely help with that. Oh yeah, that's the spot. The demon smiled, then froze literally. Wait, you're a player. He started shivering violently. Hey, can you chill out? It's freezing, the kid chimed in. Yeah, man, quit playing around. We're asking nicely here. Juno smirked, cold as ice. Stop. Why would I stop? I'm not joking. He tipped his cap back, eyes gleaming. This is the only way stupid demons die. Quietly, the 2 demons turned. Pale blue eyes rolling back. Lifeless and frozen, he dusted his hands off. Too easy, Juno scoffed internally. Total small fry, only good for passing messages. But that monitoring squad, they're a different breed. Someone picked up hello. Juno asked Diokyu. The voice on the other end cracked with rage. You absolute lunatic, Diokyu yelled. It is 2 in the morning over here. Sorry for the wake-up call. Juno said smoothly, I need a favor. Diokgyu's tone shifted instantly. You in trouble? No. I need into the upcoming auction in Las Vegas. Diokgyu hesitated. You can't get in without an invite. Though Juno didn't blink. So give me one. Diokgyu side defeated. Do you think the president of the Korean Player Association is your personal assistant? Still, he caved. Of course I can get it. What's your hotel and room number? Junho glanced around the lobby thinking. Turns out the auction is happening right here tomorrow. He stayed focused, just recon for today. Yoonho mused. I probably don't need to wear that get up Diogo sent. Right, he sighed internally. A custom suit, made from the Silkworm King's premium silk. Guy really goes overboard with the expensive stuff. He recalled Deku's nagging voice. I sent the invite and a suit for the event. Listen, we need to show everyone that we aren't to be messed with. Juno shrugged it off. It's just an auction, man, chill. And Juno snapped out of his thoughts, eyes locking onto the neon sign above. A casino, huh? He muttered, might as well take a look, and strolled through the security scanners. Suddenly a voice boomed from behind. Hold it right there, the guy gasped, his eyes going wide. Wait, are you player Seo Junho? Junho spun around, narrowing his eyes in suspicion. Who's asking? The stranger grinned. Bowing slightly, we actually met back in Insadong. I'm Han Ho from the Dokibi Guild. Does that ring a bell? Recognition flashed in Junho's eyes. Oh right, you're the guy who was shadowing Gonju, huh? Yeah, I remember you now. Servant Ho and Princess, huh? Junho thought, suppressing a chuckle. What a duo, he scratched his head. Playing it cool, my bad for not spotting you sooner. Inho laughed it off. So, what brings a big shot like you all the way to Las Vegas? Juno kept it real. I'm hitting up the auction tomorrow, but rotting in a hotel room until then seemed like a waste. So I'm just killing time. What about you, Inho? The guy puffed out his chest. Me. My team was commissioned to handle security. For the auction, just doing my rounds then. Inho lowered his voice, curious. Quick question though. Were you planning on hitting the casino floor? Yeah, Juno admitted. Figured I'd see what the hype is about, since I'm already here. That explains why you tripped the sensors. Inho gestured for him to follow. Don't worry, I'll clear you for entry. Right this way the security is tight, because they recently overhauled their entire system. He explained as they walked. With the world changing, the number of players has skyrocketed. And let's just say they were bleeding the house dry. Yunho paused. You mean players were using their skills to cheat? Inho nodded grimly exactly. So the hotel adapted, the massive doors creaked open, revealing the lobby's interior. Inho gestured grandly. Welcome to the exclusive players casino. He smirked in this pit. You can use your abilities as much as you want, but catch is the dealers are players too. Juno raised an eyebrow. Wouldn't that just stack the deck in favor of high-level players? Inho chuckled, shaking his head. Surprisingly no. He clarified, stats and levels don't really move the needle here. It's a level playing field. Take our princess, for example. She still hasn't figured out what a win feels like. Suddenly a slam echoed through the room. It was clearly a number 2. Yuha screamed, slamming the table. This is a scam, total fraud. She face planted onto the felt, wailing, I don't believe this. Juno's eyes sharpened. It's not a scam. And it's not about luck or fighting power either. This game belongs to whoever has the sharpest eyes. He slid into the seat next to her. So having a good time? Yuha shot up, glaring fun. Her knuckles turned white. I've lost count of how much cash I've burned. She groaned, looking totally defeated. Then she snapped, staring daggers at him. So yeah, obviously it's a blast. Bird brain. Suddenly she blinked. Wait. What did you come all this way just to see me? A smug grin spread across her face. Aha. You finally realized you want to be my minion. Didn't you admit it? Juno waved his hands frantically. Definitely not. Yuha burst out, laughing. Relax. I'm just messing with you. Unless you're serious, Junho sighed, explaining I'm here for the auction. It's tomorrow, so I'm blowing off some steam. Hi, and Ho actually let me in. Oh, gotcha. She nodded, switching to professional mode. Well, I'm the head of security here, so if you need anything, holler. Appreciated, Juno replied politely, though his inner monologue was skeptical. Says the person gambling her life savings away. While on the clock, he thought. Then he got serious. Is this game really that tough? You have no idea, Yuha sighed. Gesturing at the dealer, this guy's a pro. Rumor has it, he's a dealer meant for the VIPs on the second floor. You don't know who he is, Juno asked. Yuha shrugged. No. All the staff wear those creepy masks. Makes sense, Juno reasoned. Keeps the dealer's abilities a mystery. Without flinching, Juno shoved his entire stack of chips forward. Yuha gasped, are you insane? Going all in on the first hand. Well, since I'm new, I haven't adjusted to the speed yet. Figured it'd be hard to track. He shot her a sidelong glance. Unlike you who's used to the speed, but still losing right. The dealer looked at the massive bet. Calm as ice, all right. I'm in. Junho's voice is ice cold. The dealer nods, hands blurring, as he starts shuffling the trio of brass bells. The speed hits a whole new level. Place your bets, the dealer purrs calmly. Yua's eyes go wide, pure dopamine hitting her system. Oh, I got this one. She slams a finger toward the left bell. 100% it's the lefty. My eyes don't lie, hey. A greedy grin spreads across Yua's face. Maybe I should throw some cash down too. Juno cuts in smooth but firm. Chief Gong, I'm gonna need you to sit this one out entirely. Yuha tilts her head, hitting him with the puppy dog eyes. How why the buzzkill? He stays silent because you're tragic at this. He thinks sparing her feelings instead. He locks in his target and makes the call center. The dealer blinks, caught off guard by the precision. Winner Juha shoots up like a rocket. Jaw dropped. Is this that beginner's luck everyone talks about? She beams at him, then drops her voice. But hey, word on the street is that Miracle is a one-time promo. You should probably cash out while you're ahead. She adds confident. Guess I missed the promo code, so I gotta keep grinding to find that luck. Juno quips, playing along. A true tragedy, she sighs dramatically. Junho calculates his next move. Time to bounce. Suddenly a female voice cuts through the noise bone. She sneers, challenging. Let's settle this right here. The guy grimaces annoyance written all over his face. I told you to drop that nickname. Junho freezes. Well, look what the cat dragged in. A smirk touches his lips. Save me the trouble of hunting them down. Problem is I can't just jump them. Need proof there with the dark forces before I make a move. And since they aren't exactly wearing ID badges, I'll have to bait them into a trap. He turns to you, a voice dripping with fake hype. Actually, this game is fire. Think I'll stick around for a few more rounds. She shudders, helpless. Great. He's a degenerate gambler now. The dealer clears his throat. Since the stakes are rising, we have 3 players. Let's upgrade to 5 cups. He slams the extra vessels onto the felt table. The shuffle begins. Sniper and Bone track the movement. Like Hawk's eyes locked on the prize. The hands stop. Your move, folks. Sniper smirks, oozing confidence. Dead center June. Hote doesn't hesitate. Brow furrowed far right. First one, Bone's eyes bore into the table. Voice flat and cold. and I'll take the last one on the right. The dealer lifts the cup slowly. Well, look at that. We have a tie. Both gentlemen nailed the first cup on the right. Different angles, same result. Congratulations. Yua's eyes sparkled, totally shook savage. I guess luck really is a superpower. Sniper grinds her teeth, fuming at the loss. Juno sizes up the scrawny guy. He's sharp meanwhile. The woman turns her rage on Bone. Wipe that smug look off your face, Bone. He scowls back, quit shoving me. Junho analyzes the vibe. He's the real threat, not her. The winning sit on the table. Juha is impressed you've got a galaxy brain. Are you a pro or something? How are you this crack? Junho gives a modest, easy smile. I learned from the best. You flash back to Daubert's voice. How do you spot the illusion? It's basic logic. Don't look at the object. Look past the surface of the person. His voice echoes in Juno's memory. Power levels are irrelevant. You must see the essence of the trick. The dealer cracks his neck. Round 3, reshuffling positions. His hands turn into a blur, creating streaks of light. Like a neon show, Yuha is completely lost in the sauce. Juno remains zen. The cup is a distraction. He affirms it in his mind. Focus on the caster manipulating the illusion. That's the key. He and Bones speak in unison. Second bell from the left. The dealer nods bullseye. The dealer bows out. House is swapping dealers. Please hold tight for a moment. He leans in toward Yuha. Captain Gong. While we wait, want to see a cool relic. Juno reaches into his pocket and reveals the object. Yuha ngast stummering. Is that a compass? She asks, stunned. Juno nods. Chairman Simdogu entrusted this to me. With a little magic, it points out special individuals. She blinks, confused. Special. Naturally, none of those people are here right now. His answer leaves Yuha. Yuha blinked. Totally lost a hello. She chirped. Is that gold compass? Pointing right at those guys. Junho gave the compass a shake. Weird. No way. Why is this thing glitching out all of a sudden? He scraped his chair back. Gotta hit the head. Be right back. Duha tapped her fingers, impatient. Make it quick, okay? Curiosity is my fatal flaw. Bone stood up, shadowing him. Think I'll hit the restroom too. Sniper threw a side eye long. He kept it icy. No. Bone smirked. Give me 5 minutes. The second Juno hit the exit, he bolted into a dark alleyway, sprinting full throttle until he hit a dead end. Juno stood there, playing dumb until a shadow loomed behind him. Bone's voice dripped with sarcasm. Doesn't look like a urinal to me. Bone narrowed his eyes. That compass. It detects fiends, doesn't it? You ran because you sniffed us out. Suddenly Junho raised the compass high and smashed it into the pavement. It shattered into a million useless shards. Bone watched the debris scatter. Totally baffled. Isn't that an artifact? Why trash it? Simple. It wasn't an artifact at all. It was bait. Bone barked. You lured me here. Juno stood tall, radiating pure confidence. Clock you guys back at the casino. I got a sharp eye for trash. Bone glared, sizing him up. How much do you know? Junho smirked, taunting him. Let's see. Maybe your whole itinerary for tomorrow. Bone gritted his teeth, killing intent exploding. Enough talk. He lunged at Juno, moving like a blur, barely in time. Juno swerved. Bone launched a second strike. Savage and fast. Juno's mind raced. He's insane. Juno realized this wasn't just raw strength. Speed buff, no. This guy has an acceleration ability. Bone laughed darkly. I've figured you out too. His voice dripped with disdain. Just give up and die quietly, because you won't dodge the next one. Juno didn't flinch. He just stood there. Stone-faced, he slowly closed his eyes, focusing. Bone scoffed, internally realized you can't outrun me. Smart choice, giving up hardly. Junho was running a combat simulation in his head. To kill in one shot, you aim for the vitals. The skull or the heart. The head looks exposed. Junho calculated calmly. I'll make him think he can take my head, but I'm baiting him to strike my heart. Juno unleashed a thick cloud of white smoke. Bone's eyes went wide. Smoke. He growled, cheap tricks. Damn it. Bone charged blindly, face twisted in rage, right into the path of Juno's blade, aimed straight at his chest. Junho smirked. Hate to break it to you, he whispered, but that was just a setup. Bone dropped to his knees, gasping. God, if I know where you're aiming. Your speed doesn't mean squat right. Yunho ceased. I knew a hothead like you would go for the heart if I left my head unguarded. Tisk tisk. Speed isn't everything when you're predictable. Bone screamed, furious and helpless. Shut up, you bastard. Juno casually caught his arm. Game over before Bone realized it. Half his arm was encased in ice. Junho didn't hesitate. He grinned. Cool as a cucumber. Being cautious pays off. Meanwhile, Sniper stared out the window, deep in thought. Finally, she sighed. I hate admitting it, but that skeleton freak is way stronger than me. In a duel, she turned, looking grim, but he's still not back, which means he got his ass handed to him. She gritted her teeth. Moron said. 5 minutes now. Look at him. A moment later, the devil spoke up. What did the target look like? Sniper reported immediately. Asian male, he was with Gong Duha from the Goblin Guild, so he's probably with them. The devil pondered this, then pulled up the holographic interface. He scanned the database of players currently in Las Vegas. Sniper leaned and pointing. Got him, found him. She stared at Juno's file, her eyes widening in shock. That's the guy 100%. The devil cleared the screen, leaving only Juno's profile floating in the air. He tapped the screen, analyzing the data. Stranger rookie who debuted 2 months ago. Shouldn't be able to drop my subordinate. Then the data expanded. The devil froze, stunned by the revelation. This guy, he's connected to the Dark Brotherhood. Sniper blinked, totally blindsided. For real, so. He's actually the guy who raided that gate. With the Dark Brothers, the demon's mind raced. Paranoia, setting and he played us. He got close to us on purpose. If that's the case, the Dark Brothers didn't just die in an accident. That was a hit, and he's the one who pulled the trigger. The demon's voice dropped, grim and heavy. Put SEO Junho on the blacklist immediately. Classify him as a top-tier threat. The order was ice cold if you see him. Kill him meanwhile. At a different skyscraper, SEO Junho stepped out of car, looking sharp in a tailored suit. He approached the entrance, but security blocked his path. Hold it right there, sir. Invitation, please. Juno casually slid a sleek black card from his pocket. The guard's eyes nearly popped out of his skull. He immediately stepped back, bowing low. Apologies, sir. Please go right in. Juno blinked, confused. I don't need to get searched. The guard started sweating nervously. No, sir. That checkpoint is for regular guests. The VIP gate is right over there. Juno walked in thinking, I'm a VIP. Did Captain Gong pull some strings for me? Suddenly he spotted a familiar figure and turned. Yuha was hauling something heavy, groaning, I am literally melting. Juno smirked to himself. Speak of the devil. She slammed a cooler onto the counter and barked at the staff, I need iced tea. Lots of ice, make it 20 cups. Just then Juno walked up behind her. Captain Gong Yuha. She spun around at the sound of her name. Her face twisted into a scowl. Who are wait, Snakehead? The guy who said he needed a bathroom break and then totally ghosted me. Juno scratched his head, awkward. You actually waited for me to come back. That was the wrong thing to say. She exploded, excuse me. A promise is a promise, dude. Yuha threw her hands up, defeated. I stayed up all night staring at the ceiling, wondering what the heck an ice compass is. What is it, seriously? Tell me. Juno looked lost. I'm sorry, but Yuha was on a roll. Getting louder, sorry cuts it. Juno realized he had to fix this. Okay, look. I'll treat you to dinner next time. Yuha huffed, turning her shoulder to him. It better be something expensive. Juno exhaled, relieved. Deal. By the way, what's with the box? She patted the cooler. Icebox loaded with cold drinks and ice cream. Suddenly she looked up, her expression serious. Listen, Snakehead, you better brace yourself. Once this auction starts, the heat and the drama is going to be intense. Juno nodded, understanding right. Tons of fire-type users, it gets like a sauna. Yuha sighed dramatically. Exactly. I'm already burning up, it's miserable. She waved him off anyway. Have fun at the auction. I'm stuck here waiting for my tea. So you go on ahead. Juno took the hint. Gotta catch you later. As he walked away, he glanced back at her one last time, thinking, man, I really hope I can keep things peaceful with Captain Gong. Yuha hugged her ice cooler and marched inside. While she scanned the massive venue, impressed. This place is huge, security reasons, obviously. That's why the big shots are way up in the nosebleeds. She mused, those seats are for the A-listers, like the Queen of England and the French Player Association. Talk about pressure. She eyed the stage. But hey, down here, I can rush the stage instantly if things go south. She started wandering the rows. Where's a 14? She found her spot and put on her polite smile. Hi there, excuse em. She froze. Sitting right next to her was SEO Juno. Huh, Snakehead. She leaned in, whispering aggressively. Wrong seat, buddy. Assigned seating only. You can't just park wherever you want. Juno looked confused. Isn't this a 13? That's what my invite says. Yuha snatched his ticket to check. Her brain short-circuited. What? No way, VIP status. He's a tier above me. She stared at him. He debuted less than 2 months ago, and he scored this ticket. Her mind raced. Did he use his casino winnings to buy his way in? She looked him up and down. What? Juno asked, oblivious. She pointed at him. You're dressed like a prince today, but you didn't spend a dime. Did you? How to get VIP? This guild master Sim Dong-gu gave it to me. Sort of my clothes and hotel too. The light bulb went on for Juha. Oh, that explains it. She laughed, slapping his shoulder. I knew it. The chairman picked you as a successor. Nice move. Juno waved his hands, panicking. What successor? No. It's not like that. Yuho wasn't buying it. Oh, stop playing dumb. You think I'm slow? That card is for top-level power players. You're obviously here as his right-hand man. This belongs to the chairman, right? He awkwardly scratches his head. Damn. Why did she have to spring that on me? Denying it would be well impossible. Juno forces a stiff smile. I'm starting to feel the weight of expectations here. Internally, he's sweating bullets. So this is why that jerk dog, Gu, sent these clothes. Just wait until I get back to Korea. He's dead meat. Yuha keeps the banter rolling. So what are you hunting for today? He keeps it cool, haven't made up my mind yet. What about you? She flashes a mischievous grin. Same here, honestly. I'm just here to have a blast. Shouldn't a pro focus on nailing the mission? Yunho silently judges here at WikiLeaks. That's rich, coming from someone gambling on the clock. Suddenly she fanned herself ugh. It is scorching in here weirdly. Her presence is a relief if she weren't here. I would have had to slaughter all these lackeys myself. Right now I can't take down an archdevil solo. Once the brawl starts, I'm stuck relying on the Goblin Guild. Like it or not, if the rumors about Captain Gong aren't just hype, she should be able to secure Heaven's Breath without breaking a sweat and protect the civilians too. Snap the lights, kill. Is it showtime? Already the stage erupts in light. The MC grabs the mic, charisma oozing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. Welcome to the most exclusive, high-stakes auction in Las Vegas. Let the games begin. His voice booms across the hall. Sold. The ice crown goes to bidder of 14. The gavel bangs. Moving on to our next item. Yuha leans in amused. While this is entertaining, she taps her chin. But isn't there anything fresh on the menu? She observes the winner. That guy is sweeping up every single ice attribute item on the block. Juno turns to her, eyebrows raised. Captain Gong, Juha, didn't you just say that? Professionals focus on the mission. She starts sweating bullets. Hey, true pros have to be multitaskers. Okay, sure. Whatever you say. He crosses his arms skeptical. Suddenly she pivots. So, hey snakehead, you keeping your wallet shut today? Juno shrugs. I don't know. Just waiting to see if anything catches my eye. She guesses not a fan of fancy gear, huh? He cuts her off instantly. No, I actually love high-tier equipment. The problem is he thinks. Nothing here. Holds a candle to the gear I used in my past life. So far the only thing I've snagged is a single necklace. Yuha notices and pokes for details. What's up with that necklace anyway? Doesn't it just give a tiny boost to stamina recovery? Is it a present? Her eyes light up. For a girlfriend, he squints at her unamused. Shouldn't you ask if I even have a girlfriend first? Yuha jiggles. Okay, fine. Is it for your mom? Then Juno drops the bomb calmly. My mother passed away. Yuha freezes. Mortified, I am so shutting up now. She facepalms. He quickly saves her from the guilt trip. Relax, it's a gift for my niece. Don't worry about it just then. The auctioneer gestures dramatically. And now presenting our next lot. It's been a long time since this item resurfaced. Veterans of our auction house might recognize this enigma. You've definitely laid eyes on this before. Bring out lot 84. The mystery ball. Juno freezes the second he sees the object on stage. What the hell, he thinks. Of all my skills, why is keen intuition spiking right now? Is it reacting to that dusty old ball behind him? The crowd murmurs, ugh. That junk. It's just a useless paperweight from a level 2 gate. 20 years, and nobody's figured out what it does. His neighbor nods. Tell me about it. Didn't some researcher claim they'd solve it? A few years back, guess they bailed. Can't believe they're trying to sell it again. Probably realized it was hopeless. I wonder who's dumb enough to buy that trash. Juno frowns deep in thought. He stares at the bidding button. I don't know why, but keen intuition is screaming at me. It hasn't steered me wrong yet. Do I trust my gut on this? Yuha notices his intensity. Joy's not yet. You actually want that dusty old ball. The gavel slams. Lot 84. Sold for $6,000. Junho narrows his eyes. Yeah, call it a hunch, but I think it's interesting. The auctioneer clears his throat. And now, for the main event. We have finally arrived at lot 85. The tension in the room skyrockets. A supreme grade magic orb recovered from the depths of an ancient dungeon. On the second floor, the crowd holds its breath. Behold Heaven's Breath. Yuha stares at the glowing artifact, mesmerized. Wow. It's absolutely gorgeous. This thing isn't just a battery. It's a nuclear reactor of pure mana. Rumor has it the raw energy pulsing inside that orb could power an entire metropolis without breaking a sweat, and honestly, those rumors hold water watching from the sidelines. Jinho crosses his arms, doing some quick mental math. So, what's the price tag on a city-state's worth of magic? Rubbing her chin, she grimaces. Astronomical. We're talking numbers that make billionaires weep. Yuha cuts in, her voice pragmatic. Actually, market value goes out the window. It comes down to whatever blank check the world leaders are willing to sign. Fair point, he admits. But internally, Jinho's mind is racing. If the bidding starts there, The final cost is going to be insane. Suddinlu Yuha Steepfence. Her brows knit together in a sharp frown. As she bolts upright beside her, Jinho's expression darkens, sensing the shift in the air. It's showtime. The thieves are making their move, oblivious to the danger. A bidder's voice rings out with greedy excitement. 450 million. The war of wallets heats up instantly. 470 million. Another shouts the number skyrocket. 500 million, 550 million. Someone screams 600 million, but the gavel never drops. Instead, the ceiling directly above the auctioneer explodes. Downward, the auctioneer snaps his head up, now just in time to hear a deafening boom. The sound of structural failure. Panic detonates in the hall. Terrified screams drown out the bidding war. As chaos erupts, help. Someone help us, people shriek. The auctioneer is sprawled on the floor, paralyzed by shock. Meanwhile, Inho lets out a heavy, resigned sigh. He thrusts his hand forward, channeling his energy instantly. A shimmering mana barrier materializes, catching the debris midair. Status report, everyone secure. Inho bellows. Yuha beams at the sight of the defense, but Inho eyes the shield with narrow, calculating eyes. He's analyzing the feat instantly to deploy a barrier that wide in a fraction of a second. Watching the rubble bounce harmlessly off the energy dome, he thinks, the so-called Guardian Knight definitely lives up to the hype. Nearby, a guest is sweating bullets, looking up in sheer horror. Only a maniacal demon would pull a stunt this crazy. Who or what did that skeleton summoner drag into this world? Jinho connects the dots. Wait, could it be the skeleton warlock, the one responsible for the massacre in Turkey? His power signature is off the charts. A strategic thought crosses his mind. If we want to hand this over to the auction house, we need to share intel. Yuha nods, catching his drift. That makes sense. We're on the same page. She switches into commander mode. Barking orders. Listen up. Priority 1 is evacuating the VIPs. As long as civilians are breathing, we protect them and the merchandise. She points a sharp finger at the defender. Inho, you're on goalie duty. Guard Heaven's breath with your life. We hunt the skeleton warlock later. Inho snaps to attention. Roger that. Captain Yuha turns to address her other flank, Snakehead. You back him up. She freezes. The spot is empty. Yuha growls in frustration. Are you kidding me? Where did he wander off to now? He pulled this disappearing act last time too. Unbelievable. Just then a voice cuts through the noise, startling her. Hold on. A bodyguard bellows over the crowd, trying to establish order. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you're panicking, but we need order. Please move toward the exits calmly. He shouts. The barrier is holding. We are safe for the moment. The crowd isn't buying it. One bidder snarls. Safe? You call this safe? He points a trembling finger upward. Look, it's already cracking. There is no safety here. Let me out now. The mob stampedes toward the exit, trampling over decency in a desperate bid for survival. Get out of my way. Stop pushing. It's a total riot. Yuha stomps her boot against the floor, cracking the tile. Enough. Between the enemy and these idiots, I'm getting a headache. She mutters, channeling mana into her fist. She exhales a sharp breath. Bam. She delivers a devastating punch to the solid stone wall, blasting a massive hole right through the masonry. He gestures grandly at her. New DIY exit, bypassing the jammed doors. Forget the main exit. Get everyone out through here. Go. Inho rushes over, looking like he's about to have a stroke. Juha, this is a heritage building. Do you know how much the repairs for that wall will cost? Juha glares at him. We're trading lives for bricks right now. Inho, don't be cheap when people are dying. He cracks a nervous smile. Fair point. Just do me a favor and leave my name off the damage report, okay? She rolls her eyes, smirking. Wow, throwing me under the bus. I am Hort Sudendi. A dark void ripples into existence. On the wall behind Inho, a sniper round erupts from the portal, tearing straight through Inho's left shoulder. Yuha freezes, her eyes widening in disbelief. Blood sprays as Inho collapses backward. Inho. Yuha screams without his focus. The massive protective barrier flickers. Spider web cracks spread instantly across the dome. With a sickening shatter, the shield disintegrates. Yuha's heart skips a beat. Inho is down. The defenses are gone. Yuha grits her teeth, her expression shifting from shock to pure, unadulterated rage. You bastards. I was trying to play nice, and by time to reinforce the shield. A feral, excited grin creeps on her face. Now you just pissed me off. Don't get in my way. The skeleton army, sensing weakness, charges forward in a rattling wave of death. Yuha doesn't flinch. She charges straight into the horde. Eyes blazing, a shockwave of raw power explodes outward, piercing through the enemy lines. Debris blasts outward as the building wall shatters. The skeleton legion is getting absolutely incinerated by Yuha's raging inferno. A blinding flash of golden light cuts through the darkness. Far away, a silhouette watches the fireworks display. Her face twists in disbelief. No freaking way, the sniper questions reality. Is that actually humanly possible? Panic creeps in the B-rank Flame Queen. A total monster. That is a hard pass on fighting her one-on-one pop. The sniper blows a bubble with her gum. Shifting gears, mentally Sniper's gonna snipe. Her scope locks onto the chaotic scene. Unfolding inside the auction house. Through the lens, she sees Yuha solo, carrying the fight against that pile of bones. But there it is right next to Inho. The breath of heaven, her eyes light up. Target acquired. A mini wormhole spirals open on the sniper's palm. The auction item floats right out of the void. A smirk spreads across her face as she inspects the loot breath of heaven secured. Beep beep. The sound makes her jump. She taps her earpiece instantly. Talk to me, boss. The voice demands, did you get the package? Sniper scoffs confident. Do you know who I am, obviously? Good work, head to extraction point B. She chirps back, happily copy that. Internal monologue kicks in. Mission cakewalk, just a shame. I couldn't zero SEO Juno while I was at it. Suddenly her gaze snaps downward. She spots a figure and mutters, wait. Is that him? It's Juno. Sprinting through the night. Her expression shifts from shock to pure. Predatory excitement Seo Yunho. She raises her rifle, grinning like a shark. Today is your lucky day, kid. Her voice drops to a whisper. Won't hurt a bit. One shot is all I need to scoop your brains out. She pulls the trigger, firing straight into the portal, floating before her barrel. Instantly, multiple wormholes spawn in the air. One opens inches from Juno's temple, but his reflexes are insane. He leans forward, dodging death by a hair. The sniper gasps he missed. Her mind races, I warp space to guarantee that hit. That should have been impossible to dodge. She grits her teeth, doubling down. Not this time, rookie. Two more black holes rip open above Juno's head. He glances up, eyes cold as ice. Spectral walk, a thunderous boom echoes. The bullet trajectory warps and veers off. She screams, completely rattled. That is total BS. She's fuming. I'm a top-tier sniper. How am I missing? A newbie realization hits her like a truck. She notices where he's heading. Suddenly, frost energy erupts from the ground. The sniper's body locks up, partially encased in ice, terrified. She forces her eyes to dart behind her. A blurry figure stands there, radiating an overwhelming, suffocating power. Juno's face is a mask of icy contempt. She screams in panic, you bastard. What did you do to me? He walks closer, totally unbothered. Do what? He's completely frozen now. Juno delivers the verdict cold. Your life value just hit 0. Tonight, your entire crew gets wiped from the face of the earth. Cut back to the building. The fire is still raging out of control. Shattered skulls litter the floor. Yuha wipes her brow, complaining, so hot. Flames dance on her hands as she yells. I am literally melting. She tries to cope, whatever. I am booking a trip to the Arctic after this mess. A voice shouts from behind Princess. The subordinate reports in a panic. Code red, we lost the breath of heaven. Yuha snaps her head around. Excuse me, he explains loudly. Someone swiped it during the brawl. We are scanning the crowd for suspects. Yuhas innervates ignitis. Whoever touched my loot is dead meat. Suddenly a cry cuts the air. Leader boss behind her. Squad members are getting silenced one by one. Yuha spins around, sweat dripping down her face. A heavy metallic footstep crunches toward her. An army of skeletons, clad in iron armor, marches out of the shadows. She frowns. What in the hell are those? In seconds, Yuha and her team are completely surrounded by the monsters. She stares at their jagged forms. Mind racing, black skeletons. She looks back at her fallen team. My squad is handpicked elite. Are they just gas from the last fight? How are they dropping this fast? The subordinate warns grimly, Princess. Something feels wrong, she snaps. What is it? He hesitates. That gear, it looks deadly familiar. Yuha shoots a sharp glance backward. Spit out, what are you seeing? He hits her with the truth. 3 years ago, you remember the scandal, right? The massive player disappearance case. That rocked the entire second floor. Cold sweat starts dripping down Yuha's neck. The squad that breached the second floor and just vanished into thin air. So what about them? He furrows his brow. Connecting the dots, they're low doubt. The combat style those missing players used. It's all of it. Then he drops the bombshell. It's a perfect match for what these black skeletons are throwing at us. Yuha goes dead silent, but pure horror is written all over her face. So the black skeletons are suddenly the devils. Old orders echo in her mind. I'm going to crash the auction and keep Gong Yuha busy. That's your window. You guys swipe heaven's breath while she's distracted. The minions salute instantly. Copy that. Then the boss adds a condition. Regroup at Hotel Cheryl once the goods are secured. Meet me there, and stay off the radar of any high-level players. Juno stares at the lifeless sniper confused. Something isn't adding up here. This guy's memory bank is totally blank. On the Fiend Association, did the guard captain seriously gatekeep intel from his own squad? He wouldn't even trust his own goons. Juno locks in on the target. The skeleton warlock, the devil. I need to rip the info directly from his head. Judging by the guard's memories, the skeletons raiding the auction are the sacrifices made for Nudja Hollow, which means Najit's disciple. The devil is the puppet master pulling the strings. Bruce, the devil is camping out way far from the auction house. You know, he's rigged his hideout with 1,000 magical traps, charging in their blind. That is a straight-up death sentence. Juno thinks if I can't break in. Then he clocks the smartwatch on the dead girl's wrist. A light bulb goes off in Juno's head bingo. Meanwhile, inside the devil's lair, magic circles hum with energy. The villain checks the screen of his own smartwatch. A message flashes from his minion. Mission complete, but I've got a tail. The devil frowns. This wasn't part of the script. He texts back, where's the package? The reply comes instantly. Stashed it in the alley next to the hotel. The devil scowls, mind racing. It's not SEO Junho, and it's not the Goblin Squad. A third party, someone else, is crashing our party. He snaps his fingers in frustration. Annoying pests instantly. The magic circles flare up. A cloud of black smoke materializes in the dark alley. Soft footsteps touch down on the pavement. The devil spots something and freezes. That mark, it's the organization sign. He spins around, scanning the area. I can feel a dense concentration of magic energy. Right there, his eyes lock onto a trash can. The devil smirks. Well, that saved me a search. He flips the lid open. Inside, a glowing object pulses with light. The devil grins. There it is. The supreme magic core, Heaven's Breath. But then hesitation creeps in. Why is this core so cold? The devil pauses. The mana output is weaker than I expected. Boom. Heaven's Breath detonates. His face twists in shock. Pain shoots through him as he clutches his arm. He looks down. His arm is completely encased in ice. A condensed magic trap. He grinds his teeth. Eyes darting around, panic sets in. And how did they even fake the organization sign? No focus defense is priority one. The trapper has to be close. He unleashes his aura. The ground beneath him cracks open. A skull rises from the concrete, followed by a horrific mass of bones. The devil growls, I didn't want to burn this much mana. A massive skeleton army rises behind him. He sneers, but come and get some. Suddenly a voice cuts through the tension. Not bad. Juno steps out, looking totally unbothered. But here's the thing. You're wide open while you're casting. The devil whips his head around. Too slow. Juno's blade is already burying itself in his chest. The devil coughs up a mouthful of blood. Mind reeling, he thinks. Since when? Wait. He planned to hit me the second I started casting. I was played from the very start. The skeleton army crumbles into dust, slumped against the wall, covered in blood. The devil looks up and wheezes you. Your name is Juno. He just stood there, staring the enemy down with 0 words spoken. Then he finally broke the silence. In all your time killing, did you ever answer the pleas of your victims? The creature bowed its head, speechless. Junho didn't hesitate. He brought his sword down in a lethal arc. His voice dropped to a growl. The audacity to ask for answers now. Instantaneously, a spectral skull flashed into existence, then began to disintegrate into nothingness. Watching from the sidelines, Yua's eyes went wide in pure shock. Someone next to her stammered in panic. The skeleton army, they're all turning to dust. Yuha glanced up, her mind racing. Did that warlock cancel the summon? Or was this the aftermath of Juno actually taking that monster down? A holographic system window popped up. Junho narrowed his eyes at the notification. 2 whole levels better payout than I expected. Or maybe the demon's skill rank was just way higher than mine. A chill ran down his spine. If I hadn't baited him into that trap, I'd be dead meat right now. He reached out toward the dissipating energy. And let's see what secrets are hiding. A vision flooded his mind. A crowd of onlookers staring intensely. One voice cut through, summoning magic. That is a rare talent. I'm really digging this class. The voices didn't stop there. Haven't seen high-tier potential like this. In ages, you should be thankful, kid. Nudja Hollow has taken a shine to you. The voice droned on. I'm appointing you captain of the Hound Squad. In the memory, a man smirked. Our endgame is total domination of the tower. The figure spoke again for the gritty details. Once you hit the 2nd floor, Sudene de Junho grimaced. System alert memory, reconstruction failed. Skill level too low to proceed for safety protocols. The skill forcibly deactivated. Juno clicked his tongue in annoyance. Not again. The juicy stuff is always locked away. He stared at the fading remnants of his enemy. Internalizing the intel, just scattered fragments. but enough to confirm my suspicions. Rage boiled over as Juno cursed those sick bastards. His voice was low and dangerous, using orphans as lab rats to turn out mages. And if the kids crack under the pressure, they get tossed out like trash before they become experts. They're just merchandise to these people. Juno's fist clenched until his knuckles turned white. What other horrors are they hiding? His mind raced. One player from the Amato orphanage wiped out Turkey. I need to exterminate these monsters before they cause any more chaos. And this Nijad hollow guy Juno pondered, connecting the dots. Is it the name I saw on the Dark Brothers' memories? It's highly probable, but without knowing, how many ringleaders are pulling the strings? I can't be sure he kicked at the air frustrated. Hey, Nijad Hollow, hope you're taking good care of your little disciples. Juno's expression hardened. Just you wait, I'm gonna rip this weed out by the roots and send the whole lot of you straight to hell. The next morning the sun blazed down unforgivingly. Yuha clutched her head, looking like a walking zombie. Did you find him yet? Sori Nolak. Her subordinate replied. Yuha frowned. Internal monologue running wild. Where the heck did that thief go? With the breath of heaven. Where could he disappear to? If we just fought a little longer, I could have tracked his mana signature. What time is it? She groaned. A distinct voice answered. 7 o'clock in the morning, ma'am. Juha grabbed her head again. So annoying if not for this mess. I'd be buried in a soft hotel bed right now. Suddenly, In-ho piped up. Princess. She blinked. Huh? He held out a box. Someone sent this for you, huh? A fan. He hesitated. A maybe. She flipped her hair, ego instantly inflated. Why are they so obsessed? I specifically posted a notice. No gifts unless it's a fan signing event. In-ho was sweating bullets. Yeah, but the contents are a little. Juha scowled. What is it? Something gross? No. Not like that, he quickly assured her. I already screened it, and honestly, it blew my mind. Inside the box lay the shimmering breath of heaven. Juha gaped, stuttering this. She narrowed her eyes. Wow. Nice craftsmanship. It looks exactly like the breath of heaven. Top-tier knockoff. In-ho's voice dropped. Ma'am. It is real. Her brain short-circuited. Then she shrieked. What? Cold sweat pricked her skin. The real deal, but that skeleton freak stole it. In-ho nodded slowly. That's why I said I was shocked. It feels kind of surreal, doesn't it? He pointed to the box. There's a note inside. Written in English. Want to see? Juha didn't hesitate, obviously. The note read, took down 2 other demons besides the necromancer. Retrieve the breath of heaven. You're welcome. The bone mage's body was discovered, dumped in the back alley behind the hotel. The only clue, a note signed by a passing fan. Yuha stared at the note, her brow furrowed in total confusion. A fan? Seriously? The letter claimed everything was taken care of. That's affirmative. In-ho confirmed. Yuha blinked, still not processing. But I didn't do a thing. In-ho let out a soft, relieved chuckle. Look, don't sweat the details. Thanks to this mystery hero, we dodged a massive penalty. Just thinking about hunting that guy down gives me a headache. Yuha leaned back in her chair, the tension leaving her shoulders. I have no clue who they are, but honestly I owe them big time. A moment later, curiosity got the better of her. Hey, think you can track them down? I want to say thanks in person. In-ho hesitated before replying. I was curious too, so I already swept the crime scene. And the major's corpse? He paused, his expression turning serious. Whoever did this, they're a ghost. 0 traces left behind. We're talking about a true master at work here. Skills like that definitely ranker material. But I can't put a name to the style. Yuha tapped her chin. Who could it be now? I'm dying to know. Suddenly, she shot up from her seat, pointing an accusing finger across the room. You freeze. Juno offered a casual smile. Morning, Captain Gong. Morning, my foot. She crossed her arms, her glare sharp enough to cut glass. Hey, snakehead. Then came the verbal beatdown. How could you pull a stunt like that? Abandoning your team in an emergency. You literally ghosted us. Juno blinked. Fainting innocence, run away me. He started sweating bullets. Yesterday was internally. He was panicking. Okay. It totally looked like I bailed. Look, Juho wasn't letting up. This is the second time. Last time, you said you needed a bathroom break and vanished. Am I right? You're a serial deserter. Aren't you? If you have power, you need to use it responsibly. She was on a roll. Even Spectre said it back in the day. A player's power exists to protect the innocent civilians. Junho's mask slipped. I said that. Juha snapped back. What are you talking about? I said that you aren't Spectre, dummy. Realization hit June like a truck. Cold sweat trickled down his neck. Wait, did I actually spout that cheesy nonsense back then? I was mostly reading off scripts for those interviews. I don't remember half of the cringe I said. Juho was still in full lecture mode. So from now on, when things go south, don't you dare run, stand your ground, and protect people. Got understood. Juno bowed his head slightly, accepting the scolding. Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. My bad about yesterday. Yuha's expression softened into a grin. Good, at least you own your mistakes. She flashed the letter she was holding. Looking smug, by the way. Snakehead, bet you can't guess what this is. Juno answered immediately. No clue, no. Well, listen to this. A huge fan of mine took out that entire squad of skeletons in a mastermind last night. They even returned the breath of heaven to me. She waved the paper triumphantly. Inho reckons the guy is at least a ranker. I'm racking my brain trying to figure out who it is. Juno rubbed his chin, playing along. Maybe they aren't a ranker. Yua shut him down instantly. No, impossible. I had my team scour the place, and they said there was absolutely nothing found on the mage's body or in the alley. Even Inho is a ranker, and he couldn't find a single fingerprint. If this person isn't a ranker, they're on the same level as one. Juno's lips curled into a barely noticeable smirk. A method to completely erase magical traces. That's all thanks to Sky's coaching. Yuha analyzed the letter again. The handwriting, though. This English is supernatural native level. Maybe they're from an English-speaking country. Juno shrugged. Do we really need to know right now? He smiled if he wanted credit. He would have shown up. Yuha paused. Realized he had a point true. Hunting down a benefactor is kind of rude, isn't it? Then she pivoted. Wait, the auction is over. Why are you even here, Snakehead? Juno replied smoothly. Just here to pick up my winning bids. Heard you brought the items over. She pointed to a table in the corner right. Head over there, he beamed. Thanks a bunch, so. Yuha asked as he grabbed his gear, heading straight back to Korea. Junyo nodded yip. She sighed, gotta say. I'm bummed to see you go. She shot one last time. Let me ask again, want to join our guild? He didn't even blink, and I'll answer again. That's a hard pass. Yuha pouted instantly. Ugh again. She recovered quickly, flashing a competitive grin. Well then guess I'll see you on the second floor. Juno chuckled, won't be long. Yuha covered her laugh with her hand. Everyone talks a big game. Juno smirked back, just wait and see. Confident I like it. She extended her hand for a shake deal. Then she dropped the challenge. If you actually make it to the second floor, within 6 months, I've got a present for you. Juno raised an eyebrow, and if I don't? Yuha's grin turned mischievous. Then you have to do whatever I say. Chicken head, Junho thinks to himself. This guy just won't quit, will he? Offering a council seat again. Talk about desperate. Junho locks eyes with the man and grips his hand. He seals the deal fine. You got it now. Let's see the loot. The clerk slides the winnings across the counter. Here are your auction items, sir. The stamina recovery necklace and this mystery orb. Junho stares at the sphere. What the heck is this thing? My gut is screaming right now. Why is the reaction so intense? He frowns. I can't even appraise it. Maybe if I juice it up with some magic energy. He channels the mana instantly. Nothing happens, zilch. Junho scoffs seriously. That's it, lame. But wait, he narrows his eyes. Catching a subtle shift, there was a flicker. I'll toss it in the inventory. For now, I'll just keep feeding it mana. Either it breaks or it hatches. We'll see. Junho turns his attention to the last item. Bingo, he says. Cut to a wooden door. A box sits right on the doorstep. Second floor right on the residential border. A man bends down and scoops it up. He reads the label confused. Teleport delivery from the first floor. Who wastes mana on this? He pops the lid and spots the item inside. There's a note attached. Stay healthy, kid. I'll be up in 6 months, uncle. He looks up at the sky, realization hitting him. So you're playing the long game, huh? Back under the clear blue sky. Juno drags his luggage. He hops into the waiting car, squinting, as a nervous bead of sweat rolls down his temple. Surprise driver. It's Cian. She catches him, staring blankly, and flashes a grin. Something on my face, boss. Juno jumped a little. No, nothing. He scratches the back of his head, awkward. Just didn't expect you to be my chauffeur today. Xiao glances back with a soft smile. Part of the secretary gig. Picking up the VIP is in the job description. Heading straight to the association. Unless you need a pit stop. Suddenly, Juno interrupts. Wait. Hold up. He hands her a package. Got you a little something. Honestly, I was clueless on what to get, so I went with a book. Hope it's your vibe. Cian peeks inside and gasps. No way is this the Ian son of the gate. Her eyes go wide, and it's the hardcover edition. Juno blinkies off. You know, I just grabbed it from the bestseller rack. There were only a few copies left. He watches Xiao's face light up like a kid on Christmas. I've been trying to snag this forever, but it's always sold out. Juno chuckles. Well, score 1 for me then. I was worried it'd be a dud. Hey, feel free to crack it open now. Xiao looks conflicted, but I'm on the clock. Juno raises an eyebrow. Why? Got some urgent crisis to handle. Cian hesitates. Well, no. Juno leans back in his seat, grinning. Then who cares? I'm jet-lagged and beat. I'm gonna catch some Z's. Just wake me up when we hit the association. She glances back, still unsure. Clutching the book, sleep tight. Cut to sunset. Junho slams something on the table for you, buddy. Dokawise, it looks pricey. What gives, and don't tell me it's booze. I'm on the wagon. I touched base with Arthur. Junho says, I'm heading up to the second floor soon. Dayaka nods, is that right? Good Arthur man. 25 years, rough childhood. But the kid turned out alright. Dayaku sighs heavily, though since he hit the second floor border. He hasn't seen you once. Junho blinks. You seen him lately, yeah. Whenever he drops by the Earth District, he crashes at my place. Kid misses his dad like crazy. Then Juno leans in. By the way, I heard Captain Gong Ju-ha from the Doki Guild said that invite you slipped me. Wasn't exactly standard issue. Dayaka bursts out laughing. Oh, busted already. He crosses his arms, grinning like an idiot. Hey, I gotta let the world know how much I love you, man. Can't have some rando messing with my bestie. Juno cuts through the bromance, right? I need a favor. I need you to track down a kindergarten. Diogo gives him a blank stare. A kindergarten, why? Juno's voice drops to a whisper. I found out their dirty little secret. The room goes dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. Diogo looks down, face shadowed. Tell me, is it true? They're taking orphans and turning them into monsters. Junho Highs is a bro bingo. But my intel is thin. All I know is it's overseas. Dayaku slams his fist on the table. Sons of bitches, do they have no moral compass? Juno watches him crack open a bottle. Thought you were on the wagon. He clicked his tongue straight up, venting his frustration. I can't deal with this. I need a drink. He tossed ice cubes into his glass with a clatter. Hold up, Diak. Gu slammed his glass onto the table, letting out a heavy, defeated sigh. Almost forgot Quan Noah hit you up. Junho blinked, totally caught off guard me. He idly traced the rim of his glass. I mean, before I left for the States. You commissioned that sword, remember? It's finally done. He wants to deliver the goods to you personally. With your current rep, meeting him won't be an issue. Juno's mind started racing as he processed the info. I'm big enough now to even take requests from the Dokibi Guild. Then Diogo dropped the plan. Let's head out first thing in the morning. Juno spun around, heading for the door. But I'm crashing early then. He threw a casual wave and a smirk over his shoulder. Dine see Noah Huck kid. Suddenly Diogo's vibe shifted, his voice dropping low. Time for me to handle my business. Cut to Juno gazing up at the sign. 25 years, and the vibe hasn't changed a bit. Looming before him was a shop that had seen better days. He shoved the door, open, memory jogging. Wright didn't know his grandson inherit this joint. A grin tugged at his lips. I heard that rhythmic hammering earlier. Kid's got skills. Wonder if he's still that little crybaby. Bam, a massive hammer slammed down in front of him. Thunderous clangs echoed through the room. Enter a ripped arm, skin bronzed and glistening with sweat. The absolute tank of a man turn around. Can I help you? Juno's jaw practically hit the floor. His brain short-circuited. That's Noah's grandson. What in the world happened in the last 25 years? Manhwa did a double take. Wait, players see. Oh, Juno. The guild gave me a heads up. Right this way. Juno trailed behind him, but his eyes drifted back to something, glowing ominously on the workbench. He took the seat offered, hunching over. Noah's got to be upstairs. Suddenly a voice roared out. Damn it, a gravelly voice grumbled. Why is it so hard to track you down? Junho, the speaker, stepped into the light. Junho flashed a grin. Long time no see. Noah. Standing there was a grumpy-looking old-timer. Manhwa looked confused. Wait, isn't this the first time you two have met? Noah paused for a beat. Fair point. He waved a hand. Manhwa, go fetch our guests some agate tea. The kid's eyes widened. The good stuff. Noah's voice hardened. Don't make me repeat myself. Juno narrowed his eyes, amused. Kid's whip still listens to everything you say. Noah let out a long breath. You have no idea once he digs his heels in. Nobody can move him. He jerked a thumb backward. You must ride him hard cause he's improved. Saw him swinging that hammer earlier. Guy's got insane stamina. Still got a long way to go. Noah grunted. Juno burst out laughing. Still can't handle a compliment without getting weird. Flashing a cheeky grin. So no welcome party. Aren't you happy? I didn't kick the bucket and came back from the dead. Noah suddenly snapped, shouting, I'm free. But then Noah's eyes narrowed. He gripped Juno's shoulder. Voice tight, I've taken enough insults. Juno just grinned, thanks. Good to know you're still the same old grump. Noah frowned, totally lost. Why are you doing this? Juno broke into a sweat. Defensive, don't ask me. How should I know? Noah leaned in. Eyes full of curiosity. Dioku told me the news. But I still don't get exactly why you decided to become a player again. Juno raised an eyebrow. Didn't have much of a choice. Snap, a surge of energy crackled in the air, leaving Noah stunned. His eyes bulged. That Noah's voice dropped. Deadly serious. That's the Frost Queen's power. Isn't it? Noah spoke slowly, weighing every word. With the power you took from the Frost Queen, can you bring our teammates back? Yet Juno confirmed. That's why I'm going all in. He offered a soft smile besides. We made a pact to stick together forever. We even signed a contract. Noah stared at him in silence. Then he dropped the bomb. The person I signed with was Midnight Sunday. Not some rookie named Seo Junho. Junho stood there totally roasted. Suddenly Noah burst out laughing gotcha. He smirked, ready to roast him again. I just miss seeing that stupid look on your face. Juno's expression went flat. Wait, so you didn't call me for the sword. You just wanted to hang out. Noah stood up, brushing off his apron. The piece you wanted from the nameless dragon's bone. Please, of course. It's finished, whoa. Are you serious? He gasped. Eyes wide, I just put in the request. And it's done already. Noah strolled over to the weapon rack, smirking. Already forgot how I work, huh? He hefted the weapon, the metal gleaming in the light. I came out of retirement and picked up the hammer. Just for you, Noah tossed the sword toward him. And now you're going to wield it for me. That was our pact, remember? Juno froze for a second, then immediately broke the tension. Dude, stop. You're being way too cheesy. Did I really say something that cringe? Noah barked, cutting the banter. Just inspect the damn weapon. Juno caught it and slid the blade from its sheath. With a sharp hiss, he studied the craftsmanship. Impressed, it fits my hand like a glove. Even after 25 years, Noah still knew his style perfectly. The blacksmith interrupted his thoughts. By the way, who the hell hands over a pile of bones and expects a top-tier weapon these days? He sank into his chair, grumbling. I had to mix in some new alloys to make it work. Check the stats. Magic conductivity and durability are off the charts. Now let's see what this baby can do. Juno replied. He immediately pinged the system. Appraise item Black Dragon Fawn. Item rank special. This weapon is virtually indestructible, immune to dulling, chipping, or rust critical wounds inflicted by this blade. Define magical healing passive effect. Tenacious Hunter, once the blade tastes blood, the wielder can track the target's location anywhere. Juno grinned like a kid on Christmas. Now, this is what I call a sword. It blew the trash, gathering dust in the association's armory. Out of the water, he couldn't stop gushing. You still got the magic touch. Old man Noah snapped, indignant. Still got it, you little punk. I've leveled up significantly in the last 25 years. Show some respect to a retired senior citizen who spends his days mastering Go. Yunho blinks, confused. Go. You play Go since when? You've never beaten me once. Noah's face turned red with rage. You think I'm still a noob? I'd wipe the floor with you now. Just then Pan Moa arrived with a tray. He set it down gently. Tea for the gentleman. Junho paused his trash talk. Thanks, kid. Anytime, sir. Noah warned him immediately. That top shelf stuff, don't spill a drop. Junho took a sip, ready to roast him again. Please, I've tasted every tea under the sun. He choked on his words. The flavor was insane. Noah smirked. Well, nothing like the swill you're used to, right? Juno leaned. And what is this? Noah played coy. You think I'd give up my secrets that easily? You set the trap, beat me a go, and I'll spill. Junho flashed, devilishi green. Challenge accepted, prepare to lose. Predictably, after a few moves, Noah raged, slamming his pieces onto the board. And scattering the game, he jumped up screaming. That same damn move again. Juno taunted him. Whoa there. Chill out, a win is a win. Now pay up, and honestly, I was going easy on you. Noah slumped back into his chair. Fuming but defeated, he finally broke the silence. Ever heard of the demi-human race? Junior Duplayaji. You mean those monsters that walk on two legs? The ones that look kind of human, like orcs and goblins? Noah nodded. That was the old definition. But once the second floor unlocked, everything changed. The creatures we classify as demi-humans now possess high intelligence. We can actually communicate with them. Junho's jaw dropped. Hold up. We can have casual chats with orcs now. The ones I know just grunt and scream. Noah clarified, not all of them are smart. The demi-human race is diverse. Just like not every human is capable of holding an intelligent conversation, right? Is that so? Juno frowned. No, but why the sudden history lesson? You're the one who asked about the tea. Noah replied. He leaned in closer. This agarus tea, it was cultivated by goblins. Realization dawned on Juno. So, if I climb to the second floor, I can score some of this easy, right? Noah scoffed. Please. Unless you have a connection with an intelligent goblin. You couldn't find this stuff, even if you offered $100 million. Bummer. Juno opened his inventory. Hey, while we're on the subject, can you take a look at this? He pulled out the mysterious orb. Any idea what this thing is? Noah sighed. Look, I'm a blacksmith, not the sage of the astrology tower. I don't know everything. He squinted at the object, but that orb definitely has goblin craftsmanship written all over it. Junho jumped. What? How can you tell? Long story short, I once met the elder of the goblin tribe. Junho's brain started connecting the dots. Wait, he pressed. So you've actually been to the second floor? Noah shook his head slowly. No. He leaned in, whispering, a secret he rarely shared. They came down here. Junho stood there stunned, trying to process if the old man was senile. No way. Creatures from the second floor can travel to the lower levels. Noah shot him a stern look. Keep your mouth shut about this. That's level 1 classified intel. Lips sealed, keep talking. Noah continued goblins. They're mystical, peculiar creatures. They're highly intelligent and standing right in front of you. Yet they have this way of making you feel like they aren't there at all. It felt primal like raw. Elemental chaos earth. Wind and water swirling together. In the palm of his hand, Seo Jun Ho hefted the sphere, eyes widening so that's the secret. This screams elf craftsmanship. Doesn't it? The old man nodded in agreement. If you're itching to know what it really is, you'll have to go straight to the source. Noah leaned in dropping a hint. Some elven artifacts run on pure world tree energy. If Lady Luck is on your side, you might just uncover something legendary. Junho stood up, offering a respectful bow. God, I'll ask the secretary about tracking them down. The old man looked a bit crushed. Leaving already, Noah tried to sound grumpy, but his concern leaked through. Just don't go wandering too far. Kid, he always puts up that tough guy front. Ban Moa watched Junho walk away, adding a whisper, don't take it personally, okay? He handed Junho a small box. Grandpa's just bad at feelings. Junho chuckled, shaking his head. No sweat, I get it. What's inside? Ban Moa smiled. Agarite T. Junho stared at the box, wheels turning in his head. Grandpa insisted I give it to you. He never cares about outsiders like this. He must really dig you honestly. Juno nodded. Do me a favor and thank him for me. Bamu started to say something else, yeah, but then abruptly cut himself off, waving a hand, actually. Never mind, you'll figure it out soon enough. Juno shrugged, yes, I'll give it a shot. On the way back, he briefed Cian. Juno looked confused, dark elves seriously. She nodded, yep, the ones who betrayed the world tree. They're nasty pack monsters. Any gate they spawn in is a nightmare to raid. Because they swarm you, Ho floated a theory. If we get lucky, we could loot the legendary Alicia elixir from their village spot on. She smirked, nice summary. But here's the kicker. The Dark Elf Gate is currently open in England. It's in the primeval forest. You interested? Ho didn't hesitate, yeah. Let's lock that in for now. She pinged him a notification. Then you definitely need to see this intel. The screen flashed with new data. The Tron Guild is joining the primeval forest raid. Juno read the alert, his internal monologue running wild. Tron Guild. Those same clowns I dealt with during the fox hunt. Zion wasn't done, and it's not just them. Top-tier players from all over the globe are flying in. Juno jumped, shouting, wait. The whole world, what are the specs on this gate? She broke it down, location granted. England, clear condition, defeat the Dark Elf Chieftain. Level cap is strict levels 20 to 30 only. And the raid party is capped at 200 heads max. Juno dropped, oh my god. The scene cuts to a gloomy forest, drenched in the signature heavy rain of the underworld. Hidden beneath the ancient roots lay a small wooden shack. Suddenly, a plate of dry bread smashed against the wall, shattering into dust. Signer's voice was ice cold. You're telling me the entire Hound squad just vanished? He glared, don't give me that trash. The subordinate next to him trembled. It is the truth, sir. He stammered on, it's not just the skeleton summoner. Every single operative is completely ghosted. No signal, nothing. We can't confirm it yet, but it looks like they got wiped while trying to take out Seo Junho. Signer clutched his head, cursing. Damn it, this is a disaster. Najit Halo treats his students like gold. The Sword Saint is already hunting us. And now we have this mess. He snapped back to reality. How is the association reacting? The lackey replied, I filed the report on Seo Junho, but I doubt they'll believe. The Hound squad was annihilated by some rookie who debuted 2 months ago. A sudden knock at the door froze the conversation. Instantly, Senior muttered, shivering, who the hell visits uninvited? The door creaked open. Both men looked ready to wet themselves. Outside, the rain poured and thunder cracked, like the sky was screaming in rage. Najit stepped in, voice dripping with venom. You must be Signer. Both men hit the floor, bowing frantically without being told. Najit Hollow spoke, his presence suffocating. I read your report, are you certain? So Juno killed my disciple. Signer gulped, that's the situation, sir. Though I have no idea how he pulled it off. The moment he stopped speaking, an invisible force clamped around his throat, slamming him against the back wall, hard enough to crack it. Najit's killing aura choked the life out of him. You don't know. You think I came all this way to hear excuses? Senior clawed at the invisible grip, his veins popping. I really don't know. But please just give me a chance. I'll capture Seo Junho and drag him to your feet. Lord Najit frowned, considering it finally. The old monster retracted his magic, dropping Signer face first onto the floor. Najit declared, you have 6 months. Bring Seo Junho to me by then. Or else Signer clutched his bruised red neck, gasping, but bringing him in alive. Junho stormed the second floor to confront Najit. That guy's aura at least. Level 30 despite being a total noob to the game. 6 months impossible. Najit's voice dropped to sub-zero. Don't get it twisted, making the impossible possible is the only way. You keep your head attached to your neck. You're his dog now. Sickner waited until Najit walked off, before shaking with rage. Damn lunatic. He snapped at his lackey, "Gimme a guide now." The goon's jaw hit the floor, boss. You can't mean the guide. The only one who can hack the dimensional elevator. Right under the player association's nose. Yeah, him. The subordinate stammered, sweating bullets, but Sir Sickner. Surely you don't Sickner cut him off cold exactly. Sickner scrambled up, eyes manic. We need a diversion, distract Kim Wudong. I'm taking this straight to the first floor personally. Fast forward a bit. June Ho touched down in Grantham, England, home of the Dark Elf Gate. Safe in his hotel suite, he radioed Sion. Touchdown successful. No issue, she asked. Smooth sailing, Yunho replied. Thanks to Secretary Cha, I'm checked in and ready. Su paused, but the raid isn't for another 3 days. Why the rush to get there so early? Figured I'd crush a few low-level dungeons nearby. He said casually, just a little pre-game warm-up. Truth was the player count had him shook. 200 people. Even Si-un could feel the tension over the line. Is that a problem? Here's the kicker. The system doesn't play games since the gates opened. It's all about equilibrium. It's ruthlessly fair. Dungeon difficulty scales perfectly to the squad, so neither side gets an easy win. You pack 200 players into a gate. The system just cranks the difficulty dial up to nightmare to match that headcount. Juno's internal monologue was grim. I can't babysit an army of 200 and fight a boss at the same time. This run was going to be brutal. Blink in 3 days vanished. The assembly area was packed. Hours before the dungeon crack opened, players were separated from civilians by a flimsy barrier. MJ was vibrating with hype. Check out the aura on these guys. She gasped, scanning the crowd. Top-tier players from every corner of the globe are here. Gear I've never even seen before. She nudged Minwo Cap. You seeing this? But Minwoo was scanning the crowd like a hawk, completely zoning her out. Captain Cha Minwoo. Mi-jae loomed behind him, voice dropping to a spooky whisper. Hunting for Seo Jun Ho, aren't you? He jumped out his skin. Jesus, don't sneak up on me like that. Seeing him flustered, she grinned. Neck stretching a bit there, huh? Minwoo tried to play it cool. Can you blame me after the 9-tailed fox raid? We all saw Seo's raw power. That guy Minwoo sighed. It was a reality check, made me feel pathetic for always choosing the safe route. While he was out there dominating, Minwoo clenched his fist. Not today, I'm going to show him I've leveled up. Hey, Gop. MJ practically squealed, pointing across the lot. Target acquired. Seo Junho. 3 o'clock, there he was, casually signing in at the registration desk. Mr. Seo Yunho. Minwoo approached like he was meeting royalty. Junho paused, looking him over. Oh wait, you were at the fox hunt, right? Minwoo nodded furiously like a bobblehead. You actually remember me. I'm Cha Minwoo from the guild. He beamed. Heard you put in a good word for me after the raid. Thanks. Minwoo shook his head. No. We owe you everything. Listen, I didn't just come to say hi. Ivegot a proposition, Yunho blinket. A proposition, yeah. Minwoo started looking nervous. Are you currently signed to any major guild? If you're a free agent, want to party up with our squad for this run? Junho crunched the numbers. A guild party, not the worst idea. Soloing this massive raid is inefficient anyway. Decision made, literally 0 downsides. He looked up. Minwoo gripped his hand as he accepted. Awesome. The clock hit 11. 2 and the wilderness gate was open. The massive gate ignites with blinding light, pulsating with energy. Every player is fixated on the swirling vortex. One dude in a purple fit, he's grinning like a maniac. Totally hyped for the drop. The rest of the mob, though, they're sweating bullets, tension thick in the air. But Juno, Minyu, and Maiji are ice cold, ready to roll, taking a breath. The squad steps right into the abyss. Blink, and you'll miss it. They instantly spawn into a completely different dimension. We're talking dense jungle, ancient towering trees, the whole wild aesthetic. Golden sunlight filters through the leaves honestly. The vibes are immaculate, but Juno reads the room and frowns. Wait. Why are we all scattered? Where's the rest of the raid? He looks around, genuinely confused. Don't the guilds usually huddle up for a strategy briefing before the attack actually starts? Minyu snaps his fingers, realization hitting him. Oh. Right, he jumps in to explain. See, lately everyone just uses link terminals to coordinate, so we don't actually need to meet face to face inside. To sync up, Junho just stares blankly. Visible question marks floating around his head. Link terminals.